Lift off. We go again. Happy Gold Cup Day, one and all. The fourth day of the Cheltenham Festival is here. The greatest show on earth, RP Live, coming to you with Dave Orton all the way through, steering the ship while Spence says Betfair with us all the way. You're going to be learning all about it if you're new to the game. We'll be giving you trades in the way. We're going to be having loads of fun. It's been some week, hasn't it? The first thing to report: the sun still shines in Prestbury Park in Gloucester. What's the ground going to be come the Gold Cup? Get in all your selections. This is a live and interactive show. Welcome along. We bust the 41,000 subscribers last night thanks to a push on air. Like and subscribe. If you want to get involved in the chat, let's give it a shout out today. Myself and Barry have already been on that, getting you warmed up. And it seems like everyone's in a really good mood. Why not? Anything on Twitter, hashtag RP Live. Let's go down because the A-team is back in situ. RP Queen, Nat Green. I managed to coin that phrase somehow, haven't I, this week?
Nat Green, the RP Queen.
How are you feeling?
I am...
Alive?
It feels like a really long week, but then it goes so quickly. Cheltenham always does this to me. You feel like you've been in this sort of Cheltenham bubble, don't you, for forever. But actually, once the racing gets going, though, it's like that.
Literally, Muntz says, better get into Keith Melrose.
He's like this.
And we've been spreading you a little bit thin, my man, haven't we, since you've come on Wednesday?
I'm absolutely flying still. I feel like I could get up the hill today.
Oh, there we go. We'll find out who Keith thinks will get up the hill best. And also, the big hitter himself, back in familiar territory. Barry Orr, the big hitter, joins us. Barry!
Good afternoon, folks. Great to be back. The final day we've got there. There were long days and short nights, thankfully. So fresh and fit for the fourth and final day.
Like some of us, Barry, quite absolutely. It was Paddy's Day yesterday, Barry, of course. Did you sink a couple of the black stuff, or?
Rude not to, being a proud Irishman, Dave, so had to, but it was all very sensible and all very polite. And like I said, fresh and ready for today. It's another bank holiday here in Ireland, so the party continues unabated in the Emerald Isle.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yes, it is, of course, due to coronavirus, isn't it? I didn't know that, but the sun is shining everywhere. Happy days, get involved. Barry, you're going to showcase the functionality of that exchange for us, but we're going to go some sportsbook as well. Shall we get the Injured Jockey Fund? Is it a lucky 15 out the way?
Yeah, we've a lucky 15 today for the Injured Jockeys Fund. Yesterday we did a Trixie. We landed two of them placed. We wanted to win the last leg to be placed for over £1,000, but unfortunately, that was beat out. But today, lucky 15, Keith, I believe you're going to do the magic fingers today. So, like you say, Dave, we're just going to showcase the functionality of the exchange and the sportsbook, some of the great offers that are available on the sportsbook. And we're going to kick off in the Triumph Hurdle with Teddy Blue. He's a horse that would have won the Adonis only for making a mistake at the last. If he hadn't made that mistake, he'd be half as pricey now. It's 4 places on the Betfair Sportsbook in the Triumph. That's what this multi's all about. Taking advantage of the place offerings on the sportsbook. Today, all bar one race, there's additional places on the sports book. So watch out for 4 places on the Triumph. We're picking Teddy Blue. In the County Hurl, we're My Mate Mozzie, the County Hurl at 210. 7 places on the Betfair sports book there. Yeah, Dave, you heard me right. 7 places, wow. The each-way punters there in the County Hurl. Then onto the Albert Bartlett at 250. We're going to put in the Henry de Bromhead Chantreux. There is a bit of concern about his stable form, but I'm going to stick with Henry today. 4 places there, so it's an additional place on the Albert Bartlett. And then the Gold Cup, the feature event at 3:30. Again, 4 places, an additional place on the Betfair Sportsbook. I'm sticking with last year's winner, Manila Indo. So we're doing a lucky 15. That's 6 doubles, 4 trebles, an accumulator, and 4 singles. So it's 15 in total. We're doing it for £1, and we're going to do it each way. So it's a 15 quid bet each way is £30. So £30, and I think it gets us somewhere in the region, Keith, of 90k, is it?
Yeah, just shy of 89k, it says here.
Well, that'd be great for the Injured Jockeys Fund, who are already 100 quid up today, Dave. Thankfully.
We had to get that in.
If you want to tell everyone why.
Well, we are back tomorrow, guys. Myself and Nat are staying overnight. No more Irish car bombs for us.
Yeah. Do you know I didn't know what an Irish car bomb was?
Let's get to that after we just reference what... You would remember, eagle-eyed, regular viewers, that a couple of weeks back, maybe even a month or 2 ago now, G-Rod stuck his chest out as he does. He's back tomorrow. This is where it's coming from. But all championship races, he thought Britain would come out on top. Now, as it turns out, with a lot of G-Rod shouts, not the worst thing this week. Whatever the score is, 10-11, isn't it, at the moment? Something like that. Or the handicap's already been won, isn't it? Well, 8.5, wasn't it, the handicap, basically, if you're back in that English-Irish, British-Irish market. But Barry stuck his chest out as well. And he said, I'll take that bet. There may be a 4th championship race to come, Barry, but it's all over for some.
Yeah, Ireland have won the 3 championship races so far. Obviously, Siskin was his big white hope for G-Rod, but obviously that didn't win. Energumen won there. We had the Mare win the Champion Hurl, and then obviously yesterday Flooring Porter. So that bet's all over. It's £100 winging its way to the Injured Jockeys Fund already, which is great. All in good spirit and all good fun. And looking forward to Ribbon G-Rod tomorrow.
Oh, yes, there'll be lots of ribbing going on. And I mean, you at least agree, because, my mate Mozzie's been here, so you're obviously on that as well. What a day this is, all right? This is just insane, isn't it? And I've got to be honest, this day over the last couple of years has become a bit of a punting no-no for me. It usually chucks it down on this day. I look at it and I can't see the ball at all. Today, oh dear, I like a lot today. This is my punting day of the week.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, I can't remember the last time the Friday was my punting day.
Exactly.
Well, the Grand Annual's no longer on the Friday. That was one of my races I used to really like punting, and it's obviously that's the Wednesday now.
Yeah.
The Martin Pipe in the county, they're ultra competitive. They're not generally my sort of races, but we'll get on to it. My mate Mozzie is the horse I fancy in that race. I thought until the big boys started to come out to play in the autumn, like late autumn, I thought he might have been the supreme winner. So I'm on him for the county. I think he's got a big chance.
Yeah, talking about Ribbon G-Rod, I've been saying he was the county horse when he said he'd be winning the Supreme and stuff. So 1-0, 2-0, I think, to some of us against G-Rod. But G-Rod is back. The big bear is down there. We might even try and give him a call if we can get to the track. So we start off, of course, with the Triumph Hurdle 130. There's the exchange market. You can see it on the screen. The live market as it happens. We've seen some in running kinks, everything. I mean, Bob Oninger yesterday, Barry, my lord, was he 200? What did he? Oh no, he went the maximum, didn't he?
Yeah, there was a tenner matched on Bob Ollinger at 1,000 on Betfair, so 999 to 1, and over around 40 grand on the faller, unfortunately, for his backers at very short price indeed, at 101 as well. So the basement price and the ceiling price both matched on the Brown or the Turners yesterday on the first race. So that was a lot of excitement to start the card. I don't think it's going to be as exciting today, but at the moment, Willie Mullins, a very warm favourite indeed in Vauban. Pied Piper is 4.7. Vauban is 7-4 in the Betfair Exchange. 1.6 million matched on this so far. It'll easily breach the 2.5 million mark from post time. Phil Dorr currently 7.4. 13.5 at Claire Allan. Porticello is 15 and it's 20 bar. I'm going to take the favourite on, Dave, and I'm going to tell you why. I just thought at 7-4, at 2.74, which you can lay him now, they put the tongue tie on him in Leopardstown, and he won really, really well, it has to be said. Now, he's only beat Fildor 3 lengths there, so Fildor reopposes here. He's not without a chance. Davey Russell has elected to ride him. He's 7.8, so he's only 3 lengths with the favourite. On Punchestown run, obviously Pied Piper, he went off. Vauban went off odds on to beat Pied Piper in Punchestown. Pied Piper beat him. Now, Vauban's obviously improved since, but you can't say Pied Piper hasn't. He won on trials day in Cheltenham. He was the most impressive 4-year-old performance visually we've seen. Now, he mightn't have beaten a whole pile, but he's definitely a worthy second favourite at 4.8. Claire Allan has improved on that run in the Spring Juvenile as well as 15. And Porticello, the other Jamie Moore's mount in the race for his father, Gary Moore, is 13.5. So that's been well supported. So I think we're going to lay the favourite, but we're going to set our own odds here. I hope to get it at about 2.7, please, Pete. And we're looking to take 50 quid at the backer stake. So we're going to select lay. We're going to look to lay it at 2.7 and take 50 quid at the backer stake. And that's going to go over into the blue box for someone to come in and accept that bet and take that bet off us. So we'll keep you updated before the 1:30 post time, but I'm confident we'll get matched at 2.7. It's trading quite briskly around that now. Like I say, 1.8 million already matched in the race, and the favourites really, really strong.
Insane liquidity on the exchanges this week, as we expect, Barry. Is this the biggest of weeks, liquidity-wise?
Royal Ascot, easily, yeah, but even this more so than Royal Ascot. Like, generally, the Gold Cup would be the biggest betting race of the year. In match volumes on the exchange and on the sportsbook as well. Everyone wants to have a bet in the Gold Cup, in the Cheltenham Gold Cup.
The Gold Cup's 2 hours away, as we know, and there's already been more than 2.25 million matched in the Gold Cup.
And it's a belter, isn't it? Everywhere you look.
Phenomenal.
Don't give it away now.
No, I wasn't.
Don't give it away now.
I think we've just worked together too much, because I was just about to say the liquidity, and Dave Orton goes, the liquidity is amazing, because it's incredible, isn't it? And to see the exchange working, and you know, personally, I'm always learning something new about the exchange. It's great to see.
It must be that Irish car bomb, I think we have.
I've got a question about the liquidity, actually, and we talked about Galopin des Champs yesterday going 101. I would expect if I was watching a race, even at like Sedgefield, would that horse have gone 101? Is it because of the Cheltenham liquidity that you get that?
Yeah, I think it's that. And, some of those guys were back in 101. They're seeing the horse. He's jumped the fence clear. What can possibly go wrong? And then we all know what went wrong. But it's not like he breasted the fence or anything like that. He was clear over the fence and, he buckled just on landing. So, yeah, unusual, Keith, it has to be said. You're not 101 on any horse is not 101 on to jump a fence. So you'd have to think that mid-air, that's when that was matched.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We start talking about the 2023 festival at around about 5:35 this evening, but there's been said about it already this week. Barry's going to give us the anti-post reactions to the races still coming. What are we going to see in the Triumph? That's the question. I also am taking on Vauban, and in a current running theme, thank God he's not listening in, he might well be at the track, he is there today. This is G-Rod's nap of the week. So again, we're all a bit lukewarm on it, are we?
Yeah, I watched his race again at Leopardstown this morning, and he's partly the price he is because he's got listed winning form in France. And I watched the Leopardstown race and I thought, you know what, this just looks like a French flat race. It's the sort of race that was always going to suit this horse. And
Fedor was obviously second in that, and it didn't suit him at all. Davey Russell has taken this ride, we think. Probably when the heavens opened on Wednesday, because Pied Piper 6, John Gosden Flattles. I love Pied Piper. I think the more it's drying, the better. I think the way he won on the bridle there was just something special. I know he probably beat nothing that would be running in this race, but he didn't come off the bridle, did he? I love this horse, Pied Piper. Still keep with the faith.
I like Fedor in this actually, but I you can look at this so many ways. Like I wouldn't put anyone off Dr. Parnassus as an each way. I mean, we're talking a massive price hit. Look about what was it? Yeah, I mean 27. It's amazing.
27, yeah.
Yeah, highly promising, but there's not much between Night Salute and Porticello. I actually think this will suit Porticello. We've seen him on that ground, and I know we've got blazing sunshine, but let's not underestimate the 13 millimetres of rain. I mean, it really did hammer it down, and I know yesterday was dry as well, but I'm not having that it's going to be like the good side. I think it's going to be like proper, just normal good to soft.
Soft in places. The word good has come back to join the party.
I would say it's soft side of good, basically.
So would I.
Yeah, but that's perfect, isn't it?
But yeah, and I think good for Porticello. I mean, look, this is a cracking each way bet for Porticello. I know this is a bigger task in hand. I appreciate that, but the one thing that is interesting is with the sunshine. I know everyone hates the T word of tacky, but if it is a bit like that, Porticello won't mind.
It's become the T word since Keith flagged it up yesterday, isn't it?
But Porticello won't mind. So for me, Fedor, I want Davey Russell to have a cracking day. I feel it.
Oh, yes.
I feel it that Davey Russell's going to have an amazing day. 42 years of age. He's riding just as well as ever. What a jockey, what a legend. So Fedor to win, but I'm going each way on Porticello.
Should we have a bit of a chat about that, Barry? I mean, you brought it up as we were just about to go on air, and I mentioned after Tiger Roll, our final race on the Wednesday, got chinned by Delta Wort. I wondered whether it was the booing at the track, I wasn't sure, but Davey's face caught my eye.
Yeah, same for me, Dave. He got quite emotional without crying, but you could see his eyes well up just off the back of that defeat. There has been some mumblings that, he's only a fall away from serious injury, as any of the jockeys ever are, really. They're such warriors. But, he's 42 now, like Matt says. He's had a great career, and I'd love to see him ride a big winner today and see what happens off the back of that. But he's been a thorough professional, and he's the elder statesman of the weigh room now. And good to go out in one piece, wouldn't it? For any jockey, it's good to get out in one piece. And he's built a good career, and he's got a good... I think he's got a pre-training, and he buys and sells a few horses as well. So he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Absolutely.
I think he does outside of race riding.
Is that code for if Galvin wins a Gold Cup, he'll retire on the spot?
It's not 1,000,000 to 1 that he would. Is it just looking at the way he reacted after Tiger Roll? I wouldn't have been surprised if after Tiger Roll he might have said, that's enough for me now, and retire after Punchestown or something, just fulfill his commitments for the rest of the year. But plenty of young lads coming up, and he's had a good long career, and he would get out in one piece. There'd be nothing wrong with that, would there, Keith?
Oh, absolutely not. No, I was being impish more than anything, but I have, because of the age he is, Russell, because he's jump jockeys, you're at 40, you're seen to be at the end, really, as a jump jockey.
Noel Fahili did it here, didn't he, after winning? And
Yeah.
was it a winning
Yes.
ride? I think it was a winning ride. He got very emotional with Lydia, didn't he, that time? And
Yeah,
it
but-
brings it up, you remember Ruby, of course, that punches down on the spot.
Well, that was, yeah. Ruby was always going to do something like
Yeah.
that, I think. Whereas Davey Russell, I'm not sure what he's like as a character at all, but it has been talked about for a couple of years now that
One to watch.
once this generation sort of horses goes,
Yeah.
Davey might go with them. It's always nothing other than hearsay, but it's always been sort of there in people's minds because he is, he's 42 now, the best, Dickie Johnson, he was about that age when he retired.
Well,
He
Dickie had no choice because his hip literally was stuck. Like, he's had his hip up and it's gone really, really well. But it's a credit as well to all the team to keep these jump jockeys going longer. They're going longer and longer. You see it more on the flat, but it is a credit to the physios, to
Absolutely.
everything.
And another advert all week. It's been Injured Jockeys Fun, but Duke took that out of the hat on Tuesday, and there's been some great trades. Let's hope for a spot-on day for them. And then Neil Francis, welcome along, opening up the social corner. Neil, one of our regulars, with Nat, Dr. Parnassus, each way improver, unbeaten, off the flat. Tom Segal likes him as well. You put up Fedor, though, that's a headline, along with Portagello. You mentioned that to us when we were in training after the show last night.
In training, I can see Gary Moore in pictures now.
I'm
being
not sure he jumps well enough. Oh, there's Gary. Yeah, great. See, the Peaky Blinder of the training association, isn't he?
He is, isn't he?
Yeah. I've been really lucky to sort of have him
You had a
in
great-
interviews.
yeah, you had a great interview with-
For whatever reason, he opens up to me. I don't know why. Not a lot of people do.
He does, doesn't he?
But Gary does, and you just got to keep it
You're a
simple.
likeable rogue, Dave. Is
Wow.
He's a lovable rogue,
Oh,
isn't
there
he,
we are.
Barry?
I think absolutely, and I'm just praying Paul Nicholls has a winner where we can go back down there again, Barry. It's got to be Bob and Co,
Co's his
isn't it?
last
Yeah.
chance, Dave.
Bob and Co, surely.
Yeah, that's his last roll of the dice.
And it's strongly fancy as well for Maxi, who we love on this show. One of the highlights of this season so far, the jump scenes, was Dolphin Square, where Barry knocked it out the park and he just came from nowhere and we spied it all out. And Maxi, it's a lifetime ambition.
Look at
for
that,
David
Dave.
Maxwell.
Look at the
Look at
crowds.
the 73,000 people we're
right?
expecting.
It's a
Record
sea
attendance.
of people. We've just seen the pictures now on the grandstand. There's an absolute sea of
Envy of the world. On Tuesday, when Honeysuckle, it was Matt Chapman, wasn't it, that was in the stand, and he like Matt, very clever, tweeted it. It went down to Australia. Racing.com is the Melbourne website down at the Victorian State, and they, please, can we go to Cheltenham? ? We are the envy of the world.
Aren't we?
when it
In
stays
a
like
bowl that's a natural amphitheatre as well.
that. All over this. I am all over this. And Pied Piper to start me off, but I'm against Vauban. Is he hardening up, Barry?
He's absolutely smashed the smithereens in a very liquid market. He's into 6-4 now. We set our own price to lay him at 2.70, which is a little under 7-4. He's 2.60 now, so he's come in 10 ticks. He's 2.6, 4.7 Pied Piper holding steady there. The two Gordon Elliott runners are Phil Dorr 7.8, and it's 14 bar. Any concern about Gordon Elliott's stable form, lad?
Well, I knew you were going to mention this. I'm hoping he has a good day today, and if he doesn't, my punting will suffer as a result. Okay. I've got two running for me in this. I've had a bit on Fedor as well. I think you have to forgive him a little bit that. It's just whether Pied Piper might be the ace in the pack. I don't know. But I've had a bit on in there. I fancy his in the, is it Ginto or Ginto, we said?
Ginto.
Are we still Ginto?
Ginto.
I'm Ginto.
It's Ginto.
What about you, Barry? Is it Ginto or Ginto?
I don't care. I don't really care much for those sort of things, but well, whatever you like.
It's a gin and tonic, said Bruce. It's a gin and tonic, said Bruce. Yesterday it was great to have Bruce on for 2 days. One of the commander, as he should be known. That's one of the clips of the season as well, isn't it? Commander of the fleet.
This Pied Piper, I did not like that horse on the flat.
He took it well because he was a heavy ground monkey, wasn't he?
It was a
That's
monkey.
the thing. I don't see why people think
a
he's not
monkey.
going to like this.
To be honest, a lot of those, he was a homebred for the Queen, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And a lot of them have their own ideas.
You're never going to like them.
They've got their own ideas, a lot of those.
Flight
horses.
of Fancy was her sort of standard flag bearer broodmare, and they were all a little bit crazy.
Oh, they were loopy, yeah.
But then, of course, Sheikh Mohammed and, of course, Aga Khan got involved, didn't they? And it's
Gave it a few.
And Gosden basically steadied the ship.
Yes, it's a bit of him. And so there's reason, I think, to get against some of these top ones.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's going to be egg on face, so it's going to be great. I'm not surprised Barry's sticking with Teddy Blue whatsoever, because he probably should have won the Adonis, shouldn't he? A massive prize. And the hood going on is, he's fascinating.
Yeah, he looked very well in the preliminaries as well. In the paddock, he looked very well.
Did he? Because I saw you. We get to
I was
watch him.
going-
Got
Drying
Nadia.
ground will suit him.
Yeah.
He looked really well, Barry.
Yeah. I've seen, who was it that's just said in the chat box, let me get it up. Trevor Meeks, I think it was, that said get funny
I'd like
results.
his trainer to get a change of look as well.
What, Gary?
Yeah, didn't he have one with fatality on the first day? Or
Oh, shall we have
wasn't
one
there?
more? What
That was.
so
Shall we have
sad.
one
Yeah.
more? That was terribly sad.
Yeah.
You know,
it
it's
was.
not a place that's been very lucky to him when you look back at the Triumph Pro 2 years ago as well.
And the
For
owners, of
fashion.
course.
So,
Shall we have one
yeah,
more?
change of look could be due here for Gary Moore as
You have-
well. I'd like
you
to
had
see
one-
either of his horses run well.
If
You
you
had
believe
one-
in those things, I
You had the
agree.
best British horse in the bumper.
He had the best
Yeah, he
British
had-
horse in the bumper.
Wouldn't have finished fifth in the bumper.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What was that called? Can you remember?
God,
man.
I forget. I was looking at the
That's
bumper.
reaching a bit there, Keith. Now.
It is.
Oh, I know.
It was probably
He's
about
finished
10
fifth.
miles off.
I was pointing it out is because obviously we look at the bumper for all these good, promising novice hurdlers.
Yeah.
Oh, this Irish thing's going to win the L'Oreal Board, but what's going to win next year's
Yeah.
Dovecote? What's going to win next year's?
Yeah.
Thing. It's the winter novices at
I
Sandown.
think you've seen it.
I'm not saying I have, but we've got a horse that's run to 128.
Because it's on camera, man. Don't forget that. We go back and reference these
We've got
things
a horse
quite
that's run to
lot.
128 in a champion bumper, so he's got to be an exciting horse for next year. I'm not saying it's
Good.
made Gary Moore's week by any means, or made up for what's happened this week, but
I
it's
mean, Editor Jajit ran well, didn't he? Let's get another social up. Trevor Meeks comes back
Yeah, he
on.
ran well for a long
He
way.
did, yeah.
Authorised speed.
Authorised speed. Oh, was that fifth in the bumper? Yeah. Was it? McGrath's horse? Yeah. Okay. He's a
Trevor's
tool.
coming in and said Knight Salute. Everybody says Knight Salute's a forgotten horse, so he fails that test by definition, doesn't he?
And again, well, I suppose. What you think he's popular because everyone thinks he's
Everybody's
he's a
told
dark
me he's
horse.
forgotten.
He's the most popular dark horse in training.
Yeah, he's the most popular forgotten horse I've ever heard in my
Oh,
life.
Milton Harris has said that. Isn't it great to have the betting editor on one of his favourite other days on the show?
It's the
with us
greatest
this
race,
afternoon?
isn't it, the Gold Cup?
Yeah,
Maddie
great
Blail
stuff.
told me last night that she's found it boring. And, the gross misconduct, she's out the door.
Yeah, quite right. Absolutely.
I hope you reported to HR.
Well, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
She's-
listen.
she's already gone.
The racing post terrace.
Our pass didn't work this
Slander.
morning, Barry. She doesn't know why.
Slander.
Don't worry, I've cut the pass in half actually now, so yeah, quite right. All right, we're having fun. We are not far away from the opening race on the final day, would you believe it, of the Cheltenham Festival. My goodness gracious me, Constitution Hill seems like another lifetime ago. doesn't it?
Yeah.
But he keeps you
Absolutely.
warm, though, doesn't he? Constitution Hill, that performance.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
God.
we'll be dissecting everything on tomorrow's show for you as well. Stick with us. I know it's a bit like after the Lord Mayor's show, but we'll be answering some puzzles for you tomorrow.
Can I quickly drop in my tip for this race?
Have you not done it yet?
No, I've not. I thought Lunar Power was a suspiciously big price. I'm putting him first four places. I've backed him first four places rather than, just a token one.
Parnassus.
No. Lunar Power.
Lunar Power.
Literally
my
the
Lord.
outsider of all the horses that's got any remote chance. If this was a flat race, he'd be 8-1. And he's been running in the good races. He's not quite come up to scratch in those so far, but he's not had much experience yet. No Mead's stuck the blinkers on today. And yeah, in his flat form, he'd be third best at these. He's just
230 to win
Yeah,
it, and in the
wow.
four-place market on the exchange, 12-1.
For the
backed
trainer
him.
that won the
Stand
Boodles
good.
last year.
well, same sort of approach that won the Boodles last year, and obviously
Yeah.
this is the Triumph Hurdle this time. But
yeah.
I backed him at 140, so I'm a bit sick at what he's gone out to now.
You need to go in again.
Just looking
There you
at
No, I don't.
just looking at pictures for those that are
Gamble
watching the show
Responsibly.
that can't see. Dr. Panassis is pretty warm under the saddle.
Yeah,
quite
come
a
on,
lot of
horsey
foam.
person. Tell us what you don't like.
Yeah, well, Dr. Panassis is very warm. Doesn't always put me off too much. Like it looks a warm day. Porticello clearly looks like he wants to bounce off handily, as we would probably expect. Nice to see them all gleaming in their spring coats now, isn't it? But a few getting warm, but in particular, Dr. Panassis.
It'd be interesting to see how Porticello jumps, because that's one thing he doesn't seem to enjoy too much. He's a chaser in the pack as well, isn't he? So
Yes.
All right, we're getting ready. Shall we have our own little roar for Gold Cup Day then? The guys in the studio got Will and Nick with us all week. Sterling work. There we go. They're in the back. The office is absolutely full. Natalie's pass is going back to her on this one. And we're off and running. Porticello then takes it up for Fedor. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the grinding Fedor is in second. Jumped that fine Care Allen. Oh, one of them hit it. I think it was the third, of course, to Vauban last time. Ilte Etompt. Again, a maiden, isn't he? Absolutely
His head's all over the place.
Looking for Vauban,
Moving
also
like
a bit
a
keen in
train.
fourth, just surpassed by Iker Allen. Looking for Pied Piper, he's lovely, full of himself, tracking his main market rival then. Bruce Millington, who do you think you are? Dave Orton's had a rest, but he's commentating again today. Lunar Power out the back, Dr. Parnassus, a little bit keen. Teddy Blue, despite that hood, also taking a right old keen hold out the
They're
back,
not
isn't
going
he?
very quickly at all. I
Oh,
wouldn't
guess
say.
what? Guess what time the clock says?
30 miles an hour.
Hey, just to break the habit of a lifetime, it says 30 miles an hour again. But they are quite strung out, Barry. We've seen the positions now. Any early skirmishes at all?
Yeah, I tell you, just before the off, Porticello came in for serious support. He had a Betfair SP of 8.3. He's trading at 9 in running now. Pied Piper, or Phil Dore, 5.9. Price Pied Piper. Vauban is 2.6. They all seem to be travelling well in themselves, but couple pulling hard. LST Temps is out to 44. Seems to be pulling hard. And Dr. Parnassus seems to be pulling hard as well. That's 38.
I'm glad you said his name because I got it wrong. Elite Tom's come back. Bruce, all is forgiven. Bruce is down there today and we've got a picture of him basking in the sun. We'll get to that. But Porticello has settled lovely, hasn't he?
Beautiful. Ears pricked. Nice rhythm. Would be very worried at Dr. Parnassus right now. Heads up, been pulling like a train, doesn't look particularly happy. His head carried all over the shop. Porticello at the moment, I'm absolutely thrilled.
They've picked up the pace to my eye, but your clock in the bottom left corner is not telling.
No, it is a bit strange. It just makes you think when two have stolen a march. That was a beautiful jump from Porticello there, says Natalie Green.
Sorry, nearly took off the chair then,
again,
Dave.
Is Vauban a touch? I mean, Willie Mullins' record with juveniles, he can't even get the best handicap hurdler in the last 10 years winning, can he? He gets chinned, and that was a 4-year-old. He's won this once, of course. It was the luckiest triumph winner, Burning Victory. He's won from 24 in this race.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it takes a certain type of way of doing things to get juvenile hurdle winners, I would suspect. He gets all them from France. Does he get many off the flat in Britain?
He doesn't think they've got any longevity. Me and Barry have had this chat before. But anyway, look,
that used to be the problem with Mullins. They never used to have longevity.
If there's anything he can't do, he can even win a champion chase this week. He's now got the set, hasn't he? Barry, let's come to you then. We're about 4 out.
Yeah, favourite shortening into 2.36 now, so 11 to 8. Pied Piper is 4.966 Phil Dore. So the market has it between the top two, Vauban and Pied Piper, 6 to 4 and 7 to 2 respectively.
Thanks, Barry. I like the way Akara Elen is going as well. He wasn't at his best at Leopardstown, was he, when he was stanking the betting? He came good last time in a key race and he's in an ideal spot at the moment.
Do you think Night Suit looks a bit funny? I think he walloped the one before and he just sort of... bit off his rhythm a little bit, Night Salute, do you think?
Yeah, I'm just watching him on the inside. There's a
think?
lot of
Just-
running,
bit-
isn't he, Night Salute?
Yes.
That's the other thing. Yeah, he doesn't look that comfortable, but he did look a little bit. He did look a little bit
have
off
speed.
the bridle in the Adonis as well. And of course, could this be a tritonic? Right, this is where it gets tricky. Keith Melrose.
They're all still in it, aren't they? Now you've got Porticello and Theodore up there, and it's just. Only the rags are really struggling. You've only got the real outsiders that are beat. Yeah.
Look at Pied Piper. He's absolutely cruising this horse.
He is indeed.
What do we think of the ground? Just looking at that quickly as well. It's not too bad. I can see some dust flying up.
No, we'll get the final time to tell us a bit of that.
The big two in the market then. Fedor going for the rail. That means that Pied Piper's got to switch, but no looking happier than Jack Kennedy at the moment. It's him and Vauban. Porticello going for it. Look at the top 10. He's going as well.
What does Pied Piper find?
Pied Piper in a bit of trouble as he's getting switched.
Len finishes.
Here we go then. The big three. It's Vauban on the rail. Look at this, could be Mullins. Pied Piper's doing his absolute best. The old rival's going for it, but this is where the turbo kicks in. If he's over great there. Pied Piper jumps a lot better. Come on, the Piper up the hill. Fedor, could this be Davey Russell? No. The chassis of Vauban comes good. Goodness gracious me. This is a quick juvenile. Willie Mullins gets his second winner in the Triumph Hurdle. On the rail, Pied Piper and Fedor, Gordon Elliott. I don't think there's anything wrong with the stable form at all, is there? They've bumped into one.
Yeah, they have here. I mean, the stable form, they've not had the success you'd have thought, but a few have gone quite well. And yeah, that's just the flat speed's won that. The time looks slow. I said we'll tell something from the overall time. I don't think we will because that race was a real faff for the first mile and a half, really. So it's the flat speed of Vauban that's won the day really in the end.
As it did in the spring, Barry, at Leopardstown. They confirmed that form, haven't they, despite the fact it was a messy race. I mean, there were 5 going to the last. It got a bit messy, but I heard your reaction when the turbo kicked in.
Yeah, he was 5 to 2 on jump at the last. Now, he made a bit of a mistake, obviously. He made a mess of the last, really, and it opened the door just a bit for Phil Dore and Pied Piper, but Phil Dore traded at a low of 4.8. Pied Piper traded at a low of 3.0, which is 2 to 1. So the market really always knew that once Paul Townend got after Vauban, he was going to strike on and win. And he's won convincingly, really, hasn't he? He's devoured the hill. He looks at he's prospecting for the 4th places on the Betfair Sportsbook. Claire Alan, I think, sneaks into 4th place. So that'll be a popular pick as well.
Yeah, how he did that.
Very much
well, at least none of us went against Vauban anyway.
We knew.
At least none of us took him on.
I'll tell you who'll be having a great time.
Race.
If you're anywhere near the track at the moment, go and find Graham Rodway. He'll be absolutely delighted with this. He said to us, didn't he, on the show about a month ago,
he'll be a happy bear.
Yeah, so a strike back for the bear, absolutely. We're watching them come up. Keith, this is how much the rail had to do with this? I don't know.
7 from 14 for the champion hurdle next year.
Oh,
Really?
now. Here we
14, did
go.
you say?
7 from 14.
7 for 14.
14.
Oh, right, no. Yeah, I mean, it depends on Constitution Hill, doesn't it? But
5-year-olds in the champion hurdle, I suppose. Look, let's concentrate on the winner for a minute. If you believe the grapevines, they were saying that Willie was trying to convince them to wait for next year's Supreme with this chap.
oh, really? Were they?
Yeah, and he was just going so well there to let him rip.
He's from a family that tended to get better, a flat family that tended to get better as they got older, with the
Yeah.
exception of Masked Marvel, who won the Ledger, obviously.
You can't
It's
really
a really
knock the
good
form, can you?
It's a
Because-
really good flat pedigree. Look at the speed he's showing. I don't think the rails had any
He's quick,
real
isn't he?
effect.
So quick.
He's going to. I think this horse is going to be a real weapon in these 2 mile hurdles through the winter. He's just got that turn of pace. He's got that flat form. We need to make sure he definitely handles. Well, he's running soft ground on the flat really, and if he handles the deep midwinter mud, he'll be a real weapon in those 2 mile hurdles during the winter, I'd say.
Okay, and who had him out there? Let us know. Who had him out there? Porticello was there, so...
No, I was going to say, I thought he jumped really well.
Porticello?
So, yeah,
Probably
really
the best
well.
he's
So,
jumped.
Absolutely the best he's jumped, just like we
Yeah.
say.
He's a wet tracker though, isn't he? I
A
think?
mudlark.
Yeah.
Remember it, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
for another day on softer, then I'll be going in
That
again.
was
That's
exciting.
more exciting than I thought it was going to be.
I can see a few people saying, I'm off to the pub now, I've backed him in the chat. And actually, Barry, I'll come to you. Had Gallopin stood up, we'd be looking in a favourite winning each day on the first day, would we? Constitution Hill, was he fav in the end, or was it Dysart?
No, Dysart was fab,
Did he go
wasn't
on fab, did
Surely Constitution Hill was fab.
No, I think Dysart Dynamo
I thought it was
went.
94
But
fab.
the favs in the first race, generally, Barry, have either been there or won, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been there or thereabouts. Constitution Hill was joint fab.
Joint fab.
Call it a draw.
With Dysart, yeah.
draw.
And obviously yesterday, Gallopin Deschamps went off favoured ahead of the other. No, we've had, I mentioned it earlier on the Racing Post, who ran a story about it. We saw a lot of doubles. Vauban going on to Stateman in this race. Willie Mullins opening race at double. The 2 favs. So that worked out about 10-1 earlier, 7-4 and 3-1. So it'll be interesting to see what price Stateman goes off here.
Yeah, very much so. Before we move on then, there is the Betfair SP, just under 2-1 then for you if you are playing that. You've got your members club offer there that we've been running through the week. Don't forget that. Limited time offer, $9.99. Unlimited access, absolutely everything at the Racing Post. And that includes Aintree, as Keith quite rightly said. So if you do that today, it's usually around about 40 quid. So giving it away, I guess. All right, should we talk about some of the other horses in the trunk before we move on?
Well, I want to see a replay. I was so enwrapped in thinking, right, how's this thing going to get away from the last after he hit it? I've not actually looked behind because I'm already thinking Porticello's actually got, he's by Sokolov, and he's sort of French mixed ped on the dam side. Could be a nice novice chaser next year.
You're getting a bit serious, aren't
I'm
you? Look, the jacket is
absolutely
coming off.
flipping boiling. I think it was the excitement from that race.
On Saturday,
I'm literally-
Kate
my
Tracy
shirt
wore her
is
Cheltenham coat in it. I was worried about it. I thought it was going to melt.
Really me.
Oh, God, stuck
It is
to
a
me.
little bit hot in here, but-
Yeah, Sokolov. I mean, someone said to me the other day, yeah, but it's irrelevant jumps racing with sires. I said, you what? Like, it's not.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
it's
shall I
not.
give you a little stat?
Would you go chase?
Sokolov, Shishkin. I mean, it's
A sire buster in that, and another reason why a lot of the trends people would have been taking on Vauban is because the last 10 winners leading up to Vauban have been by a Group 1 winning sire. He's by Galloway, who's pretty much a jump sire. So that was a big start when I was, and again, that didn't help me, Kevin Morley, but they are there to be busted.
It's, that's not the sort of thing I would normally factor in.
it's
Did your
just-
sire win a Group 1? Nah, sorry, get to the back of the queue.
Well, when you see 10 out of 10s, that's
You're
when
out.
they look at them, you know. And listen, it is interesting. If one man is going to just say, up yours to trends, it's probably Willie Mullins, isn't it?
Well, true, yeah.
And Rich Ritchie's had his big win up, so that's great. He'll be reinvesting in these French horses.
Do you know what I think has been really tremendous about Willie, particularly this festival, is how he is gentlemanlike and takes. I mean, he is used to more than probably any other trainer horses falling at the last fence. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, you're all right.
And at the last, it is just it's a kick in the stomach, isn't it? But how he takes it and he moves on. I mean, he's got so many fabulous horses, but
yeah,
I
exactly,
like his response. I think it's.
If one man's going to respond with equanimity to that sort of thing, it's the man that's got 50 Grade 1 horses in his stable.
Do we think that's going to be there are horses to follow for next year in that race? I love the run of Fedor. He put himself. He showed his true colours there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and the race was a real crawl. So any of your jumps types, the horses that are going to develop next year won't have been seen to best effect in that race.
Yeah.
The time was absolutely shocking because they went so slowly.
But I did a feature show with Keith this morning for this evening, and the Watch Show, which goes out about 6 or 7 tonight, and he said I better dust off the stopwatch, and I looked at Matt Gardner, who's with the one. There's no dust on that stopwatch, and this is going to be one race where you're going to be looking from the last to the line, and I imagine a lot of people will, won't they? Because that was. He should have theoretically he should have struggled after jumping.
Well, that's right. You hit that last. It can, you've got to get away from that flight, and it's an uphill run, and it can really stop horses. It did not even look remotely like stopping him, did it?
How did Il Ate Tom?
Very well said.
I can't say it. Actually.
That's going to be an annoying name going forward.
I tried to do it.
One that we're going to be talking about. He ran well.
Il Ate Tom. How did he get to where he did? Because not only did he pull like an absolute train,
he walked through one, didn't he?
He made a mistake, then he was leaning, he was hanging. I mean, that was...
They've got one there,
I think the first 5 home were Irish, were they?
Oh, here we go. Normality restored.
No, I'm just saying, that might have been 5th. I thought the first 5 home were Irish.
Well, I think we were expecting this
full
one
results
to go
not
to
in
the
yet.
Irish, weren't we? I mean, the Potence was a real shocker yesterday, was it? One
First 6 were British, yeah. I mean, I think the Pertemps helped to show what the handicapping system's been like this year.
Is that 12-10 now, or is it 11-11?
12-10.
12-10, yeah. All right.
12-10, yeah.
Yeah, okay, this partisan thing that's been going on.
10's on going into today for that Presbury Cup.
Yeah. Well, that had drifted 10 points then, because it was it was one of the no bets of the week, wasn't it? But look, it was only again. I heard them talking on Good Morning Cheltenham this morning, and Keels was right. It's only a thing because of the absolute bloodbath.
Oh, absolutely,
the demolition that was yesterday. So, or last year even. So,
what do you make like the Triumph Earl in recent years? It hasn't really thrown up any horses that have gone on.
Yeah. Well, you're quite right.
Know, how do you feel about that one?
Really?
You think we have seen something special, or
I think that might be the best
we have
Triumph
seen
winner.
something special there?
Maybe the best Triumph winner we've had for a few years.
we
The reason
looking
the Triumph suffers though is because you can't get the good horses off the flat in Britain sell for megabucks and go east, and the horses that come from France, they're often too fizzy to go on really. So you end up with a lot of horses that don't. The Triumph is about the pinnacle. They're either second-rate flat horses from Britain, or they're French horses that aren't really trained to last until they're 10.
They almost get caught in a sort of like twilight season, don't they? A little bit like Zanna here this year.
Yeah, he's certainly the champion, isn't he?
Yeah, of course he's run well, but he's not gone on to be a star. Obviously, Calixios. But you've looked down the roll. That's a great question, Barry, because Tiger Roll, of course, won it in 2014. No one knew what a freak he'd be. But are we looking at a 2013 Our Connor?
Yeah, possibly. I mean,
He was super special.
We never know how good he could have been, really.
Yeah, all right. Dave Stone joins it. And sweat is well worth it, Natalie. You look great today.
Dave, you don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just stripping off him. I'll be naked.
Hang on a minute. The viewership just went up. Don't do that, whatever you do.
I'll be naked.
HR are already on top of you, young lady.
Oh, they will be. I'll be out the door.
All right, look, on that bombshell, let's move forward because it is the county hurdle. And I imagine, Barry, I don't know, actually, I was expecting some sort of price crash as Mullins looks for a quick fire double.
Yeah, he's 11-4 from 3-1, but he was 4-1 last night. So the price crash might have already happened, Dave. In fairness, when you look at this race, it's such a competitive race. There's not many people could face into this now at 11-4. So punters looking for value elsewhere. Obviously, the 7 places on the Betfair Sportsbook as well. And we're going to try to avail of that. But on the exchange, it's 4.4. So it's 7-2 State Man on the exchange. The vibes out of the stable very strong about this horse. 8.6 Colonel Mustard. Equally very positive around that. 11 West Cork. I like to move at 12. The same price and prize package. Top Bandit with Davey Russell 15, and it's 22 bar on the exchange, a win-only market. But we're going to look at the sports book here. Please keep. Because of those 7 places, we're going to avail them. And I like my mate Mozzie. He's rated 141 in Ireland. He's got £5 off the British handicapper, so he's 146. The drying ground will suit him. He looked very good in Punchestown and in the Grade 3 in Navan. He got beat a short head in the Royal Bond. Now, the mare that won that race hasn't really advertised the form. He was very disappointing last day at the Dublin Racing Festival behind Sir Gerhard, but I think the stable were under a bit of a cloud. We saw yesterday that the stable's not under a cloud anymore when Flooring Porter won the Stayers Hurdle for Gavin Cromwell. So we're going to have 25 quid each way. My mate Mozzie, I think he's 18 at the moment, to avail of those 7 places on the Betfair Sportsbook.
You're right, Barry. There are some trainers that you just come to this week in March every year and you just know that they're going to get on the score sheet. I mean, even Gavin Yaku, who was supplemented for the Arden, that was a real curve. Yeah. We didn't see really where that came from. He travelled like a beaut, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And, there was the Blue Lord maybe didn't quite get up the hill, nor did Riviere de Tel. But that's why you put horses like that in the race. You saw that the Irish challenge for the Arkle was a little bit splintered and maybe not as strong as it can be. took his chances and got best of the rest behind Edwardstone.
And before we go into you making your case with my mate Mozzie, I'll give you a time of the first, shall I?
It's 4 minutes 8 something, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4 minutes, 4 minute 5:85.
I'm not
so
sure.
slow boy.
4 minute
8
5.
Yeah, slow boy. Best part of 9 seconds. So
Yeah, and given how much they've dawdled around and then quickened, I would suggest. I mean, it's definitely quicker than yesterday.
Oh well, 100%.
It's 3 seconds quicker, I think, than the Dawn Run yesterday.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we're looking at. I think we were right with the ground assessments. It's dangerous to say that because it's confirming our, built-in prejudices, but I think soft side of good, yeah.
Well, we'll know after this, won't we?
You'd hope so after this, yeah. And imagine the time for this would be quicker than the Triumph. I like my mate Mozzie as well for it. As Barry said, before the big boys came out to play in the Supreme, John Bourne, Constitution Hill, Dysart, Dynamo, I thought, my mate Mozzie, that could run well on a Supreme, that. It jumps really well, it's got everything going for it. And then it got beaten the Royal Bond. I think it's shaped like the best horse in the Royal Bond, but it's not turned out to be the strongest Grade 1 you'll ever see in your life. He got put away from that, came back at the DRF, and got a run behind Sir Gerhard. I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest that after the Royal Bond defeat, they switched from the Supreme to the County Hurdle straight away. I won't say any more. And he's now in this race, 146, which I think maybe is a little bit higher than he thought, but well, he did go off favourite for a Grade 1. So what do they expect? And they're taking £5 off him. But I think he's a graded novice. I think he could win. He could go well in a Grade 1 at some point. So I'm not necessarily that worried about a mark of 146.
No, he's got to give £5, doesn't he, to Stateman? If they all lined up in a graded race, as usually is the case on a Sunday in Ireland, what price off levels would Stateman to beat them all?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, it's Mullins, isn't it? And
well, it is, but yeah, exactly. So
he'd be. I mean, Colonel Mustard is a horse that we like, isn't he? I mean, I really like this horse.
I really like this. So I'm going to play this each way wise. Colonel Mustard and West Cork.
These 7 places for him is very appealing.
Very appealing. I've liked actually. Saw Harry Fowler, Lorna's husband, on Tuesday. They have Rainston stud in Ireland, a big sort of stud out there breeding. Certainly, Lorna, of course, for those that don't know, used to work on Channel 4.
Bradburn.
Lorna Bradburn. And I think this is a nice story. She obviously made hints about coming here. It's nice to actually see Colonel Mustard in this race. So definitely Colonel Mustard for me. West Cork, I like that. If we look at West Cork, look, he could still be ahead of the handicapper. He's won on soft. That Greatwood was brilliant, wasn't it? And then he had that overreach. Overreaches are nasty. In the, where their hoof is, just the back there. And their hoof goes in, and that's no good. And it stings.
Yeah.
So you can make excuses for that fifth.
I did. It's in the Gold Cup analysis that I wrote today for the paper, but it applies to this race too. We wrote this on the Friday because he had West Cork as well as protected it. But Dan Skelton's record when he lays these horses out for Class 1 races is really quite strong. His strike rate goes down from his overall strike rate of 18 to 12, but these are Class 1 races. And his actual wins against expected races, so he outperforms the market with these horses.
Big day for Dan Skelton, of course, isn't it? Protectorate in the Gold Cup for John Hales. Blitzlog ran so well, didn't he, early in the year, early in the week.
Happy retirement.
Happy retirement. Great to see him get some place money as well, wasn't it? Barry, let's come to you. This is a notable gamble race, isn't it? What have been the movers? I saw when I was looking earlier that Broomfield Berg, once again, they're coming for this chap.
Yeah, he was on the sportsbook. He was 20 into 14, finished 7th in the Betfair Hurl, which I don't know, the form of the Betfair Hurl, what I've seen so far hasn't really been advertised. So just a watching brief on that for now. I couldn't face into Broomfield Berg here, to be perfectly honest with you. He went off 11 to 4 favourite for the Betfair Hurl, can only finish 7th. So that would be a bit of the disappointment for me. Surprise package, got that £5. I love that horses coming out at festivals like that again. It's always really exciting. Obviously, we saw him win last week. Only 7 days between winning in Sandown and coming out here. He could be a very popular winner as well. Joe Public seemed to remember him. He's come in for support. He's a 9 to 1 chance. But Broomfield Berg probably the big springer in the race.
Right, yes, absolutely. For JP, of course, who won all the handicap hurdles last year, didn't he? Is that right? Well, remember, you forget these things, don't you? But
what did he win?
He
won most of them. I know that. If not all of them.
Not so good this
JP. So did he? No, we had Heaven Help Us won the Coral Cup.
Oh yeah, of course.
For definite. Gallopin Deschamps won the Martin Pipe.
Yeah, all right.
There's 2.
There's two negs on Dave Orton.
Sometimes you do have to sit up
and... He win last year. He won all the handicaps up at some point. Anyway, this chap they always go for. And you know, I've said on this show before, I do get the occasional endo message from credible sources in there. And I think he's just a very good workhorse. But First Street is the number one here. So when you see JP Money, I don't know whether people are giving him another chance. You've got to be, I don't know, loyal, haven't you, to these horses a little bit?
Yeah, I like Barry. I quite like Surprise Package as well. I would just play this for punts at home.
It was a ridiculous performance, wasn't it, on Saturday?
Yeah, have a few each ways. It's a fun race to do that in. But you've got to sit up and take notice when Ruby Walsh. I know he's busy and he's brilliant analysis, but he was like, when asked about this race, he went, "State man."
Yes,
and wouldn't give any other. It was just that was it.
Utter bullishness.
He must just work like a dream. So
he has to surely.
I'll get to his form as well, which backs up his mark as well. And Mike POB or Mike Pob says Top Bandit to win, who for a long way through the winter was a horse that we saw through this. Gordon Elliott for Calderwell Construction, isn't it? Oh no, they're very similar colours. Not Calderwell Construction actually. They are the same colours as Colonel Mustard by the looks of it, aren't they? Yes, they are. And Top Bandit, what does he say? Of course, we saw him win, didn't we, here at the track before? He's just sort of gone on a bit lukewarm as the others have come for it. But this is Davey Russell again, second in the first.
Yeah.
Creeping closer to that big announcement.
Creeping closer. Also, can we just, we should give a mention for Cormier, shouldn't we, chasing that jackpot, so on More Battle Day. It was really cool at Kelso because I was stood with Brian watching the race. And, God, he was emotional after winning that.
Was he?
Yeah, tears in his eyes. Unreal.
He's surprising like that, Brian Elson. You'd think he was a man who showed no emotion. Yeah.
It was one of the trickiest interviews I've done in the last couple of
years. He's a great guy. But
we had to do it through Skype as well, and it was like, I think he's in his shed.
I love Brian so much.
He's not exactly Richard Burton, is he, in terms of his enunciation?
We needed a Google translator that day, let's put it that way.
He gave me an amazing interview at Kelso, but to watch it with him was so exciting. He had tears down his face. They're chasing that big jackpot, which is well done to Kelso for that incentive.
He's been a lovely horse, Cormier. And
he'll love the ground, Dave. He'll love the ground.
Me and Paul Keeley will tell you that whenever we don't back this horse, he wins. He was a project to me and Gills for quite a long time. We backed him in his first Greatwood that he ran in. And he caught the eye that day, and we never just get him right. I'm not on him today.
Is he your my Mondemege?
There you are. Well, I mean, everyone's Mondemege.
Is he your my Mondemege?
Oh, Cheltenham week, and Nat gets in Mondemege. Everyone's
I thought we'd get a week without him.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, he could be running it.
He runs every week.
He probably would have a say, wouldn't he? He's that sort of talent. But First Street is another interesting horse, third in that Betfair, and if he jumped the last two better, he would have a say. He's got a hood on. I'm very, very keen on Colonel Mustard.
Me too.
His form is rock solid, you know. There's John Bond form, and it was a messy race. He probably was, the most inconvenienced by that. And then, of course, he's got the Sir Gerhard and the three-stripe life. He was the only one running on from out the back that day.
He has, and goodness me, how happy will they be? You know, we saw it with Florian Porter yesterday, the connections, didn't we? Wasn't that awesome to see?
Yeah.
I think they were tossing up between the Ballymore, weren't they, or coming here?
Yes.
Yeah. And he's been a really likeable horse for us British punters because he's been giving us a line, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He was brave enough to come over to Ascot in December.
Yeah, he was. Did anybody get in touch with those Florian Porter guys this morning?
I don't imagine they'll be seen anywhere.
We should have been in contact. We should have said, right, give us your number, lads, and I'll give you a ring.
I think it's lucky that Danny Mullins came back. Did you see him? They carried him on the shoulders, weren't they?
Oh, we should have done that.
I'd have been carrying Danny Mullins after Rat Ride yesterday.
What about I Like to Move It? Any love for Twister's 5-year-old who, again, when he won at the course, rattling off that three-timer.
He's a price he should be, isn't he?
Was that
he's been second
November
because he won at the October meeting and the November meeting. He was a little bit against. He wasn't fancied against Tritonic at the October meeting, and then he was obviously fav at the November meeting. But Twiston Davies said after the Betfair Hurdle, if that had been at Cheltenham, he'd have won it. And I'm not. He's probably right with that. So the horse has got a chance. I think he's the price he should be at 9-1. Do
you know what though? If Gamble Road is anything to go, I just after last year when the Brits came to this race and we all sort of like, great in the Betfair Hurdle, 50 ball and the likes of that. I think they just do show their hand and they make their moves too soon and I don't know.
Betfair Hurdle.
Again, I just can see I Like to Move It being fine turning in and then falling in a hole.
He quickens quite well in these races, these small field races. So maybe you're right.
I don't know. It's a tricky one.
They were both old course as well in November and October meetings, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're both the old course. And this
Any
is a new...
wacky ones here? Let's talk about Sod's Law. Imagine if Ballyadam.
I've got a massive price one. He's got very similar form. I can't even find him. I'm going that far and I can't find him. It's far out.
Keep scrolling.
Far out.
Faru or far out.
Far
yeah.
out. I'm going to call him far out. That's far out, man.
Yeah, far out.
I was watching the My Mate Mozzie run in the Sir Gerhard race, and this horse basically did the same. He's got earlier form that gives him, a half decent chance. He's not been missed particularly with his mark, but he looks like a horse that's potentially got a little bit more improving to do. He has already been placed in a Grade 1 and placed in a Grade 1 novice, dropping back into handicaps isn't a bad angle. The BHA handicapper has taken a rather different assessment of that race relative to Mr. Gardner, actually, who's with us today. I thought for a horse that had not dissimilar form to My Mate Mozzie, who I'm quite into, I thought that Far Out was a horse I had to get on side.
I'm just having a look down at the roll call of honour here, and Belfast Banter, do you remember, who somehow won at 33-1 last year for Peter Farley, of course, surprise package trade, and then went on to win a Grade 1 at Aintree, didn't he? So we went off of that. But Saint Ra, of course, was the only winning fav. 4 Mullins, and listen, I don't know how much we're looking to. I'm looking for Mullins second strings. They do obviously win. Wicklow Brave.
1,000 Stars was a second string, wasn't it?
Can't blimey, that's going back a little bit. Arctic Fire.
I'm thinking of
1.
that's a long time ago. 1,000 Stars now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember we won it with a horse called Final Approach, who would be very much like.
It was in Final Approach. Or was that the horse that did the double? But there was a horse that
it was him and Get Me Out of Here, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a good day.
It was that was before nose had been invented. On the close-up comment.
Yeah. Well, was it really?
Yeah. It was never a short head.
Well, that was Get Me Out of Here was he was the sort of horse. There was a lot of consternation about that horse.
Yeah.
Because basically Lydia Hislop called them out and says they're getting that hooked up for a handicap. They says no. And then backed him off the boards in the last 5 minutes before the county.
There we go. So State Man, let's concentrate on this form. Why is he a general 3-1 shot, or just above at the moment? We'll go to Barry in a minute on the exchange. He's holding his price pretty much to my eye. Again, I thought he might go down, but
Not the most impressive to look at.
he fell first time out, didn't he? Which would be slight concern with an F in his form figure. I mean, he's only had 2 runs over hurdles, and here he is in the hustle and bustle. I imagine they'll try and keep him out a bit, won't they? I would imagine if he's that good.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. The fact he's got a fall, so that's a non-completion. It's less evidence than if he'd finished the race.
But the
previous run was in France behind Bustleton. Actually, he was second in the Turners yesterday in the end. So really, we've not got much to go on.
Second to Fresh Air, wasn't he?
Well, basically, yeah, we've not got much. Lengths. We've really got much to go on with State Man, is what I'm getting at.
Well,
it's just very short, isn't it, for a horse that we don't know?
He must just work like a dream.
He must.
Well, I thought that because we've got him. His British mark is 141. The RPR that we've given him is a 133. However, the horse that he thrashed, albeit 7s on, is a horse called Plains Indian, who finished second next time subsequently, and then probably would have won had but falling. So the form and actually improved on that run. So it does look pretty solid.
Yeah, he's improved £5 since then, Plains Indian, and State Man beat him as he liked. So the BHA handicapper, or the official handicappers generally, they have to be pinned down to a single figure with these horses,
and he's got a proper French breeding.
Difficult. Well, yeah.
Did they have to give him a rating?
They could have definitely said insufficient evidence there.
Yeah.
We've got one in France because of the F. I think they could have definitely said nah. But I think once the horse has had 3 runs, they are quite reluctant to do that. Unless, and I'm giving away trade secrets here, but unless they think they've been stopping them, they will give them a mark after 3 runs, basically. And this horse obviously hadn't been stopped. He'd run in France, fallen, and won easily.
Go on, Barry.
He seems uncomplicated as well. Like when he fell that day, he was out in front making all, and he made all in Limerick when he was a 7-ons chance. Now, I don't know whether it was just a case where they thought, listen, don't get stuck behind any runners. This lad will win, just go in with him. But it could be, like I said earlier, stable confidence, and that's what you're going on here. It's not the form, like Pete says in the book, that's making him a 3-1 chance. It's that everyone seems to be talking about him out of the yard. They seem to be very confident behind. There's a lot of confidence behind, and that he's an uncomplicated ride, and that he doesn't need to be held up and come through horses. He'll be prominent, if not leading.
Yeah, and you've got to take those vibes seriously. And also in a race like this, that's what you don't want, do you? Bumping around, getting in the mess.
Definitely. I think it speaks to 2 types of punters. The people that will just go and row in behind this State Man because of what they're hearing. Yeah. And the punters that think that determined to get that sort of horse beat. And I would very much be in the latter camp. If you're a fan of Gaelic Warrior, you'd have been far more in the former camp, because I like what Tom Siegel said about that race. He said that's not punting. When you're backing Gaelic Warrior on evidence that nobody that doesn't understand French form could really parse.
Yeah.
You're doing what Bruce said he was doing at the start of the week and having a few guesses.
Well, yeah, but no, it's not guesses. It's faith. It's not a guess.
Yeah.
Because
I would suggest that's a bit of a guess, but I don't know.
What, faith? Faith is a guess.
Maybe a little bit.
Well, this isn't philosopher corner.
Where are we
Okay,
going?
excuse
Where's the
me.
black
I'll have a
couch?
sip of water.
Let's
Yeah,
get it
exactly.
out. If I'm going to do it with anyone, it's not you. That's for sure. You'd have me turning inside out my head, man.
I know, it's like I'm in a washing machine.
Absolutely. I need another car bomb. I can tell you that much going down. We were in the pub last night and we were training, let's put it that way, but it was Paddy's Day and we allowed ourselves to have
Moderate
a drink,
drink. We had
Yes, we
a
did.
car bomb for fun.
Well, it's a long week.
And it was
Absolutely.
a race, and I won.
Your whole week performance will be judged on tomorrow, Nat Green. Don't you worry about it. Eagle-eyed.
Yeah, you've got to go. You've got to run through the line.
You've got to go through the pain
As soon as I
barrier.
cross the Fox Hunters, I'm finished. I'm off. Start the car.
He goes skiing.
Let's think about tomorrow.
Okay, all right. Well, some of us had to do it first thing this morning, but we nailed it, didn't we?
Dave,
I
text
don't
me.
know what the chat is about the first winner, but a couple of people looking for a Melbourne quote from. Interestingly,
It wouldn't be the worst. It wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. It was his flat speed that won in that race, Barry, wasn't it? So makes a degree. So,
and the owner obviously.
yeah, exactly. Max
would
Dynamite
love
was
to go down again. Yeah.
No.
Do you know what? It makes you think of Limini as well, don't you? Do you remember Rich Ritchie's Mayor's Novice winner, where everyone was like, she could run, was it Ruby said she could run a Jubbmonte International or something, wasn't it? Something crazy, or a Yorkshire Oaks, that's what it was.
Ruby Walsh
It was
learned from his dad that saying something outlandish can definitely get you a bit more.
Yeah, the G-Rod line. But no, that's interesting, Barry, isn't it?
Lovely Limini.
Melbourne Cup quote. And Paul Nicholls won Crossbar of the Week in the Boodles. He's going to go down under, isn't he? I forget his name now. BX1.
Yeah,
was that
Bell
right?
X1.
Bell X1,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ran
Is that what's
really
happening with him, Dave?
Yeah.
Is he gone down?
Yeah.
Oh, he's leaving Nichols.
Hey, I tell you what.
He's
Hey,
aimed at the Melbourne Cup.
Hey, I thought you were zooming into my preview with him the other Monday ago. I got it all out of him, man. I'm telling you. Barry sent me a lovely WhatsApp
knew that
after
it-
that, saying, Dave, you were brilliant. You brought in Vanessa. Paul's on great form. We loved it. Thanks very much. Didn't listen to a word of it.
Yeah, evidently.
Barry.
I'm jesting, Barry. But they are very well-known Australian colours. And Nichols said, I've never
I
been
heard you mention that, and he had never met the owners. I heard that part of it. I didn't hear that he was going back down. I thought
Yeah.
he was staying up here.
Yeah, I think whether they have another fun run with him, I don't know, because he came in fresh, didn't he? But that's why he obviously had the flat form over in Ireland. But he's going down under. That's where the prize money is, and he will be running in those, long distance. I don't know whether it will be a Melbourne Cup. I don't know if he's got that sort of rating on the flat. You need to go up a bit, but he'll be going in the sort of Geelong Cups and all that sort of stuff. My
okay.
cup of tea.
It's like I told off of mentioning Montemej. I want about
They've
the Melbourne
just
Cup.
been asked for Vorbank. What sort of quotes are you giving them for that then, Barry?
No one's priced it up yet because they're busy with Cheltenham, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
That's a brave
Melbourne Cup
man's...
next November
That's
is
a-
not in their mind at all.
I think he does it just to annoy people like you, Barry. I think Mullins just says it just to say, like, tell you what, price up Gallop in the shop for the Queen Mother for me, please, Barry.
Yeah, and then he turns around when they go to the camera.
then
What,
the
have it all!
Yeah, I reckon they do it on
Journalists ask me,
purpose.
and then I have to send an email to our traders, and the traders are like, "Is that fella on drugs? Why is he asking us about the Melbourne Cup in the middle of Gold Cup Day, and he wants a quote for a Melbourne Cup?"
That's
Yeah.
funny. That's
Tell
funny.
Ryan McHugh if it runs in the Melbourne Cup, we want an Aussie commentary from him. The great young trader out there who occasionally puts his face on the Barry screen, and we love Ryan. Honestly, go out and look at Barry's Twitter. That commentary of Jerry Allen is absolutely fantastic that he does. All right, so we are. What are we?
It feels like I was just looking at that. I can see Sean Quinlan in the background with his silks. I'm thinking we're only 4 minutes away.
Is there a slight delay here,
There's still
then?
jockeys in the paddock.
Well, these won't be live pictures, I wouldn't have thought. It's often the
Maybe
case.
not. It might
Oh,
not be
yes.
live.
No, they're at post, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
okay,
yeah.
they're at post. All right, well, good. This is
why
hugely
we need
exciting.
Keith, I think.
After this, we've got the Albert Bartlett, we've got the Gold Cup, and we've got the Hunter Chase.
Yeah, so this is your last chance for speed, lads.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
Yes.
staying only from here on.
Oh,
Yes.
with much to your...
Well, yeah, I'm delighted. I mean,
Excitement.
Albert Bartlett is a good race to watch because some of the most exciting novice chasers you get next season will run in that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be a great race to watch in that regard. And, yeah, the Gold Cup itself. And I'm looking forward to the Fox Hunter this year. The Hunter.
Yeah, come on, it's 2022,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, change
It's
it.
Hunter Chase.
Yeah, Dean Gripton on the chat says, I love the chaos of the final 6 furlongs of the county. 26 of them. This must be the hardest race to commentate on all week. Should we get Nat Green making her commentary debut? What do you reckon? A bit more sweat on that brow?
Are you joking? I'd be... Look,
I want you here with me tomorrow. I won't throw that.
There's a
that
few things
curveball.
I can't do. Sing and commentate. So let's just stick
We
with...
found out about the singing yesterday, didn't we? No,
When I was doing... Da-na-na,
It all started going a little bit trippy when that
the horse
happened.
comes in at Cheltenham, I was trying to get everyone going. But
Oh, marvellous. And we know you're out there watching. Welcome along. If you just tuned in, the numbers have been great all week. The feedback's absolutely fantastic. Subscribers through the roof. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Myself, Dave Orton, Nat Green.
I like
Keith,
it when people
Melrose and
interact
Barry.
with us. It's fun.
Yeah,
More people
absolutely.
interact.
Yeah, we've had our regulars all week, and we have them all through the season. They keep the show going. They make the show. We
They
love
do.
it. We never know what we're going to get, do we?
Oh no. Well, yeah, we can't beat the show we did yesterday where another PR man from a bookies ended up having to kill a wasp.
Oh, yeah, right. It was in the know last night, wasn't it? Someone
Yeah.
got stung by a wasp.
David
basically,
Stevens
yeah.
got stung. The
Go
bookie
and
got
check that
stung,
out.
which was a great. Somebody came up with in the comments.
A moment. Oh, yeah, the bookie got stung.
Yeah.
Love it, absolutely. If I'll go back to the Wednesday on this show, right? And I'll be brutally honest with you. When myself, Brendan Duke, Bruce, and Alan Conway, who was sitting in for Barry that day, when we saw the rain coming down and we saw the non-runners, we had a little look in our eye, thinking, "Oh, there's bad vibes coming, aren't there?" And then Commander of the Fleet happened. And we were
Mega,
right. I can
mega
do the
Christ.
week again now, and everyone loved that comment out there, and the clip. And Bruce actually nearly took the monitor with him.
Wouldn't you be on your knees if you just backed 100 to 1 winner at Cheltenham though?
He cleaned up that day as well.
Oh, he did, yeah.
He
It
was
was
down there today.
Wasn't quite 5 figures from what I gathered.
No, he did have a good one. He only bought 1 pint as well afterwards, and then shibosh. I think he took the family out for dinner, quite rightly so. Anyway, we digress. Who's had a good week? If you've not had a good week so far, stick with it. Plenty more races to come. Hopefully some winning tips for you on the show as well. Who's that going down?
Colonel Mustard.
Oh, he looks beautiful. doesn't
He absolutely does.
Yeah,
How come he's 7 and he's still running over hurdles? He looks like a whopper, doesn't he? He looks like he should be.
It doesn't look massive, does he? It just looks
I don't know,
strong.
I think he is. I thought he was a big horse. Oh, okay. There's my eyes once again. Trevor Meeks comes back on. He says, as I said, he, bracket Skelton, may come good yet. Westcourt. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Lana
agree.
Dan.
I agree.
In the last, bidding to go one better with no galloping over it
Yeah,
this time.
I'd have been surprised if he was still 5 by off time, to be honest. It's sort of, he's got the look of a horse that the punter, somebody's going to latch on to something just behind him in the market that'll go a fab
Well,
ahead
that
of him.
form looks even better after yesterday. If you're going to ever, the owners must be like this. If we're going to bump into one,
Well, you're running. If
let's
you're
make it the best horse in training.
Yeah.
if you're running a Martin Pipe, you're primed to run into something like that.
Yeah. The horses are on their way down for the county.
Yeah,
I'm
we
going to
are a
digress a
bit-
little bit.
we are a bit late,
Before we
aren't
go back for a final market update from Barry, we watched them all go down. First Street a little bit keen on the way down. Call me going down like a star.
Yeah.
Favourite moment of the week so far? Melrose.
Constitution Hill.
Yeah.
I'm a complete tiebreak with Honeysuckle coming in. It was just incredible.
Yeah,
and
good.
Constitution Hill, yeah, that was
On the Tuesday when the
so
sun
exciting.
shone. We can match that, can't we? Barry, highlights so far for you personally?
Personally,
Yeah.
was James's Gate finishing third in the bumper because I'd done a treble. The owner's 3 horses. Sean Mulryan, who sponsors the Ballymore, he owns Ballymore. His horse finished third in the first. What do you want? Then in where Commander Bruce's horse won,
Fast
I was
or
on
slow?
the second, fast or slow, which was Sean Mulryan, and then James's Gate was the last leg of it. So I got the each way bid up with my Trixie.
Oh, well done.
Where did that come
that's
from? What made you
awesome.
do that? Why?
Well, I like the one in the Ballymore. You could easily put it in if you forgave him the run in Nace,
Yeah.
where he went off 2-1 in that race.
Yeah, I backed him.
Fast or slow, you could put him in as well, stepping back up and trip. I was scared of the ground when it went soft, though. And then James's Gate won in an absolute hat canter in Punchestown the day he won his bumper on soft ground, and he's a horse of promise. But yeah, so I copped for the each way bit, which was really, really nice.
I should have known with Barry it would have been form rather than bumping into Sean Mulryan or just liking the colours, which a lot of people tend to do.
No, and you know his horses are trained to a minute for that day.
Yeah.
You know, with him sponsoring the Ballymore, he'd want that would be his brief to his trainers. I want to have winners at Punchestown. I want to have runners at Cheltenham and hopefully a winner. But like they're not social runners as such.
It's absolute future.
Although it is
stars
amazing
coming
how many
out.
people you hear that have loads of winners on the names they like. I'm like, how have you done that? The people that go to like the name and they win. You're like,
I
what?
don't know. There are also people that don't listen to all the previews. They just zoom in on this week.
yeah.
I've got mates who
You
are
can
just.
get yourself in a pickle.
I've got mates who don't like going for the scrum usually.
You
So
haven't even
I'm-
mentioned my lack of notes this week, have you?
Well, I'm sort of saving that one up really.
No notes, Natalie.
No notes
On the
now.
choo-choo Cheltenham train. No notes, Natalie.
Okay. Who knew? You've just got a tiny little iPad. You're getting it now, aren't you?
I'm getting it.
You know,
Well,
you demand a racing post
I'm
every
tipping
day,
more
though.
winners just going on what I think and what I look, then trying to do
That's
it.
it.
Get
You know
myself
it all, Nat,
confused
as
with all
well.
the
I keep
notes.
telling you this. We all know it, don't we, by now?
We all know
the
it.
talking's done, and we're almost done with the talking on the camera.
Cormier is a cool customer, isn't he?
How many horses are going to jump the second last within 3 lengths of the lead?
Nearly 26, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's going to be 20, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the best bit about a
So
county
Dean
hurdle.
Gripton said on the chat, he's quite right. Just looking at my mate Mozzie, we kept away, isn't he, a little bit? Barry, let's get a final market update then. Where's the stake, man?
Yeah, 130 stake, man. Very steady at that. He's 11-4 in the sportsbook. 10 Colonel Mustard, bit of a slide. West Cork come in for good support, 8.6. 11, I like to move at 13 surprise package. Broomfield Berg, a drifter now, out to 21 on the exchange. First straight out to 26. My mate Mozzie from 30 into 21, back out to 26 again now.
And G-Rod will be fuming because he backed him behind Sir Gerhard, expecting him to line up in front. And what have they done? Dropped him out that day. Where is he, Keith? Looks like
He's
gonna
going to race
have
prominently today.
Looks like
But
he
I
is.
think I might have given a hint of
State
what I
man
thought
will be
was
prominent.
Rippers today.
Yeah, State Man will be
Okay,
prominent.
good luck. It's time for the County Hurdle 2022. Basked in
This is hard,
sunshine.
this, to get all these to line
And
up.
away
they're off
we go.
first
Not
time.
much mentioned about the starter, thank goodness, since Tuesday, has there? And they're away and running. And this looks like it's a Gredley horse out in front.
Yep, it's
Stepney
Stepney Causeway.
Stepney
yeah.
Causeway in
Stepney
front.
Causeway, again, who's been mixing fences, isn't he? And, he's absolutely rocketing. And this is what I was worried about with I Like to Move It. If you're on it, are you worried? He's out there. He's got one way of running, hasn't he? And will he do too much too soon?
Quite
My
well
mate
strung
Ozzy.
out early doors here. I wouldn't
Yeah,
have expected
looking
it
at State
necessarily.
Man.
Look, 34 miles an hour. Stop the clock. They're absolutely rocking here, and they are really well strung out.
I hope we'll get a good idea of the ground here if they do go end to end. And
You
get to
said
see
this
what
was
the
the.
time is.
I mean, he's
Favourite
outside
not
of the
settling
lot.
too well, mid-div.
State
Favourites
Man.
No,
lit up,
he's not
Barry.
got much.
4.7.
Along with
Did Barry just
Broomfield
say
Berg,
State
who's
Man?
lit
Yeah,
up.
he's
Colonel
keen.
Mustard just ahead of him.
Not got much cover really.
Top Bandit there as well. Let's look for some of those. Irascible there. What's this in the yellow colours? You're right. This is the hardest commentary I've done.
That was a-
What's the
Left
back
his
leg?
legs in it. Was that
Stepney
Stepney?
Causeway.
And then so what's happened? There's a bit of concertina effect. Stepney Causeway
Jumped into the back.
stumbled. I like to move it. Sort of had to shimmy a little bit, and my mate Mosey clipped heels.
Is that
This is the
Boer
problem,
boy up
isn't
there?
it? This is the hustle and bustle that we're talking about. It just takes
Look at
its
that
domino
crowd.
effect.
Look at that crowd basking in the sun. Sunscreen they'll need after this today. Who thought that? Ballyadam in the midfield. Oh, what sort of story that would be.
He's
Where's
travelling,
Far Out Man?
Oh, I don't know. He's at 2/3 of the way back. Can I see him?
Where's
the green
West
colours are a bit
Court?
yellow.
Oh, there's West Court.
West Court,
Got him there.
it just again.
Plenty of
He
cover.
kind of learnt his lesson, Harry Skelton, didn't he? We saw it on Shamblu, even though it didn't work out. He had a
There was
word
a
with
big
himself
plenty of
for
cover
out this
there.
time, didn't he? Very
Oh,
patient
good
there
jump
being
from
on
my
that.
mate Mozzie.
Tritonic in the midfield, jumping at Cheltenham. Has been a worry for him. Could he rid of the nightmare that was the Triumph Hurdle on this day last year? We didn't give him much luck whatsoever. Looking down, what about Call Me Lyrene, the top weight? He's in the middle as well. He was sent off a huge price. Tax for Max, another outsider of the Mullins. We know they can win. He's just hunting them up as well. Happy with my mate Mozzie, Keith?
I am, yes. I mean, I like to move it. I wish he would get out of the way, but apart from that, I'm quite happy. Yeah, he's saved ground. I think the ones at the back are going to do well to get involved here, you know.
Well, let's go to Barry. They're on the far side, but about 4 left to jump.
Yeah, 7.6 Colonel Mustard has been a bit of a mover. 13 Top Bandit, but your favourite still steady at 4.7, although he has a lot of ground to make up. Outside of that, nothing really moving in running just yet, Dave.
They've
He's
steadied it
gonna need
right
to
up
be a
on this uphill run. They've steadied it right down.
Yeah,
Oh, my ear's
okay.
jumping
Well, that
off
won't
me.
help the hold-up horses, will it? Really? I mean, I don't know.
They should have moved. They should have moved forward as that was happening, I suspect.
Broomfield Berg getting a hurry up. He doesn't like the hustle and bustle on his. He likes the novice races, doesn't he? But he's not one for the big fields. Cormier catching my
Yeah,
eye.
I said that. He's just jumping brilliantly, Cormier. Really nice.
Tritonic just getting a
Statements.
bit of a hurry up. Surprise package, the Imperial Cup winner. No bonus on offer this year, but he's still £6 well in according to our RPLs. What's this having a show lead? Eclair de Beaufort, Gordon Elliott. And Jordan Gainford, of course, looking for that winner on the week.
So I'll tell you
All
what,
right.
the answer to our question at the start is going to be about 2 because they're
I'm
still
thinking
struggling
Mozzie's
coming
gone,
down the
Keith,
hill.
is he?
He's
Starting to get
coming
niggled.
2
I
out.
don't like Mozzie. I
They're
think
all
he's
still
gone.
in with a shout, unsurprisingly.
I like to move it, still getting
Eclair
in
de
the way.
Beaufort up there. Where will Stepney call? Look at Colonel Mustard and
Cast
Top
make
Bandit.
out.
Little ones.
Oh.
Oh, one's gone. Cast make out the back. Something else being
Stepney
given a shake
Causeway's
to the
gone.
reins.
Mozzie still travels a bit.
Come on then, Colonel
Court,
Mustard. Where
he's
are
in.
we, Nat?
West
Colonel
Court,
Mustard, we're in
coming up
second.
the
Come on then,
outside.
Mustard. Up the hill. Get that rail, son. Okay, look at the surprise package.
Come on.
The State
Oh,
Man
this
coming.
is
State
his-
Man's going to get the rails somehow.
Up the
Surprise
stand side,
package
the
trying to
favourite
shut
lad.
the door.
Come on.
On the near side is Colonel Mustard and State Man. Irish to the fore. Surprise package.
Surprise
totally
package is
different
right there.
ground for him, but he's hanging on
This
in
is
there.
in,
West Court
lads.
trying. First Street trying.
Street is
Why
coming.
was he somehow still in there?
Out
Top
far
Bandit.
to Jolly.
Come on. Oh, my God,
dear.
Johnny, this is all over, isn't it? Come on, Colonel Mustard. Get on up there.
Come on.
Oh, this is another one for the Mullins Campbell. Let's First Street can have a late
First
lunch.
Street is having
He's
a
got
go.
the rail. He's come from midfield. Whoosh.
All over, lads.
Get yourself in a state, man. He's absolutely hosed up this horse. First Street gives it a nice rock solid for Nicky Anderson and Nico de Boinville in second. Colonel Mustard gets the each way
Westcourt
money.
got the fourth.
And Westcourt got the fourth. Barry Orr, he must have gone high in running because he was well back.
He didn't, Dave. The highest he went in running was around 4.7.
What?
He was well back, but he always travelled well. He was 4.7 turning out of the back straight. 6.8 was the highest he went for a tenner, but he always travelled well. Odds on jumping the last. Your runner-up, First Street. First Street hit only a low of 5-1, 6.0, but all the action came up the stand side, really. Ballyadams ran a cracker.
Yeah.
Wheels are back on there by the look of it as well. Cormier, I think, finished seventh for the each way on the Betfair Sportsbook. I think he was seventh, but that's the double up. The first two favourites, Willie Mullins, 10-1, the double played 7-4 and 3-1 earlier.
Order restored on Gold Cup Day. The sun, it does shine on Close Sutton and Willie Mullins. Yeah, Paul Townend back in the big time, isn't he? Looks like he's going to run away with that jockey title now, perhaps as a lot of people would have been expecting at the start of the week.
Mullins is so far clear in the trainers' just standing. It's like 7-2 for the rest. He's 5 clear. It's ridiculous.
Rock solid. Solid as a rock. Hurdling form, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it usually tends to be. I think that he was outside all the way round Townend, but he's done that deliberately because he's gambled that bagging that rail.
To get the rail.
There's a golden highway at
Yeah,
Cheltenham.
I was clever. I totally agree.
Yeah, and we said just before the start, hopefully this is why some of you listen to this, we try and dissect what they might do. You've got a novice who's fallen and all that sort of thing, lightly raised, hustle and bustle. Well, he's just circled him. If he's that good, keep it simple. You come off the home straight. I'll tell you what, my mate Mozzie has run really, really well.
He has run well. I mean, he's had to, because he's got inside all the way, Kieran Buckley's had to dive up the inside, which wouldn't have been the thing to do. I think he'd have got place money if he hadn't had to go up the inside route. He's run a nice race.
This is one for your replay. I mean, Cormier got the door firmly shut on him. He might have had a say for the place as well. Top Bandit gives it some form, doesn't it? West Cork, I guess if you're handicapping it, is the one you're looking for.
Possibly, but far out as well. Look at
Champion
far out
hurdle quote for the winner.
Oh, here we go.
Well.
Go on, Barry.
12 from 33.
Whoa.
He probably worked with the champion
Is
hurdle
it
horse.
Saint
to get
Ra,
himself.
this, isn't it?
He might have worked with Vauban, would he?
Yeah, exactly. He'd have worked with a horse like that to go for 11-4 for this in the first place. So they'll know already where he is.
I'm going to give you some quotes from the first win of Vauban, and it's...
Horse for Joe Donnelly as well.
Well, and that's the thing with Joe Donnelly. I get the impression he's just utterly obsessed with Cheltenham. Everything's about Cheltenham. So
well, after Shishkin, he needed a lift, didn't he?
Well,
And,
He just wants big horses for big days like this. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, he's a man of mystery, is Joe Donnelly, Joe Marie Donnelly. They're extremely hard.
No,
to
he's
get
not.
into. Well, Barry, in that case.
Oh no, you wouldn't get an interview.
Oh, here we go. You dangled it, man.
I was a kid. Yeah, he used to make a book in Ireland. He used to stand up and make a book in Ireland.
Yeah.
He's a property developer, property is his game, and art. He's one of the best art collections in Europe. But yeah, very nice man. Very, very nice man. Deserves all the success he gets.
Yeah, thought about a year ago I'd try and test the water with our Irish team for an interview, and that lasted all of about 10 seconds. So
do you know the truth of it is, Dave? He wouldn't know much about his horses at all. He wouldn't be able to sit down and tell you that he taught Seskin. He wouldn't be able to tell you really what he beat last day or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's not his thing.
No, he just loves.
No, fair enough. I think I have seen that.
brings his
before.
family
Just leaves it
together
to the
and
trainers,
that's
doesn't
what
he?
he
Gets
enjoys.
told on the
Yeah,
day.
and it's fun, isn't it, for a lot of people?
Yeah,
It's
Nicky
just-
said that to me about him as well. Okay. All right, we've got some socials up there. Who's on the double then? What's the treble going to be? Mullins is a different class, says Hugh O'Brien.
Well, we were talking about that. We touched upon this yesterday, but again, it's really important to reiterate that not only the horses and the quality that he's got, it's the team, the riders, the jockeys that he's got. It's a domination job.
A lot of people, there's someone in the chat saying champion hurdle quotes are a joke, finishing First Street, but it's the operation, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
Where does he go? Morgiana next year?
Yeah, the dogs have been barking obviously ahead of this one, so we've got that's what's going for him. You know, this was the first day where we've really seen this horse. He won it well despite going wide all the way. I wouldn't be moving at 12s because there's nothing in the champion hurdle I would back for next year while Constitution Hill's potentially going to run in the race. But it's another instance. This is where having the depth that Mullins has is such a big thing, because if that was just about any other yard, there'd a chance this horse in the Supreme or the Ballymore, because it's Mullins and he's got 8 for those races anyway, he can put him and say, look, we'll get his mark and we'll stick him in the county.
You're smiling because Willie's being interviewed.
I love Willie, but I just saw Lee Moss said, could it go into shot, and then realised he's in shot.
Oh, yeah. Do you reckon he was watching the show, Lee, after Bruce?
Because he sort of went into shot and then went...
Yeah, very good, very good. Bruce yesterday basically said,
if you won the
no
lottery,
racing post in the screen, please.
If you won the lottery,
Yeah.
and you could have any horse in training with what trainer, who would it be?
Oh, come on, give me a lemon. Hang on a chance.
Is that
just again? You do think about Constitution Hill, don't you?
Yeah.
This chap's interesting, isn't he?
Allaho.
Because he's given. Well, I don't know whether they could chase him with a bloke, maybe. I mean, he's bred to jump fences. He's given Colonel Mustard £1, right? This chap, and that's the John Bond form, right? Who's finished second to
That's right.
Constitution. So. They're going to look at that, aren't they, and think, well, we're not going to be Constitution Hill.
They're just going to have to try and avoid the Champion Hurdle next year.
Yeah. Are we just thinking that Constitution Hill is the second coming?
He looked at it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I've never seen the
It's
like.
hard to. I mean, if you had to say anything, you probably would say Constitution Hill, wouldn't you? But I don't know. Let me think about that one, because you have your favourites. I love Colonel Mustard.
Yeah, no, I just always wonder what trainer you'd go with.
I
if
just
you've got a
love
favourite
Colonel
trainer.
Mustard. I
You got a
hope he
favourite
gets
trainer?
a big day. in the sun.
There's horses I like, trainers I like, and yeah, I mean, you'd have the big owners and the ones that sort of know what they're doing. People like Tony Bloom. It's inconvenient to him to have his horses in Ireland, but he does.
Okay.
Because he puts ends up in Mullins. But yeah, no, it depends what horse you had, I think, a lot of the time.
I'd like to be with Nicky Henson. Just
Enneagram
drink
would be a
wine,
good shout,
wine with
actually,
him.
wouldn't it? Yeah. Barry, if you had to do a JP, a mythical JP transfer to Barry Orr's stable, who would it be?
National Hunt Racing, you couldn't look past Willie or Gordon, really, at the moment.
Yeah.
Blatt, John Gosson.
Yeah,
Gozzy.
yeah. I would just want to drink red wine with
people,
Henderson.
it's the Lincoln next week. I'm a bit anxious about it.
Well, there's a lot to learn, isn't there? There's a lot to pick up in a week.
When do you become, during Cheltenham week, like obviously we're on the last day now, so I'm asking, when do you start getting, fear of, like FOMO for next year? Like it's like Christmas, isn't it? Some people can't stand Boxing Day. Obviously, if you're in racing, you look forward to it more than any other day a lot of the time. But
shortly after the Midlands National,
right.
basically. Midlands National runs in and I go, oh yeah, Lincoln next week,
Do you
innit?
get your pecker up for Aintree though, obviously?
Oh yeah, Aintree.
Yeah, Aintree keeps you going.
Yeah.
Some
and
of the
with
form
crowds
Aintree
back
can
at the
be-
Grand National this year, come on, it's going to be
Oh, it'll be
absolute.
wild.
Liverpool will be a buzz.
That Thursday of Aintree is the best days racing to go.
We've
as
got a great
public.
lineup as well coming for you on RP Live for
And
that
the
week.
Scottish National.
Scottish National
We've got that,
beforehand.
Yeah, early this year.
Lincoln.
The Giraffe might go and win that, mightn't he?
I've got a Scottish National tip
Egg
for
on
you.
face.
Go on, Scottish National tip.
Major Dundee,
Oh, what, Alan King?
Alan King, yeah.
Oh, and Trevor Hemmings.
It's good to get that out now, though, because you've been on
Trevor
now.
used to
I
love
won't be here for the Scottish National. I don't think I won't be on, but yeah, the entries for that closed at midday on Tuesday, so nobody was looking, but I was. So has Major Dundee been entered? Has Major Dundee been entered? He had. So yeah, I've backed him 25s already.
We're going to be seeing a bit of you in April, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. But
Yeah. Not
No,
Scottish
it's
National,
Scottish
though.
National,
You
be
thought you were on, actually, Scottish National.
Are you
Liverpool
surprised
takes
that I've got a
last
Scottish
night.
National
She's
tip?
do you know what? I've got no idea. Can someone just send me the route? I've got no idea, but I'll enjoy it either way. Am I
You
not?
sent your dates in. You should know better than anyone else. I mean, come on. We've got. Oh God, let's not even look that too far ahead because we have got the Albert Bartlett coming
Yes.
up. And I don't know. When I saw Barry at at deck time, a huge field, and the rain was pouring, I've probably feared this race punting wise more than any other. Now, once again, you're seeing the ground change a little bit, and you're looking at it, and you really think there could be a couple of class angles in it. Exciting times.
Yeah, very much so. There was a Willie Won'ty with Hillcrest, but they're colour to the mass last week, and he's 3.4 at the moment. Favourite Ginto 3.7, 8-2 Manila Cocooner, and Chartreuse is out to 18.5. It's 20 good time, Johnny. I like Chartreuse in it. He's come here very much under the radar for Henry de Bromhead. He won the same Grade 2 hurling Clonmel that Manila Indo was second to Allaho in before going on to win this Albert Bartlett. So it's a race, an angle that I like with trainers when they go down that tried and tested route with their horses. And like I say, he's coming here under the radar. The ground might just be gone a little bit too lively for him. I was very sweetened when I saw all that rain on Wednesday. But what we're going to do here, please, Keith, we're going to avail of the win market. We're going to have 25 quid win. And then in the 4 places, I can't see him beat out of the first 4. He's currently around the 2-1 mark. We'll have 25 quid in. and the 4 places as well.
The Chartreuse.
That's correct.
Yeah, 25 place.
Win and place, 4 places, yeah, on the exchange.
25, 4 places. We're on that one. Well, it'll hopefully get matched shortly. It has been now. And
We'll
25
get matched
win.
into 4 places, yeah.
Yeah, we've been matched. It took 10 seconds, but we did.
Yeah, I think each way betting is going to be a
Right.
must for a lot of people in this and the places and all that sort of stuff, because there are 2 that are going short, Barry. I mean, what price is it at the moment, Hillcrest? There's 2 fighting for favouritism, right? Ginto, as we're going to call him, he was set for the Ballymore all the way, and then of course Manila Crooner came out and they saw this as an opportunity. He's a Grade 1 winner in the pack. He's rated £2 higher than Hillcrest, but Hillcrest is everyone. I know, you know, you often assume that the Irish might take this one out, but I don't know who's going to go off Fav. You have to call it, but I suppose it will be Hillcrest, won't it? But the exchange is telling you something slightly different.
I love Hillcrest. I mean, Hillcrest is funny. He makes a 16-2 horse, which is a proper decent horse. He look like a miniature Shetland. He is enormous.
Yeah.
He's an absolute giant of a horse. And sometimes you can make the argument, like, there is an argument between sort of more slender, nimble pocket rockets in these novice hurdle races, because he's so big. He's such a big horse. You think, oh, you know, don't need to make mistakes, but actually, he's so decent and just eats up the country. I love Hillcrest in this. He just eats it up, and it's a joy.
We know he loves Cheltenham.
We know he loves Cheltenham. It's such a joy to watch. But at a slightly bigger price, what about this Staghorn by Golden Horn? I mean, it's a big price, isn't it, Staghorn?
He's a fascinating horse, really.
He's very classy on the flat. He stays forever. I mean, I just thought this was too big of a price in this race, given the stamina, given the speed. He's battle hardened. He's everything.
He is. He's got. But that's the thing. Is battle hardened is a big part in
It's
this
a
race.
huge part, isn't it?
However, do flatbreds win this? Like, or do flat types win it? Because it's a real like store horse type of race.
Hen
isn't it?
Hill, you might think of, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose he was.
Only
Yeah.
give each way.
But no, you're right. This is very much the Gold Cuppy type, or the 4 miler of the
Yes.
future, isn't it?
Yeah, these big backwards chasing types that have got a lot of experience is the sort of
Your
profile
Brindisi
you want.
Breezes, your...
Staghorn's got half of that.
You know what I mean, Harry? Yeah, well, yeah, he certainly has.
He's
Gold Cup winners.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're
Exactly.
wanting. This is, you know, the sort of horse you get is that they win this race, they win the RSA or the Brown Advisory next year, and then go to the Gold Cup. Bobsworth did it. Manila Indo would have done it.
Bobsworth, Weapons Amnesty, horses like that.
Absolutely.
Manila Indo.
He would have done the treble had it not been for getting into a pace battle with Allaho.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that now, would you? You wouldn't get into a pace battle with Allaho these days.
No, I'm not sure he could, actually.
Well, I'm not sure you could keep up, yeah.
I'm not sure he could. That was Poetry in Motion yesterday, that, wasn't it? One of the highlights of the
Truly.
week, for sure. That was absolutely beautiful to
Great
watch.
horse. What a round of jumping it was, bar the last.
Yeah, when poor old Paul Townend...
I was saying that, what I loved is that Paul Townend, after what happened to Galopin des Champs, a lesser man, like somebody like me, would have just gone, right, I'm going to pop it this time on Allaho. But he saw the big stride again and he went for it. And Sod's Law, the horse put
I
down
think
on him.
Ruby would have had a wry smile at that.
You just don't want to change the rhythm, do you? But I'm yet to see a racehorse similar to Allaho where it's fascinating. His front legs do not part. He's like a French skier. So when he comes up like that, it's incredible.
It is. It's very.
neat.
It is very aesthetically pleasing. Isn't
Very
it?
pleasing. His legs aren't all over the show. He's so neat. He's such a superb jumper.
Vautour was a bit like that too. He reminds me so much of Vautour, Allaho.
Well, is there one of those in the pack coming up? We know what Barry's going for. He flagged that a couple of weeks ago. Barry didn't he? Chartreuse. I mean, the one run he has had on slightly livelier ground, he was second. But you never know. And, of course, this is Manila Indo, where we are an hour away from the Gold Cup. And Stephen Loftus joins the party again and says, can't have Hillcrest jumping in this field. Inexperienced Cheltenham Festival jockey as well. Well, that is a bit harsh, Stephen, if you're looking at that because the horse, I mean, he got taken out, didn't he, when he had his final run here? Henry de Daly. I'm not sure it would have been ideal to go to Haydock. That's your one worry about him, because had he come through that as expected, that would have been his final run, I'd wager.
Now, true.
Right.
You probably don't want to arrive here with a letter next to your name, do you? Even if it wasn't a freak wipeout.
Yeah, there was a
They
bit
just
of
don't
that.
want to do it.
I thought Henry had said even though, so on the face of it, you probably think at Haydock that was a hard enough race. Henry has said that actually he's fine. He's fine coming up Haydock. It's because Haydock can give you that impression, can't it?
Yeah.
Look at the John Bond race at Haydock, with the ground and it's tough and stuff. But Henry seems to be pretty confident that he's come out of it very,
Well, let's
very
get some tips. I mean, Henry Daly knows all about Cheltenham Festival success, not for a long time, mind, but he certainly does know all about it. At a double one year, didn't he, of course? And I would have backed Ginto in a Ballymore, and I had backed him when I thought all the others were not sure what was happening, and I knew he was running there. Thank goodness, non-runner, no bet. But I thought he was the solid 11-2, sort of 5-1 shot he got. He started coming in because everyone knew he was running there. But I've got to stick with him here.
Non-runner news, we've got Earl of the Cotswolds out of the Martin Pipe.
Ah, okay.
Can't imagine he was 4-1 favourite or anything.
All right. We saw a lot. We still.
Good to know, though.
That's been good, isn't it? Though we've not seen too many defections, of course.
No,
so
I mean the
far
ground.
today.
I just saw the time on the last race. It was 4 minutes 1. That's about 3 seconds. So that's good to soft.
Lovely.
I mean, it might even be on the quick side of that. So we're looking at soft side.
Is
just,
that what
just
we
soft
call
side.
no excuses ground?
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yes, happy days. All right, great.
so.
Let's hope the chase course. We're watching Henry getting interviewed now. If Ginto doesn't win for me, If Ginto doesn't win for me, Ginto, I will love it if Henry Daly wins a race, because he's one of the nicest blokes to chat to. He'd give you anything as an interviewer, as a journalist. He's that good, and it's some place to train. He's a lovely man to work for, I believe. It's what do they film in his? Yeah, was it Downton Abbey or something like that?
Is that right?
Yeah,
He's,
some period drama. It might be. I'm not a fan.
Well,
of
I know there was a horse racing.
There is something.
There was a racing storyline in Peaky Blinders once, wasn't there?
Yes, that was. You've never seen one of the greatest episodes ever.
I watched the first series.
Of anything. Are you a Peaky Blinders fan?
Love it.
They're on a filly in the
It's the one
Derby.
with the Derby, isn't
They're on a
it?
filly in the
Thomas
Derby.
Shelby,
I was
yes.
Sam
immediately.
Neill gets shot.
Yes, please.
Arthur Shelby. That was a terrible impression, wasn't it?
No, I thought it was quite
Was
good.
it? It was all right. You knew
Well,
who that was. It was better than my McCoy impression yesterday.
Well,
which
that was something,
This is
wasn't it?
pretty embarrassing. I don't know why am I
And your
referencing
impression
that.
today, you did something else today, which...
Yeah, it was the Scottish, and you asked me where it was from, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. All right, so it's Ginto for me. The drying ground, I think, helps my confidence with him, and he's rock solid in the market. You just get the feeling that Elliott really fancies this one, with Jack Kennedy trying to get a second winner of the week as well. I think it's 2 for Jack, this will be, won't it? Nat, what do you like?
Yeah, I can see the love for Ginto. Come on, let's give Hillcrest a big shout. Let's get Henry Daly back on the Prestbury Park winning enclosure and an each way on Staghorn, because why not? Big price.
All right. Oh, yeah, there are some judges going for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good time. Johnny was the one I put up. It's the race where you want to be quite battle hardened. It's these sort of backwards. The really backwards types don't tend to win it that often.
He's the Gabagnaco of the race, isn't he? Because he's been supplemented.
Did he supplemented?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So what's he basically looked like he'd won handicaps in his last 2 starts, including one at the Leopardstown Christmas Festival, one at the DRF. And his British mark is now 146. I didn't check if he had handicap entries, unfortunately, but I got the impression it was, off 146. To win a handicap of that, in terms of RPRs, you would actually be above the 10-year average for winning this race.
Yeah.
So this becomes the easier race all of a sudden, and that's why they're deciding to give him a go here. Because Tony Martin probably tried to have him in a handicap, and it's not really worked out that way. He's obviously done a lot of good. He's won on better ground. He's running in the summer and the autumn, so he has the drying ground's not going to be an issue for him at all. Leopardstown rarely delivers a bog, and he's been winning there. He's won over 3 miles and beat right place, right time actually in the DRF race. That's going to be good form. So I just thought he had a lot going for him as a sort of horse. He's fitted a lot of the profiles for running well in this race, and he's not that far off in terms of form. He only needs to improve about £6 on RPRs.
He's interesting, Keith, because after he won that race last day in Leopardstown, his trainer was quoted as saying in the Racing Post, I'm just reading the comment here, he won't go to Cheltenham, definitely not. And they end up supplementing him for the Alpha Bartlett. So obviously the guys who own him are dead keen to have runners in Cheltenham.
Yeah.
But Tony Martin was saying afterwards, had a few hiccups last year. He's coming good. He showed his worth there. We always thought he would be this would be his job down the road. Won't go to Cheltenham, definitely not. He was there in November.
Yes.
It didn't work out, and he didn't like it.
That's what
I might
worries
go to
me,
Aintree
Barry.
or Fairy House with him.
Yeah, but there has been money for him, hasn't there? He's like...
That's the member section of the Racing Post.
They went
your
to
job for you there.
They went to
Thank
Cheltenham
you.
for a look, didn't they? They went for that really strong 2 5 intermediate hurdle.
I really fancied him on this show, and I was like, he's on a stinker. I thought it was a Tony special.
Yeah, he's come for he came for a run to Cheltenham. I'm sure the race that they were always aiming at was like a Pertemps final
My
or something.
first ever trip to Cheltenham hospitality, let's say, was in 2002 at the November meeting when Cypher Malta won what was then the Thomas Pink Gold Cup.
It would have been the Thomas
and
Pink
I
then, yeah.
stood in a box with Tony Martin. I was lucky enough. I was calling Mr. Martin, and he hated it. He called me Tony. You know, for me, he was a legend. You know, and I knew loads about him, and he had just had that aura about him. And he came up to me before the race, and they had shooting light, if you remember. Again, he was really, really well fancied. He won the race under McCoy the time before, and he said, Cypher Malta, he said, I could just see the look in his eye beforehand, and it absolutely hosed up. And ever since, Tony Martin, I don't know, he's one of those men, Tony, he can pull this off.
Yeah?
He's a legend.
I'm going to regret it if I don't. Right. You know, it's about battle-hardened horses. I can't go without an each way as well mention for this Ballygriffin Cottage. Right. What we can argue is he's been running in smaller fields, but he's a 3 times point winner.
Yeah.
He looks to go on varying ground, to be fair. Look, he was grade 2 course and distance in December, good stuff. And I don't know, I think he's worth a bit of a shout at this, you know. Nicely bred, stowaway, Dan Skelton, of course, Harry on board. He's got to improve massively.
It's not very Skelton-like to go straight into something like this.
Straight into this?
Yeah, I don't know why. It could be under pressure when it's Cheltenham. You see, that's
They want
the
a
thing.
Cheltenham runner.
That's the day when it's, you know,
Fair
if
point,
had it been a grade 2 somewhere else, you'd be saying, oh yeah, well, it's interesting they've done this. It's not usually their MO.
I'm interested.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, his point form as well is most of it's away from the mud, so you're more encouraged by the way the ground's going. Yeah, no, I mean, it's absolutely there to be seen. And it is an unusual move for Skelton, and as I say, you would normally think, dearie me, why is this? But there is at least a bit of rationale maybe saying, oh yeah, the owners want a Cheltenham runner. But it'll be great to see what he comes out and how he acquits himself in this.
Certainly one I'll be keeping a close eye on.
Let's get a social up from Neil Francis, comes back on and says, Mr. Nice Guy, unbeaten, and trainer seems to be hitting form. Yes, the trainer does seem to be hitting slight form, doesn't he? Neil, of course, I said tongue in cheek because Willie Mullins is on a hat trick. It's not the shortest, of course, of Willie's. That's Manila Kakuna, who won the Leopardstown race.
He's been well supported.
Yeah, again, I'm not surprised. He's
into 7 from 12.
Would that be the trebles, Barry? Or?
Surely.
Yeah, that'll be running up money as well. Yeah, he's 7 from 12 on the exchange now, so he's really, really strong.
Mr. Nice Guy was
I think it's
entering
an
a lot of things.
interesting one because a lot of people they go on the aesthetics, the looks one. So he's not flashy, is he? He's workmanlike, and sometimes people don't fuck, but actually there's nothing wrong with that.
This is a deep race because Mr. Nice Guy, the third Ramillies came out and won pretty much the lights at, was it Punchestown last time? The last day. He's a 7-year-old, so he's obviously had a few problems, but he's unbeaten. You're absolutely right. You've got Classic Getaway, and that's what it cost an absolute fortune. A John Bond-like fortune. Bardenstown lad for John McConnell, the Musselburgh winner, who always seems to go close at the festival. Ramillies is in this race, of course. Green Book is a very interesting horse as well.
Yeah,
I know some people have put him up for this.
Yeah, did somebody see somebody put up? I mean, there's a horse I liked a lot on the flat Green Book.
Yeah.
They pulled a stroke with him to win the Chester.
He'll be going back to
Silver.
the Royal Ascot, won't he, if it rains?
Yeah,
for the long distance races.
He ran quite well in at Goodwood. Was it before the rain came or after the rain came at Goodwood?
Can't quite remember.
But, you know, his form's not all in the mud.
Chester Cup they're looking at with him, I think, aren't
Well,
they?
they won.
Talking of which...
They pulled a stroke in the Chester Cup consolation last year with him. He won
Talking of
that
which...
as he liked. Fernie Norton just went out in front and didn't see a horse.
You know that you were mentioning the Melbourne Cup, Barry. I don't know whether you've had... I mean, it's a long way off, isn't it? But the part of Willie Mullins' War and Peace quote about Vauban in the first, it's long. It's like Natalie Green notes this, but I can decipher. The Easterbees used to go to Chester and York with champion hurdle winners, and this guy might be of that calibre. But horses are now bought to go to Australia and Dubai. Maybe we'll be going back down there as well. So it's definitely looking towards a flat campaign with Vauban.
Oh, as you would, the way he's done that. He won a Triumph Hurdle, and he's won a Triumph Hurdle really well with his flat speed. He was won a listed race in France, and with the greatest of respect, it wasn't for a top trainer either, you know. So he's got room to improve there. And
he's put him in the same breath as
good.
Nichols Canyon and Thomas Hobson, who were of the similar ilk, weren't
Yeah,
they?
that's true. Thomas Hobson, he was a better flat horse than a jumper.
They won races in Ascot over 2.5 miles.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well,
It's the Ascot Stakes, the E-Boy. You know,
they run quick horses in that race, though, don't it? It's madness. Ryan Moore sits at the back for like most of the race and then just tries to charge.
Every year, I mean, I love Ryan Moore, but he seems to give everything. He seems to give something a bad race riding that race every year.
Up Buttercup was the one, wasn't it? Bless. Okay, what about some also rans in that? I say also rans. What about What about Gordon Elliott? Both very good horses with no excuses. We bumped into one probably. And again, Pied Piper looking towards the Ascot Stakes. Gordon says, you've seen it here. What's for dinner?
But
Green
the other
Book.
one will go chasing.
Well, you would imagine so, Phil Dorr, wouldn't you? Yeah, but Green Book, it's a lot of fun to be had with him, isn't there? Maybe Cesarowitz.
Oh, yeah, he's I'd love to own that horse.
He got a little bit
he's
buffeted
gonna be a
around
lot
as well
of fun.
coming to the last. Obviously was on him, so watching
Be a
him very
lot of
closely.
fun.
Jack had to just switch a little bit. Obviously didn't cost him the success. But what's for dinner? Who's been on with us this week? Some great socials coming in and says Green Book for Venetia. And again, what did you say to me this morning? You're like, if I'd have said to Venetia, that's as bad as it will
Yeah,
get.
Brave Shaska fell third in the Arco and nearly brought down Edwardstone. And I said, I wish I'd had the wherewithal. I've said to Venetia, don't worry, that's the worst your week's going to get.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
She's had nothing else. I mean, everything's collected at least place money. Fanyon Destrevan might not have, but everything else has collected at least a bit of a place money.
Yeah, it'd be probably best festival she's
Oh, it's tremendous
had.
festival.
I mean,
her,
it's tremendous. Yeah, she's in fine form. I mean, you wouldn't really, in a lot of the previous shows, you wouldn't, say so much a festival trainer, really, would you? But she's that Frenin Bamboo and
Frero Bamboo.
Frero Bamboo did.
Funabul
Savola.
That
I
was
mean, it's just
awesome.
ridiculous, isn't
I
it?
had that.
Frero Bamboo did damn well to get involved in that Grand Annual from where he was
Seriously
positioned.
well.
So he's got more to come. I mean, I assume he might go Red Drum or something next.
Yeah,
All
serious.
right. So Green Book, good luck with that one. Absolutely. This is a really deep race. It's the Albert Bartlett. The fact that you've got horses like Where It All Began, who of course was behind Mile and Mission last time, or was it the other McConnell horse? I'm not sure. But good horses in this is like 200 to 1-ish. Brawson, handicap form there. Eric Bloodaxe at the start of the season, a lot of people crowing about him. He's right out the back as well.
They look nice in the paddock, the Henry de Bromhead horse.
Chartreuse,
Yeah.
Barry's pick. Where's he in the
Look
market
very
now,
nice
Barry?
in the paddock.
Say again?
Chartreuse, where are we in the market now?
Chartreuse is currently 19.5, so on the slide, Millick Cooner 7.4. Hillcrest and Ginto, very little between them. 3.4 Hillcrest, 3.7 Ginto. I suppose the great British betting public are just making Hillcrest favourite at the moment ahead of the four Irish runners who are next in the market.
Well, the Favs are on a treble as well, aren't they, Barry? And I don't know. There's only one winning favourite of this in the last 10 years. Can you remember it? I like to do these things.
Last winning
Put an egg
favourite.
in my mouth.
All right.
You're having you are having a
Just need a
sweet.
bit of
I
sugar.
sort of noticed that. You didn't hand anyone round. Last winning favourite of this. I'll open it up to the floor.
When was it?
I remember. I was.
What year was it? Go on,
Dancing
give me
with
the
Jim
year.
on this one. I think everyone was
Yeah,
on it.
go some clues.
2013.
Oh, yes.
JP
Curtis. Yeah, Curtis. At Fisher's Cross.
That was a draw.
Um,
How did you get that so
Fisher's
quickly?
Cross, yeah.
I'll give you a draw there. That was a Stewards, and we're going
He's
to go
quiz
for a Deddy.
master. That's why.
He's the quiz master, quite right.
That's
At Fisher's Cross, he was
unbelievable.
a second season novice, and everyone was on him that day. But this was a race when it began, wasn't it? Black Cat Ketchums and things like this. The shorties used to do well in this race.
Yeah, because, it was still almost fashionable to run them in this race until they realised what sort of horses you needed. What sort
Even
of
Monkfish was 5 to 1 in this,
Yeah, well, it was a good race that year, wasn't
Yeah, it was, it
Time
was,
Hill
yeah.
was in that. He
Fury
finished
Road
fourth.
and-
Fury Road was in it. There was another Gigginstown horse in that finish, wasn't there? I remember Time Hill was just out of the three that
Latest
finished.
exhibition.
There you go. Well, it wasn't
Janadil was
Gigginstown.
in it.
Yeah, he didn't stay.
He was 5th, no. But again, look, I think this is a deep race. And I looked at it, like I said to Barry, I looked at it on Wednesday and I went, oh my, that looks like a kick in the you-know-what's waiting. But I think everyone's excited about this. The Favs are winning, the sun is shining. We are, 45 minutes away from the next Gold Cup winner being crowned. Not our last race of the day here on Racing Post Live. That will be the 4:10, the Hunter's Chase. Billaway's been smashed off the boards as well, Barry, hasn't he?
Sorry, Dave, you dropped out there. I'm getting a lot of interference here. Is there someone eating a bag of sweets or something?
You'd never guess. We're all very professional on this on this show, we're all and you might think it's me.
All I can hear is a bag crinkling.
Okay.
Tell you, I'm not saying you're a loud eater, Natalie, but somebody's heard you from another country.
You should hear her drinking. It's
Okay, it's
absolutely
gone
different
now.
gravy.
I just need a tiny bit of sugar.
We will be in the Thirsty Bear later, Barry. And Barry, let's get it. Look, let's have some fun, Barry. We're going to hopefully get Barry in the studio soon. We want the great man over, don't we?
Of course we do. I want to do car bombs with you.
Oh, God.
We're doing car bombs, but yeah, definitely. I want to get into the studio. We'll do that soon. Next month, please God,
Yeah.
before the end of the flat season. Might get over for a day during Aintree because I'm not going to Aintree itself.
Ooh,
so might
there
do
you
it then.
go. He's just committed himself. Happy days.
Yeah, we
Anna and Lauren and Harry, if you're listening for Betfair, he's over.
Yeah. National Day is going to be us three plus Ross Bryla, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We can always fit a fifth member in here. You know.
Come on,
if
Barry.
we can. It was the greatest show for me last year.
The National.
I know Cheltenham was brilliant, but it was behind closed doors, wasn't it? And Rachel, you were alive with that, weren't you?
I was
You were
alive with it.
absolutely
But
alive.
I would have been even more. I'd have been worse than Bruce on the floor after.
We did a pin stickers guide as well. Do you remember, Barry?
did.
We said one word for each horse. You can have some fun with that. We went down all 40 of them, one word
Oh,
for
that's
it.
quite fun.
It was good fun.
That's a good
Ross
idea.
Briley's going to come back and sit in the panel with us. We're going to have some great fun
Yeah.
on the 9th of April.
9th of April, that'd be really good. Yeah, I'd have been even worse last year had I seen exactly what happened to any second now.
Well, he's come back
All
in
those
form, hasn't he?
GP caps.
Have we seen
I
any
missed it was
national trials this week? Speak about Cheltenham a little bit. Maybe, well, I don't know. What in the Ultima I was looking.
Well, in terms
I
of the
thought your
price
horse
move,
in the Ultima might have run an all right trial. I just can't remember his finish now, but Noble Yates.
that was
They're two out. No, not happy
No, I
with
was
it.
disappointed.
Think
That-
being a bit
He's-
greedy
he's-
with that then.
no, I think they've just given him a run.
Next.
Yeah, I agree.
Give him a run.
Yeah.
He's not
Why has he
There's-
gone to those colours then?
David, that has been the big mover this week, hasn't he? He was 16s now after he beat Tiger Row. I mean, he could have picked up and carried Tiger Row, let's be honest. The story was, Tiger got beat, but the real story was Delta Work could have picked him up and carried him.
We're expecting him to go to the Nash now then, Barry.
Oh, nailed on, without a shadow of a doubt.
All right.
Well, that's the thing is
Lovely
he going
nice
to?
little
It's
work.
Giggins.
A
People
race
talked
is
about
usually for that.
Yes, Silver Birch.
conflated. Was the horse who talked about? Oh yeah, Ryanair tried to win their own race. No. Giggins are trying to win two races: the Gold Cup and the Grand National.
Did Pinot de Rey go in that? No, he didn't.
No, Pertemps
Balthazar
final.
King did, didn't he?
He was, he finished second in
Yeah.
the National.
Yeah.
Peter de Rey finished a fast finishing third in the Pertemps final.
Look at the size of
They're
Hillcrest.
down at the start for the Albert Bartlett, the potato race, as some people like to call it, with the sponsors, of course. Good luck wherever you're playing. $2.50. After that, we'll be counting down to the Gold Cup. Maybe we'll do a pin stickers for the Gold Cup. It's possible, isn't it? They're all worthy of a serious mention, so we might have to do a few
Will do.
paragraphs.
Oh,
instead.
can I call the Gold Cup?
Not enough runners for it, is there? There's only 11 runners.
No, but we've all probably got a word for them, though, haven't we?
Sure.
Manella Indo, gone.
No. I've got a theory.
Aye.
I've got a theory about Manella, though, which we'll share in the run up to the Gold Cup.
Nat,
but,
come on, horsey person. What do you like looking down at the start? They're circling.
I do like the look of the Henry de Bromhead horse. I really do. Rachel Blackmore on board. Hillcrest is,
Out to 27.
yeah.
Yeah, not
It's got to be
wanted
the
by
ground
market
barrier,
at
that
all.
I'd imagine, isn't it?
Manila Kakuna into 6.2, would you believe?
And
He's
Hillcrest
smashed this
definitely going to
race.
go off Fav, definitely.
Just, 3.5 versus
Hillcrest
3.9.
looks
Exciting, isn't it?
Picture, absolute picture, is pricked.
Great to have
Come
you
on,
with us then.
Hillcrest.
And the numbers rocket up. We're watching you everywhere. Twitter's going crazy apparently for some
There's
of the
my
clips
Staghorn.
as well. Yeah, Staghorn, I don't know what to do. I mean,
Oh.
Holly Doyle should be riding this, shouldn't she? Nick Schofield, of course, festival winning
So
rider.
I'm doing the giant horse
I wonder will
versus the
Manila
Pocket
get a
Rocket.
soft lead?
Well, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I mean,
That's what
imagine
I'm
if, the stories here would be classic getaway, bought to be a Gold Couples and a pretty penny. And here he is. Could this be the one? I don't know. It's interesting. There are that sort of horses in the race. And like I say, good luck wherever you're going. Do you fancy calling this, do you?
No,
Or
Gold
you
Cup,
said
please.
Gold
No,
Cup?
Gold Cup, please.
Blimey, put yourself up there. You absolutely can. Oh, yeah, we've got a couple of tricks up our sleeve, commentary-wise, for the Nationals, haven't we?
Oh, yeah,
get
we'll
there.
come back to that.
We will. We're working on stuff here. Don't you worry about it. The brains are cogging after this week. All right, good stuff. The sun continues to shine. Absolutely can't see an inch of concrete at Cheltenham in that betting ring. That's what we want to see. Do you remember this time last year? It's gone well, isn't it? So let's rejoice in it, basically. A celebration of everything that is the good and great to come in this race. Looks like Good Time Johnny's going to be held up with Ramillies. What's going to lead? It's definitely going to be nearly Staghorn on the inside,
Staghorn.
isn't it? Look at Nick Schofield's done well to get the inside there. And let's have them off, please. They're coming into the start. The flag is up then.
Are they going to get away here?
Let's hope so. They're a long way off the start.
No chance.
Oh, that's not
Is
good
it
for
going to be the first
Staghorn.
falsie of the day?
No.
No, the tapes went down. That was a bit silly, wasn't it? Oh, messy start then.
Well, it's because it's on a bend and they're already
no
sort of...
damage done there, I'd say.
No, not particularly. Staghorn looks like he could blow his brains.
Well,
It looks like he could really go off hard and
He
he's good
is.
for his head.
That was not good for me.
he's called some names on the flat, wasn't he, Staghorn? Maybe
He's a
something
funny
wrong.
old horse on the
Yeah.
flat, yeah.
Yeah, but again, just
That didn't
stay.
suit. Didn't suit Ballygriffin Cottage either because he just jinked there at the start, upset him.
Yeah, he nearly unseated, didn't
He
he?
nearly unseated. Yeah.
Both your horses.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Keep faith.
Should have handed out the eggs, I tell you.
Yeah. Sorry
good luck
about that,
would have
Barry.
been
I'm
just
fine
stove
now.
upon
I
you.
just
I
need
nearly
some
went
sugar.
class teacher. You got enough of the class there, Miss Green.
Yeah, exactly. The passer's already gone. I'll tell you what, it's nice knowing you. Right, okay. Hillcrest
No,
on the
no
inside.
chance
Come on
this
this
time
time,
either.
please.
No.
No, they can't do it.
What are they doing, these jockeys?
No,
They just want to
no.
run it through.
They
Let them
don't-
go, that's
Oh,
it.
just
Come on,
go,
they're off
just
and running.
go.
They're off and running.
Go on the
Okay,
stag.
Green Book looked like he was a little bit inconvenienced about that. Buddy Griffin Cottage is out the back, but it's Stag On. The dour stayer from the flat, trying to show the jump spread horses what it's done.
He's
on
tiny
the
a tiddler
inside.
compared to
Yeah,
these
I'm
big.
telling you, I'm doing the pocket rocket opposed to Hillcrest.
Yeah,
They're
look
all
at-
over
Giant
fine.
big and large.
Hillcrest just had a little shake of the reins there. I don't know, he's been taken off his feet a little bit. Let's see what.
Yeah,
Barry, let's come to you. After one flight already, he's out to fives.
He's out to 5, 3.4 Ginto, 5.9 Manila Cocoon or Chartreuse 23-22. Good time, Johnny. But the favourite out to 9-2 from 5-2.
Right, I'm going to do you a favour if you backed him. Put on another 0 for the first time this week. This does not look good for Hillcrest whatsoever. I can tell you that much. Good time, Johnny out the back. Classic Getaway then getting up the front with Stag On now. Where's Manila Cocooner? He's in third
Just on
as
the
well.
outside.
Chartreuse is up there on fourth for Barry, looking for the outside route. Ginto, whatever you call him, he is in fifth place. Looking for Brawson, Martin Keithley had a renaissance this season. Martin has, very local trainer to Cheltenham. He's in fifth. Mr. Nice Guy, the unbeaten Mr. Nice Guy with an old rival and stablemate, Ramillies there. Again, is he going better now, Hillcrest?
He's settled into it a bit. I mean, I would say
didn't
he's
like that,
got
no.
over the initial fright, but what he's lost in getting to that point is what's going to be significant. I
Was
think
it
he's
something to do with the start? Is it the quicker ground or heavy to quicker ground? I don't know.
He's been ridden just to maintain his position, is he?
This
Yeah.
has got Shishkin about it.
his
This
head's up a little bit, and I don't think he's having a great time now, actually.
He's not enjoying it, is he? But let's just see because
Might be remembering what happened to him the last day there.
Yeah, well, very possibly. And did he leave it behind at Haydock in that pudding ground? That's what a lot of people were saying who were taking him on. Good time, Johnny catching my
might get
eye
into it
right
tomorrow.
out the back. He's going to be ridden cold and for some luck under Kevin Sexton for Tony, the legend that is Martin. I'll tell you what, Manila Cocooner will do well to get home, pulling like that, won't he?
Yee, Staggies, just you chill out, you little zippy thing.
Well, again, you never know with Stag On. He just keeps going. He'd probably go around 10 times.
Yeah, he
wouldn't he?
stays.
Yeah, I like
I
the...
wonder if Danny Mullins was riding Manila Cocoon, or would he just have let him stride on now at this stage like he did in Leopardstown?
I guess there's a bit of a war on for it, isn't there? And let's have a look. It's, of course, Patrick, who is on the extremely expensive Classic Getaway. I'm going to remind myself exactly how much he cost. Look away now, 570,000. That's something. Is that more expensive than John Bond? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
John Bond was 560, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
what-
I mean,
yeah,
it's,
five
you know,
something. But
what's 10 grand when you're paying that money?
Nothing.
Well,
But
yeah.
I do like the position of Ginto Barry. He's now clear favourite, right?
Yeah, he's gone really well. He's travelling steeply. He's into 2.9, would you believe? 15-8, 4.8 with Manila Cocooner. Hillcrest, who went off 5-2 favourite, is 8.6. So 7-1 Hillcrest. 19 good time Johnny Chartreuse into 16.
I mean, he's a horse. He's been behind the bridle for a circuit, so
Hillcrest.
he's doing well to still be 8.6.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, look, he's hanging on in there, and he is making up some ground. I should reference our West Country rover, James Stevens. He's been on Ginto. I think he's got like 25s about it.
Really?
This is his big hope of the week.
Well, I
Steve
offered
will
him
be
I offered him a
absolutely
cons-
livid at the moment. Come on, let's have this.
I offered him a concession. I said you can. He didn't have many horses today, so I said you can put Henry Daly in as West Country, even though it's Shropshire.
Oh yeah, okay. Wasn't going to be this race. Stag On, maybe just losing his posse a
Yeah.
little bit there. All to play for with a lot of these Eric Bloodacks
Natalie
out the back. John
Green.
Trost is warming up, isn't he? Over we go.
Oh,
Manila
hello.
Cocooner had a good think about that one, as did Green Book. He wasn't great.
Yeah,
and again,
he wasn't great.
He's rowing away, isn't he, on Hillcrest? He really is.
Don't worry, just
Hang on, I've put another
Looking to
0
still
on him. You
stay
know what
up there,
happens?
isn't he, Manila?
Yeah, tell you what, he's doing so well,
terrible job by
Hillcrest.
Hill-
And do you know who's
Hillcrest
cruising
there.
through the
Terrible
race?
Good time, Johnny.
Absolutely cruising. Classic Getaway. Looks like he might pull up here, Patrick Mullins yet. 570
Hillcrest
grand,
has got it.
unfortunately, not going to
dear.
pay out today. Ramillies, though, of Willie Mullins is warming up a little
pull
bit.
up
This is going to be
Hillcrest?
a really,
Yeah, Hillcrest
really
getting
good
pulled
finish.
up. Hillcrest getting pulled up.
Probably Sean Truce, he should be, I don't know, Sean Truce is getting a lovely
He
position.
never went to yard, did he?
At
No,
the
not
moment,
a yard.
at the moment, it is Brawson putting it up to the Irish there. Mr. Nice Guy warming up. He's jumping
Staghorn's
beautifully.
finished.
And that
Staghorn's
wasn't a
dropping
good jump
through
from
the
one of the
fields.
outsiders. Elliot's where it all began. He'll struggle
All
to get
about
involved
staying
after
there,
that.
lads. It's all about
Yeah,
staying.
way up
All
began,
about
going
staying.
away.
So Howell will... Yeah, okay, all right. Staggy's gone, unfortunately, hasn't he? Looks like he might pull up. Mr. Nice Guy, then. He's got to be
Yeah, he's
short,
travelled a little
surely.
bit.
Just in there. This is where we see whether Good Time Johnny does like Cheltenham or not. This is a slightly tricky part, Keith.
Yes, he's got it. He had just got niggled there as he picked up the pace while going up the hill. He is back on the bit a little bit now.
Yeah.
Can he make up the ground easily coming downhill? That's the crux now, because if he can't do that, he won't hold his position and he'll get left behind.
I'm questioning
I
how
reckon
well
Rachel's
Ginto's
going all right.
Ginto, okay, how well's he going? I'm not sure he's on the inside, but Marla Mission and Bardenstown Lad following
Stack
that
him
one
Look
as
at
well.
Rachel. Look at
Oh,
Rachel.
yeah, there's still loads in this race.
Come
the
on
nice
then,
guys,
2 out we
the nice
are.
guys got
Manila
as much chance
Kakuna
as
in front
anything.
from Brawson, the handicapper. Wow, Martin Keithley getting excited. He knows how to celebrate. Look at Mr. Nice Guy on the outside, Sean O'Keefe. He's getting excited. Sean Truce still in there, but rowing away now. Ramillies
Look
being
at the
very
nice guy.
patiently handled as
Ginto,
well.
oh!
Oh no, hang on a minute. Oh no, Ginto's gone wrong. Oh, no,
no,
Ginto,
I
that's
didn't
horrible
want
to
to
see.
see that.
He was in there cruising, maybe just under a bit of pressure. Unfortunately, has gone wrong. Shock, horror. Terrible to see that. As Manila Kakuna goes on, Mr. Nice Guy though, he's coming. There's a lot of social love for this. Could it be Mullins again? It's going to be, isn't it? They're absolutely 1, 2, 3
he's
in the
absolutely
minute.
cruising.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Barry Griffin Cotting is
He's gonna finish
absolutely
placed.
flying, but too late. Over the last they go.
Ooh.
And it's Mr. Nice Guy. He's unbeaten. He's only had the 1 run over hurdles coming here, but 2 bumper wins. Make it 5 from 5. Whoosh! He goes up the hill. Have we seen a star of the future there, guys?
Oh,
Sean
he's
O'Keefe
tanked.
gets his day in the sun. It's a 1-2 for Mullins. Surprise, surprise. Bardenstown lad, John McConnell. Sean Bowen always seems to hit the back of the net or the crossbar, doesn't he, John McConnell, when he comes to Cheltenham? What a dramatic race. Obviously, sad scenes there, Barry, with Ginto. But when did they know Mr. Nice Guy was going to take it up?
It was 136 jumping the last, so just 4 to 11. Mr. Nice Guy jumping the last. Had a Betfair SP of 23.2. Mr. Nice Guy hit a high in running of 4. There was 131 quid matched at 34 on Mr. Nice Guy. Good to see Brian Cooper get a winner. It looks like the ill-fated Ginto. That was horrible to see. He was trading at evens when he went wrong. Manila Kakuna, who put in such a valiant effort, hit a low of 2 to 1 on for 346 quid. So Brian Cooper back on the big stage, but soured somewhat by Ginto, what we saw there.
Yeah, he was cursing his luck, wasn't he, with Mrs. Milner, I think, earlier in the week, wasn't he? And he's all right. It's great to see him back. And I don't know, listen, that is a serious animal, isn't it? So, I mean, Manila Kakuna, to pull like that and jump a bit stretchy like he did.
Yeah.
If there's, he's the 6-year-old, isn't he? Whereas Mr. Nice Guy's 7s. So I don't know. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing a replay of that up the straight. Maybe from the last we will, because
Well, I wanted to.
Was it a full
I
step?
don't want to see a replay in a lot of ways, but I want to see how your other horse, Natalie, how Valley Griffin Cottage.
Because he's motoring,
Yeah.
wasn't
He looked like he shaped like a horse that's going to win next year's Scottish
That should
National
be-
to me.
he? Or the 4 mile.
Yeah.
Or the 4
But again,
well,
he'll
yeah.
be 8, so it probably
Sean
will be
O'Keefe,
8.
sorry, Sean O'Keefe rode the winner, not Brian Cooper.
Yeah, Brian Cooper was on
Change of jockey there, wasn't it?
Brian Cooper rode
Yeah.
Ramillies.
Oh, Brian Cooper was Ramillies, sorry.
Ramillies.
and he's
Sean O'Keefe.
he's run
And
quite well,
from
Ramillies.
Malcolm, Denmark, who, of course, next destination, Monseigneur was the famous one, wasn't it? Of course, we're watching. I mean, he's cruisy. He's taking
Well,
the
this
ball coming
horse,
to last.
next destination's famed for being fragile, and this horse is 7 and running in an Albert
Ramillies
Bartlett.
was third, coming to the last, but he's not got home, has he? Again, nice horse he will be. For the
He
future.
followed the winner all the way through,
Let's have a look
Ramillies.
at Bally Griffin again. He's just
Knackered.
stay.
He's absolutely knackered.
Yeah,
Ramillies.
he's
Yeah. What's that on the inside?
He is.
Green Book. Anyone that's looking for 5th place, it looks like he might.
Green
have got it
Book's
as
run
well.
on for 5th, is he?
All about stamina, said Barry, from 2 out, and they have come home despite this drying ground, like the proverbial washing.
Manila's ran well, hasn't he?
Yeah, really
Considering
well.
He pulled, and yeah, I thought he's ran a good race there.
Not the Manila that a lot of people were expecting to win this race, but he has run absolutely massive, hasn't it? It'll be
Oh,
interesting to see.
don't you love?
Yeah, they're all in
all connected,
tears.
They're all crying. Everyone's in tears.
Mark Pittman, Jamie Mack, haven't seen him in a
Well,
long time.
he's looked, of course, because he used to train Monseigneur, didn't he, Mark Pittman? That was his horse, and he's obviously,
Actions, yeah.
my goodness, you've not seen him in a little while. Yeah, absolutely. Like a lot of us, he's matured along the way, that's for sure. A dramatic race then, and that is the result of the 2022 Albert Bartlett. How many 7-year-olds? Let's have a look. I mean, I'm going to say only 2 actually, Kilbrick and Storm and Martello Tower. 7-year-olds. 8-year-olds have won this, of course. Is he going to stay hurdling, do you think?
I don't know, to be honest. He travels very, very well. I would have thought he might, but yeah, it's hard to know. When a horse is 7 and winning a race like this, you've got to have a little look at what's happening. I think it'll be very much up for debate there.
And look who is being interviewed again.
Well, yeah.
It's remarkable, isn't it? Absolutely remarkable.
E?
And listen, I hope you've jumped on the Willie Mullins bandwagon out there, because that wasn't obviously Manila was his most fancied according to the market. But yeah, there was a good social up about that, wasn't it, Mr. Nice Guy? Can't remember who it was, but well done to you out there. We've got loads of them coming in. And we did have a good chat about him as well. 3 races down then. Is that ominous for the Gold Cup?
Does it make...
Alboon won't like this ground.
Does it make Alboon Photo a better horse? No, it doesn't.
I've got a theory that they're going to try and get everything at it.
So you're going to say Tornado Flyer?
So Tornado Flyer can come and...
Oh, you were going to say it. See how well I know you.
He's one that...
Why? In what instance did he go hard here?
Well, let's go to it.
I Wright's the only front runner.
Now, Kate Tracy, who was on with us on Saturday, a part of the Racing Post Live family, was on Good Morning. She's been with Willie's horses all week, hasn't she?
Yes, she has. Yeah.
Alaho was her big one, I think.
Yeah.
And she looks the part, and she sounds like Sid James. Someone said to me because she has been shouting.
Shouting. I
These
saw her on Good
horses
Morning
are-
Cheltenham this morning. Yeah, absolutely.
She put out there this morning that Asterion Falange is going to try and make it under Brian Cooper. So that was her thing. So that, and she'll know.
Will she
about
know?
the tactics. Yeah, she'll. They'll all be.
They don't
she's
know.
with,
They don't
she's
know
with all
yet.
the lasses. They know what they're
The
doing.
jockeys don't know yet what's going to happen in the Gold
Listen,
Cup.
David Casey has finally let them know what's happening, and Asterion, we think, is going to try and lead in the Gold Cup. That's the Kate Tracy lads and lasses at Willie's. That's what's coming out of there. Now, if that happens, I don't know. Let's go through the Gold Cup in
Well, he can try,
but it's interesting, isn't it? I thought they're either setting it up for Alboon, because of course same colours, or they're going to try and do it for Tornado Flyer. So anyway, there is the market then. We move on. Listen, we'll get a word about Ginto. Bless him. It was still going really well in that race, wasn't it?
Connections as well.
Very, very sad. And Willie dominance there. We'll get the quotes all coming in. But we must move on. And there is the market. This is the race of the week still, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is every jockey's dream. I know the Grand National as well, but come on, like Dickie Johnson, Fitzy, just the best of the best. Like, this is the one race. This is the Cheltenham Gold Cup. This is what everybody wants to see, what every jockey seems to want to win.
Right, well, look, this is what every jockey wants to win. Everyone wants to know what Barry's going for. I remember this was an insufferably good day for you last year, Barry. You kicked off, of course, with Calixioff in the Triumph. It was eye-eyeing everywhere for you, and Manila Endo did you a right old favour.
Yeah, it's a distant memory now after today, but it's an interesting proposition, this, because I don't know. I don't think Chantreux finished out his race at all there, and I think there could, I know Henry de Bromhead has had 2 winners now. Obviously, he had the winner of the Champion Hurl in Honeysuckle, and he got the race gifted to him yesterday. But if you take Honeysuckle out of it and Galopin des Champs stays in his feet, he's had a very moderate festival. But at Platard, they're backing it like the feet's out of the question. 3.65. Galvin is on the slide, is out to 5.5. Manila Indo on the slide out to 8.2. Album Photo coming in for significant support is into 8.4 now. Was a 14-1 chance. There was 14 and 15.0 earlier on this morning. So that's the real big mover. Dual Gold Cup winner. 11.5 Tornado Flyer, 13.5 Protakara. He's on the slide as well. And it's 19 bar. Yeah, the pace angle's interesting here. Will Santini try to go off in front, or will one of Willie's go out and try to make it? We'll see. But yeah, I'm with Manila Indo. I can't desert them now, regardless of Henry de Bromhead and stable form. They tried to he ran moderately well in Down Royal in his first run this season. They put the cheek pieces on him in or the hood in the King George, and it just put him on his head all the way. You could put a line through that run. They ran him down behind Conflated in the Irish Gold Cup, and that was a much improved run. And I think it'll leave him spot on for this. And at the price, I'm going to chance him, please, Keith. We're going to have 50 quid win. Just win on him at 8.2. Happy to be a price taker here. 8.2, I think, is eminently fair price, around 7-1. He went off at a Betfair SP of 9.6 last year. Album Photo went off at a Betfair SP favourite, 3.65 in this race last year. So you can see why people are getting stuck into him as well.
Actually, his projected Betfair SP again. Alputard.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a big mover this morning, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's hardened right up. People have the Elliott form. Maybe people are getting a little bit behind. I don't know, But he is
Well,
favourite now, and
all right. Let's start going through it for you out there. Then what have we got? We have got 25 minutes to go. Get your selections in for the Gold Cup. Let's hear from you. Let's see your form lines. Let's see you thinking about it. This is all the talking said and done. Now we are here. What have we got? A field of 11, and from top to
24 minutes
bottom.
to go.
From 25 minutes to go.
We got 25.
From top to bottom, the album photo, the dual Gold Cup winner, going for, of course, third in last year's race, when I would wager the ground was probably more in his favour then.
yeah, and he's 10 now, isn't he? And he's not going to be getting better. And everybody said after last year, oh, he's just absolutely run his race last year, blah blah. And if that's the case, how's he going to win this year? He's just not. So I mean, he's going to run well. He's won the race twice, so you've got to respect his sort of claims of running well. But is his best going to be good enough these days? You've got to be doubtful, I think.
When I did the ultimate guide for Parky and the Wheaties, which you had a lot to do with as well. In fact, I was amazed I got the Gold Cup in. I thought you would have been grabbing it.
No, I wasn't involved in the ultimate guide.
Oh,
I had
too
too
busy,
much.
were you?
I had too much Cheltenham preview stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, I got the gig, and I was looking for, how he might do it. And I'm pretty sure we knew at that point that cheap pieces might be going on, as they are. And listen, it's Willie. If it's going to happen, it'll be today. But I said, if there's a deluge, do not discount him. There hasn't been, so
No.
It's hard to see.
I suppose he's 10, but has he got massively high mileage? No.
Well, no, he hasn't. He's the best mate, isn't he?
He's not. He is the best mate. He's
Yeah.
not got massively high mileage. So, yes, his age, but he hasn't got huge mileage. Of course, we can see Album in the frame.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But the winner, no, I don't. I'd pick others. I think I don't see the form reverse in there. But great, he's already done it twice. Fantastic. Again, yeah, the story. Rachel's obviously got unfinished business with Applutard. I can see all the love for that. Steering for launch, no. I write, make the running.
I thought so. That's the way you'd look at it. If
Yeah.
Just on previous running styles, he'd be the one to take them along.
Interesting. Last 10-year-old to win a Gold Cup? Should know after the preview, shouldn't we? It's got to be a great, basically, to do it.
Wasn't he ever 10, or was he not quite 10?
No, he wasn't, was
Well,
he?
Cool Don.
Cool Dawn, well done. The Quizmaster comes good again.
Keith,
I was
so
hoping to maybe
good.
even open that up to the floor, but no, he's got it. But could you put him in the same sort of breath? He's a dual Gold Cup winner, isn't he? Has he won 2 Gold Cups because they've wrapped him up? There's a lot of talk at the start of the season. We've got time. Album photo.
He's sort of won 2 Gold Cups because it was Bristol de Mai and Santini that have finished second to him. Neither of them are
subpar year then.
Yeah.
Neither was vintage. That's fair to say.
Yeah.
And you could argue that since his first win in it, when he beat Annabelle Fly, the figures have suggested he's not quite been the same all since. I mean, he's nearly, but we're talking about a couple of pounds off that you need to do it. There was a lot of talk at the start of the season, Barry, wasn't there, about album photo coming out earlier and all that sort of thing. And yet here we were on New Year's Day, same old, same old.
Yeah, they were going to change things up with him, weren't they? That was the chat. Interesting, they're putting first-time cheek pieces on him. That could elicit a bit of improvement, but yeah, they were going to do this and do that with him, and maybe the Irish Gold Cup. But Willie's a man of, he's a real creature of habit, isn't he? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
He went down to the tried and tested route.
And he
Probably
got
tried to
absolutely,
do it to take the heat off him.
he got absolutely none of the criticism that Henderson got for mucking about with his horses. I would just point out, if Henderson had done that, can you imagine the abuse he'd have got?
Yeah.
But one of the races he had him in was the Many Clouds.
We should have texted Kate, actually, because I think in the camp it was reported
She led it up.
To have scored well in cheap pieces. Album photo.
Did she lead it up? Did Kate lead that
No,
up?
led up
She led the
Allaho.
winner up.
Oh, yeah,
Kate,
right.
Kate
Allaho.
Tracy led the. You're saying Kate Tracy led the last winner up, apparently.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's nice.
Ah, okay.
That's really nice.
Oh, God.
Maybe we should text
thank goodness she's not doing a show tomorrow. We need sign language, wouldn't we? Do you know what I mean? For Kate.
Oh, bless her. She had a good day. But no,
When
we've been
she
interested
turned up
to-
for Good Morning Cheltenham on Thursday, was it Thursday that she did her first show? It was the
Would have
stage
been,
Sunday,
yeah.
wasn't it? I got a text from a producer. Kate's voice has gone.
Bless her. Well, that's what Cheltenham does to you.
We've got some socials in the bank before we go down to number 2, who is Applutard. Second last year, that's fitting number for him. Andy Sim, welcome back. Galvin, my nap. You're going to get a lot of love for that coming your way in a minute. Andy Sim, great to have you watching, Andy. Hope you've had a top week, my man. ECT, is that Etceteras? No, I don't know, ECTZ. The boys will do X. TriCast. Ooh, you've been with the Favs so far. Then Galvin, Applutard, and Tornado Flyer. God, I think you might just have got my 1, 2, 3.
Oh, is he? Well done.
Oh, so there you are. if you're with Dave Orton, God help you, you might be going that way. Ryan Gledo. Ryan, welcome along, my man. I fancy Galvin pre-meeting and pre-today, but can you really go against Mullin runners?
Well, I keep saying, yes, Mullin has had a great day so far, but it doesn't make Albin Photo a better horse. It doesn't make Tornado Flyer a better horse.
No. I love Galvin.
I mean, Tornado Flyer, the case about Tornado Flyer is...
When was the last time a trainer won the first 4 races on the Friday? Probably was Willie, wasn't it?
Well, he's done something. So he had one Friday at Cheltenham where he just went a little bit hog wild and won everything. I think he would. Was that the year?
It was when he was behind going into the half-time whistle. Do you remember?
That's right.
And then he won it.
He didn't have a winner
Snatched
until
it from Gordon, didn't he? Didn't have
a winner until the JLT or something, wasn't it? Or something daft like that.
It was a mad countback, I think. One more as well. Thanks, Ryan. Top stuff. And Morgan Vale comes on and says, just think this could be Asterion Forlange Day.
I mean, the whole point of Asterion Forlange is to get somebody to think that.
I mean, let's talk about Asterion for a minute. Brian Cooper had a sniff, didn't he, in the Albert Bartlett, and it's his sort of ride it's become, isn't it, since Patrick came a cropper on him, of course, behind Allaho in the John Durkan. That seems such a long time ago to reach for that. Asterion, one horse on social media through the jump season who was kind of like, had it poked at him a little bit. But I think people sort of love him for it now, don't they? Asterion? The mad character. We all forgiven him for a loss and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, he's he's a bit box office, isn't he?
That's what I mean.
Always has been. In fact, when he won the Tattersalls novice
There's a
hurdle.
job for him after racing in the media if he wants.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not sure where he speaks, but
hopefully he'll speak a bit better than that impression of him.
No, he's a character of a horse. He's got loads and loads of ability. He came like he was going to win that John Durkan, and obviously those two horses were first and second in the Ryanair yesterday.
Yeah, and people fancied him for the King George after.
So him.
And he's gone.
He's jumping.
He was going to run. He's going to be second in the King George.
He was going to be second, yeah, no doubt.
So on that basis, you've got a horse there that probably deserves to be shorter than 25-1.
So if you like Tornado, you like Asterion.
Anybody who's expressed any concern about, will the big occasion get to them? I tell you one horse that the big occasion's going to get to. Is this nutter.
Well, Nat would keep your keen eyes on him, please. Also left and right-handed, all that sort of thing, isn't it? And he was fourth, only fourth, because they did not back him in that Irish Gold Cup.
He went a favourite, didn't he?
Why would you? Like I say, yes.
I was sensing you don't like him.
No, I don't. I think that's fair to say I don't like him. Why I just wouldn't back him in the Gold Cup and look at the rest of the competition. Like, he's quirky. He doesn't always jump very well. He's erratic. He is erratic.
But at 25-1, a few people will have a fun.
Of course they will, and then he'll go and win now, and I'll be putting some more pie in my face. But the way Gordon Elliott has campaigned Galvin has been absolutely fantastic. Since 2019, Galvin's not been out the top 4 in all of his races. He is going to win under Davey Russell. Davey Russell's going to cry. He's going to retire at 42. It's going to be the fairy tale of the year. The crowds are going to go nuts. It's just going to be a dream. It's going to be unbelievable.
A man associated.
I love Galvin. I think I think he's actually got more improvement to come.
All right, let's get some tips out of the way because I'm Galvin on top. You are as well. Galvin,
and I can see who is it? Is it Keels or anyway? I can see the case for Protectorat. By the way,
would that be your 1-2?
Hitting the frame.
It's Keels and Tom Siegel and me have all fancied Protectorat.
I agree.
Your Protectorat on top.
I've put Protectorat on top. He's the bet in the race for me. Yeah, he's the bet in the race at the prices, especially now. He's out to 13.5 on Betfair.
I think he's this year's Rolper guy.
You think? Well, he might well be. He looked like a talented sort of funny horse after Kelso last year, and we thought he needs a bit of a break. Came out next time, beat the Shunter over 2.5 miles, shaped like the best horse off 154 in the Paddy Power on his reappearance, and then he came out and won that many clouds by half the track. Yes, the horse that was behind him ran once more Native River and got retired on the spot after that. But he just left them for absolute dead. All of a sudden looking like a proper horse. And you know what? The more I look at this race, the more I can pick holes in most of them. So I'm not certain it is actually a really strong Gold Cup. This is a progressive horse.
Do you not think you can pick holes in him?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't deny that. But what we've got here is...
Well, I don't know. Everyone seems to be seeing the ball very large on this one.
On Protectorate?
Yeah.
Well,
right, I'm going to jump in here. I did as well. And when he won the Many Clouds, we were doing this show, me and Barry, And it was 16 straight away afterwards, and I went, you know what? He knows proved stamina, John Ailes. That's a proper. I was really impressed with him. I think I napped him. We did a Racing Post live extra.
Did you?
I
like he's boisterous. I like it. I like the attitude of him.
But I have gone off him slightly.
Why?
I don't know, the manure I've got to the race. I think a lot of people jumped on him, and I think at that sort of price, you probably do need to keep him on your side, don't you?
13.5, it's a ridiculous price. You know, especially
I thought he was going to be about 6-7 to 1.
You know, he's run to 1.7. What I'm sort of getting at with the weakness of the race, you know, we've got him RPR 172 in the many clouds. There's got to be a little bit of piecing that together because of the margins involved. But I wouldn't be amazed if that was more or less good enough this year.
Well, that's. I think I might have written that in the ultimate guide on figures. He just needs a bit more improvement. He's totally unexposed as a stayer.
I would imagine the average Gold Cup over the last 10 years would be about 175.
And he's only a 7-year-old. And he's mad best fresh, isn't he?
Yes.
The Gold Cup, you really get one shot at the Gold Cup. It's such a hard race. These horses because the jockeys know it's the Gold Cup, so they go and they always have a race, and it's always a really hard race, and it's hard to come back year after year unless you do something like Albin Foyle's done.
Wins.
And so the horse. That's why horses returning have such a poor record. Yes, some of them can withstand it. Albin Foyle can. Native River could because he was made of metal. But
literally, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why these unexposed horses, your Galvin's Protectorate, on that sort of trend, those horses are really well favoured by it. Protectorate comes in, you know, he's nearly 3 times the price of Galvin, which is why I think he's the bet in the race. I genuinely still think Applutard's the likeliest winner, though.
All right.
Yeah, and I must admit, I didn't have Galvin as a Gold Cup horse. That's what surprised me the most. That's what I love about him the most.
Keels put him up for the National, didn't he? Thought he was going to be a national horse this year, and nearly. That was. I sent him, he after Alaphilippe finished second in the thing yesterday, he tweeted about it, and I just replied with mate.
Yeah.
He's all right.
So that's been that sort of week for you.
Go on, let's get Galvin winning Protectorate.
Well,
behind.
Galvin, the reason I've actually softened on Galvin because his 2 big wins, when he won the 4-miler here, or not the 4-miler here last year, and the Savills at Christmas. Yes, I thought he was the second best horse in the Savills. I thought Rachel had to make up her ground wide at the hardest part of the race, and I think that's what cost Applutard.
Yeah.
However, Galvin finished that race. They ran from the last half mile, they ran at 2 seconds per furlong faster than the rest of the race. And in not the 4-miler, it was over a second. So this is not a slow horse. This is a horse that can quicken in the last half mile of the race. And that means he's not a plodder, and that is one thing that's definitely in his favour. And he has been, again, saved for this sort of race. He has definitely got a chance.
Definitely got stamina.
He's definitely got the stamina, yeah.
And he's just not very flashy. He's not a flashy.
Well, he's not a flashy horse.
He's not a flashy horse, but he gets.
We do get into this idea of we mythologise the Gold Cup. We talk, it needs these, these really strong. It needs Native River. It needs these horses that are like. It needs Rocky Balboa of a horse. It's not.
It's not true.
See, if you back the best horse, you'd have a damn good record, and that's why.
Well, we spoke about this yesterday, which is about Applutard, right?
That's the case for him because he's the best horse. That Betfair
it's the 180 in the pack, isn't it?
It is, and that's the best. Yes, the bear form's essentially rubbish, but
I don't know about that.
Well, the guy wasn't fit.
Look, he hasn't harmed the form, though, has he? Let's get some more socials. Caroline, 1971, good to see you back. I like Chantry House for a place. Well, building these socials out there in the studio because Chantry House must come in for a mention. A lot of people thought he would be the best of the Brits. We know what happened in the King George. He got a bump, he lost his concentration, and then they pulled him up. He didn't have the hardest of races. Everyone expected him to breeze through the Cotswold Chase, and there were more questions than answers afterwards.
There certainly were, and I think the biggest question is going to be the people of the future coming across the 2021 King George result and going, Chantry House was favourite for that.
Yeah.
Do you know that Deep Purple was one of the 2 horses that went off shorter than 10s for Calto Stars one that he won by a fence?
Remarkable, isn't it?
Well, exactly. Chantry House, I think, is going to be a similar historical curio.
The All-Noir colours, Deep Purple.
Yeah.
My Lord.
Only 2 went off that, and I can't remember the other one. Maybe Imperial Commander. But anyway, it's immaterial. I looked up recently and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But with the Chantry House, I've said in the paper today, and I was a bit cruel on him, I said he's never won a good race that wasn't presented.
People have been a bit cruel on him, haven't they?
Because he's got a bigger home reputation. He's got a bigger home reputation than he's been able to show.
James Byrne, our Lambourne correspondent, he was proper in there with Hendo.
He's
if you want anything Hendo, you go to James, right? He wrote a balance piece. Did you read his balance piece? It was very, very good. And when I was looking to get Jerry McGrath involved in coming on the show, and I said, obviously I know Jerry, but I wanted James's opinion on it because everyone tells you that that Jerry is the next great talker coming out of the retirement from the saddle, and it's been borne out very much so. He said, me and Jerry got a theory on Chantry House.
What's that?
He goes, he's just a bit quirky, but he isn't half talented.
Well, he's got a lot of talent.
Won the Marsh last year.
And he might, the circumstances in which he's won those races that I see he's been fortunate to win, it's not out of the question that prevails again in this race, because he tends to struggle to hold his pitch in well-run races.
Yes.
And then arrive at the end once everything else is knackered. And that tends to be what he does. Yeah. And it's not out of the question that happens in a Gold Cup.
But he looked big, didn't he, at one point in running? Barry, let's come to you. Chantry House in the Cotswold Chase. Can you remember how big he went in running? It's a game that you usually like to play, this.
Oh, Chantry House. I can't off the top of my head, but I will look it up for you. I know he traded Chantry House in the Cotswold Chase. He traded at 5, considering his bet for SP was evens, 1.98. So 4-1 in running,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. He did look in a lot of trouble. Of course, Santini reopposes. And it's been nice to see Santini make some form of combat. I asked Nicky last week, what's the word on him? Do you know? I thought he might still have some sort of, it probably was Nicky's recommendation that he went to a smaller yard. It is a dream come true, this, for Polly Gundry, one of the greatest amateurs in the saddle in her time.
Yeah, and look, there was potentially a good race to win with Santini, I thought. I mean, he's running in the Gold Cup because they couldn't resist. But he ran well enough in the Cotswold to make me think that there was a good race in this horse. Still, it probably isn't the Gold Cup, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah, 9. All right, but look, it depends what... I mean, Nicky was like, I think, I know a bit about him. I can tell you that much, more than anyone. I think he's nearly back to his best. So he's got just another fascinating throw-out to see how he goes in, because he actually ran really well in one year, didn't he? Was it Album Photo's first one, where he was...
Santini?
A lot of people thought he was a little bit unlucky, didn't they?
Well, he probably should have won Album Photo's second Gold Cup.
Yeah.
It was a slowly run race, and he came from nowhere, despite being perceived as this plodder that couldn't pick up.
And of course, the head of Delta Work in that RSA were top of the game, who unfortunately on the sidelines since. But
it was Delta Work top of the game in Santini. We said at the time that's an excellent bit of form.
I'm not saying that I'm thinking at all that Santini's going to win, but it will be fascinating to see how he gets on.
It'd be lovely to see him run well. I mean, I just think, I'd have liked to have seen him, because his mark's 153. Run him in a Whitbread or try out something like that. But I can't moan at anybody for struggling to resist the Gold Cup.
Right.
It's the one race that sends me all gooey. So
can you imagine the reactions of the trainers after winning this race? Let's have
exactly.
Dan Skelton might actually explode if he wins this race. Do you think? Do you remember him on the Great Wood Gold Cup day? When the Jockey Club filmed him he would,
Of course he would.
Couldn't hide it, could he?
Absolutely mad.
He will blow up if he wins this race.
I always say John Hales. John Hales has got a lovely winning face.
Yes.
He looks genuinely, absolutely chuffed.
And he's like
already
this
like
week,
a 10-year-old boy.
One of the most popular guests we've ever had on What a Shout was John Hales.
He's just a massive enthusiast, isn't he? He's great.
He was really up for it as well.
He loves his horses. I can't even tell you the quality of show jumpers he owns. Yeah. With Anthony Condon, terrific English.
So Alex Ferguson is there, of course.
There he is, on the screen.
He is. Looking good, Fergie, now, isn't he?
He looks a lot healthier than the last time I met him at York, when he wasn't looking so good.
He's on the wish list.
Yeah?
He's on the wish list.
For this,
it's not just in the AV department either. There's a lot of people.
Not in a million years, will you?
I don't know. Jeff Mason, who we're now seeing on the camera, he might be on my key, but leave that one with me. Right, okay. Barry, let's come to you. There's a couple of horses we haven't mentioned, but how's the market forming up? Is it all à plus tard still?
Yeah, he's steady, 3.9. Few quid. Galvin's coming in a little bit into 4.688. Manila Indo on the slide. 8.4 Album Photo. Tornado Flyer is 11. Outside of that, there's no Protectorat still out 13 as they come out on the track, but 3-1 Appletard and 7-2 Galvin.
Have they not paraded for the other championship races? Did they parade for all of them?
I think they did, didn't they?
I thought... No. I think
all Grade 1 races, yeah.
Oh, really? They get the music out for the Gold Cup, don't they?
You did the music?
No, I thought on the rainy day they didn't.
All right, they might not have done. I can't remember.
Maybe
it was that.
I've definitely seen them. Okay, let's talk
They
about some others, because they're doing the parade in the sunshine.
What ones have we not talked about?
We talked about all of them.
Tornado Flyer we haven't really.
Yeah, we're not talking much about Manila Indo or Royal Pagaille or Tornado Flyer.
Right. Well, Barry obviously is giving him another chance, and despite the fact that to me, he looks like he left it behind a bit.
Bit of a theory on Manila Indo. If a Plutard jumps the last 3 fences better last year, he probably wins that race.
Yeah.
And Manila, if that result had just been flipped the other way, Manila Indo is holding his position because he won this race last year.
He's flighty, Tornado Flyer.
I think Manila Indo would be 12s if he hadn't
is,
won.
isn't he? Look at him, he's absolutely.
You're right.
Revved.
Having backed a Plutard in that throughout, you watch these things a bit closer. There's big queues. I can see, there's some liquidity on this, Barry. Then it comes in and set on that.
Nearly 5 million. It'll be 5 million done by the time this race goes on.
What is the liquidity then, Barry, at the moment? This is the big one.
4.7 at the moment, yeah, but after in running in that could be 7 or 8 million.
5% for
Wow, that
Betfair
is
as well.
amazing.
Lovely day.
We are back. All right, great stuff.
Go on,
And
Betfair.
let's, Tornado Flyer I wanted to touch on. Look, again, you talk about figures with Protector out. The reason, honestly, if you'd have told me this time last year that I'd be putting this bloke up to nearly win a Gold Cup, obviously third to Allaho, wasn't he? And if you watch that back, he didn't jump great. That would be my one reservation about him if they're riding gold. He's got to get into a rhythm because you can't just hunt out the back in a Gold Cup and hope they fall in old. That was his first win in the King George since 2019. But we gave him a 174 for slamming Clandazobo in his race.
But Clandazobo was beaten further by Royal Pagaille and Eldorado Allen.
Now, Paul Nichols, if you
he's
will
got
tell
it,
you
he's
that
got in the head of it, hasn't
it'll
he?
be blinkers next time for him.
Yeah, I think
if you listen to Paul.
Clandazobo looks like he's got in the head a little bit this season.
He wasn't trying. That was the.
Is that what Nichols has said?
Pretty much.
Okay.
He wasn't putting it all in.
I know.
Royal Pagaille was, of course, ahead of him. Now, Tony Ennis, of course, remember, last season, this won't come off the bridle, Enzo farcically said after the Peter Marsh when he won. He's gone down the same route in the ground. I've actually come round to him more this year.
Really good quote from Tom Siegel last night. He says he's got a little bit of an into the Venetia Williams yard, and he couldn't believe he won the Peter Marsh.
Right.
They said he was nowhere near fit. So he's won that race again, and obviously carried 163 to beat Sam Brown, who's a very talented animal.
If he goes close in this, I wonder what... Charlie Deutsch told me that he's a stone better long press than Royal Pagaille.
Really?
Because he's by far the best horse he's ever ridden. It's obviously been born out.
I mean,
that was pre-Sandown.
I can get it that long press works better.
Sadly, Ginto, we were expecting that to be fatal news. Sadly, for the Morans and Gordon Elliott.
That's confirmed. He was put down. Yeah.
Very sad. Very, very sad.
Very, very sad.
Along with Shall we have one more? So
they're all looking pretty calm, aren't they, down there? I was worried when I first saw Tornado Flyer. I thought, oh God, Crikey's going to hold it together. But as you expect with Gold Cup horses, I mean, look at
we're getting ready then.
Quality. It's just pure quality.
Absolutely. Listen, good luck, everyone. Good luck, everyone here. Good luck, Barry, with Milena.
One of the Donnelly horses
back-to-back wins he's betting for.
One of the Donnelly horses isn't with them.
Who is that?
Oh yeah, no, it isn't.
Albin Photo's not with them.
Albin Photo's not there yet.
This is interesting.
Asterion Forlange is there.
This is
the
interesting.
Grey, obviously.
Yeah, it's 10 there, and there's 11 runners, so it's only a Asterion one. There he
Oh,
is.
there he is.
Coming
There's
down
Alboom.
nice and late, like he does to the season. I'll turn up on New Year's Day. I'll turn up last and I'll still come and give you a run for your money. Good luck wherever you're playing. Loads of people out there watching us. Happy days out there are here again.
It's going to be nearly joint favs at the off. Look at it now. Absolutard 4.3, Galvin 4.5.
4.5.
We're seeing. I mean, well done for getting a microphone in Henry de Bromhead's face just before this. I can tell you, of course, it was a 1-2 last year for Henry de Bromhead.
So lining
Will
up,
the Savills chase?
I tell you what,
upheld?
your Asterion angle looking relatively good. He is lining up near the front, as is Santini.
Are you ready for the comp?
I can do the call, yeah.
All right. Okay.
I'm excited. This is the Gold Cup. I'm so excited.
We are about to start then.
He could jump out to his left, Asterion, so I wouldn't want to be on the outside of him.
No, he jumps to his right, doesn't he?
It could
So
be
I
like
think
a cross-country race. We don't want that, Barry.
He is lining up on the outside.
We thought he would. All right, good luck then. It's the 2022 Gold Cup here on RP Live. Raucous reaction, and you're going to know where your money went straight after the race. Good luck. Over to, can't believe I'm saying this, Keith Melrose to commentate.
And they're off in the 2022 Cheltenham Gold Cup. Tornado Flyer is the first to show, but they're coming around the outside to go ahead of him. Asterion Forlange is in the lead, along with I Right and Royal Pagaille, who the three on the outside look like they're going to lead the race in the early stages. Album Photo is up there, and so is Santini as they clear the first. Asterion Forlange, gun barrel straight. Tornado Flyer made a mistake, as did, surprise, surprise, Chantry House. Royal Pagaille was slowly away from the fence and is now no longer among the leaders. So we've got Asterion Forlange ahead of Santini in the centre of the track. Album Photo is there. And on the inside, Manila Indo jumps well. Protectorate is in midfield, along with Aplutard. Tornado Flyer has worked his way near the back of the field. Galvin is scraping the paint up the inside, 2/3 of the way back. Royal Pagaille, having jumped off in that front rank on the outside with eye right and Asterion Forlonge, is now unable to hold his position and is back and wide, which I don't think is the place to be necessarily. But the Kate Tracy's call was correct. Asterion Forlonge leads the Gold Cup field as they go into the country for the first time. And Santini is in second with eye right in third. Album Photo is there with
impressive for
Manila
SIS here.
Oh, it was right.
And he's gone very seriously to his
Why
right
was
there as he clears the
surprised?
thing.
It does.
This is what the horse does, absolutely. And that's allowed Iright and Santini, who have stayed a comfortable distance on his outside, to come and just about contest the lead here. Album Photo and Manila Indo head the chasing pack again.
Okay, Manila
It
Indo.
looks like the pace has steadied a little. Oh, Protectorate makes a bad mistake. He makes a bad mistake there, and he's now...
Galvin's there
Royal
as well.
Pagaille has made up a little bit of ground.
I'm going to
Two-thirds of
wager
the way
you
back.
don't make a mistake and win the Gold Cup.
Well, it has happened in the past, but Asterion Forlonge jumps to his right a little bit there.
Eye wasn't brilliant.
Eye right is clear second now. Chantry House gets a slap down the shoulder.
Yeah, he's not
So
looking happy
Galvin's
at
on the
all.
inside. He's actually a little bit keen, if anything, Galvin. Asterion Forlonge jumps in front. Eye right and Santini
Oh,
again. Album Photo makes a mistake and jumps
Protectorate was
across
slow.
Protectorate. Aplutard is still far back in the field. Chantry House has been brought to the outside. So we've got the same three that we've had all the way through. Album Photo's made his first mistake. Now he makes mistakes and wins Gold Cups. As he jumped the next fence here, and it's, Eye right is jumping really well up there with Asterion Forlonge, but keeping about 6 horse widths away.
Barry, let's go to you. Looks like they're joints on the machine pretty much. I know, in fact, it's Galvin gone fav.
Galvin's just gone fab. He's getting a nice lead around there on the inside. As Manila Indo, he has to be said, he's sitting quite handy as he was last year. But Aplutard 4.3, 4-1 Galvin. Outside of that, 8-8 Album Photo, 10-5 Manila Indo, 8-6 Protectorate.
Nat, who's catching your eye? Thanks, Barry. Santini's having a lovely spin, isn't he?
Galvin's catching my eye, to be honest with you. Aplutard isn't at this moment, if I'm perfectly honest. Chantry House isn't. Asterion Forlonge does what Asterion Forlonge does, and don't like the way it jumps, never will do. Santini's giving it a good go. Just probably
Look
won't.
at Charlie
Royal
Deutsch.
Pagaille has
Stay
ended
there,
up
won't-
nearly front rank. I tell you what, no one's having more fun in this race than Callum Bewley, who's on eye right. He's jumping really well out
He's
in
having a
front.
great time.
He's having
No
a great
pressure, is
old
there?
time. Callum has led a Steers hurdle field to, I remember in the olden days, on a Donna's Diamond, or one of the Donna's horses. So he's getting to lead a Gold Cup as well. Tornado Flyer has not been jumping well.
No, he
And is
didn't
at the
last
back
year in the Ryanair.
with Chantry House. Now, Chantry House is also, he's not jumped that great either. So they're turning into the straight with a circuit and a bit to go in the Gold Cup. Eye right clear leader now from Royal Pagaille. Asterion Forlonge is on the inside, and there's horses near him now, so watch out is what he does at this fence. It looks to be steadied right up. There's nothing that's more than about 7 lengths behind the leader in the Cheltenham Gold Cup. Eye right pings another one ahead of Asterion Forlonge with
That'll
Royal
be the
Pagaille.
last next time round.
Santini, there's one more to go, isn't there?
You love watching Davey Russell.
Yeah,
though.
2 in the
Don't you
straight
love
here,
watching
Dave.
Davey?
So Eye right still
Blimey, yeah,
leads.
okay, I've got it right again.
Eye right still leads. Oh, he gets in tight.
Oh, Galvin got in
Galvin
tight.
got in tight to that
Yeah,
one.
I
Chantry
think
House wasn't
Manila Indo put
very
him off a
clever
bit there.
either. Royal Pagaille puts his nose in front, a circuit out in the Gold Cup, which is not something I thought I'd have said 5/6 of a circuit ago.
Yeah.
And Eye does regain the lead though, so here we go. What happens now in the steadiest Gold Cups is they start racing around about now. So they're going to jump this fence next, they're going to hit a downhill run. You watch that speedometer go up. Eye leads the field ahead of Asterion Forlonge with Royal Pagaille on his outside. Album Photo has always been tracking them in 4th, with Manila Indo always jumping well, to be fair to him, in about 5th. Santini is wide now in midfield. Eye was a bit low through that, as was Royal Pagaille. And Tornado Flyer, the reins get rearranged again after that horse clears the fence. He has not jumped that well at all. Protectorate is quietly creeping into it.
He's better.
Chantry House is still there, even though he's not jumped all that well.
Come on, then.
Asterion Forlonge fiddled that one, that was the water. Another little mistake from Santini. And Chantry House is the one that gets a slap down the shoulder. Eye still leads them in the Gold Cup.
I'm getting a bit sweaty here, I can tell you, because Galvin he's a little bit clever, isn't he, at them? He's a tad deliberate, isn't he? But he's got the sit of the race so far.
He is. I like I said, love watching Dave Russell. Protectorate's getting in a better rhythm now. Watch Protectorate, just much better, much smoother. Chantry House doesn't like enjoying it
All
too much.
about whether
The
Aplutard
40.
is going to get into
Is
that
he?
rhythm or not. I mean, he couldn't really discount anything just yet.
No, I wouldn't have said so.
Chantry.
They come to the uphill fences now. Asterion Forlonge is taking the lead again, and he clears that one.
Good jump, Galvin there.
Jumps well up the inside. Chantry House is now being distanced. He's the first to crack, and he might get pulled up straight
And they're
away.
going for it now, Keith,
He's been
aren't
pulled
they?
up, Chantry House.
House,
Tornado
well
Flyers, the Laughter still going. Royal Pagaille's at the
Hope
front.
he's
Charlie
all right.
Deutsch has got a plan. Charlie Deutsch is going for it.
Yeah,
They jumped
Asterian's
that one.
still
Everything
there.
I don't
clearly.
think Galvin's going that well at all.
He's just
Galvin's
niggling.
starting to get niggled along now.
This
Tornado
happened,
Flyers
that
out off the
happened in the
bridle.
Savills, didn't it? He got lost a bit and still won it.
Anything going better than Asterion Forlonge, lads? He's still
Manila
up the inside
Indo.
and going
Manila
very, very
Indo's
well.
cruising.
He's
According to the
always been
market.
going well.
That's coming about
He was
now.
4 out the top of the
Galvin's
hill.
out to
Oh,
fourth.
he's fiddling
Good
at Royal
jump,
Pagaille. He's
Galvin.
nearly down. Plutard travels better than anything.
Into 6.4, but accurate.
Would we not?
He
Look
touched
at
it.
Protectorate.
Protectorate
Come
goes
on, we're
wide.
getting excited
Protectorate
now.
goes wide. He's still in the running here.
Whatever
Anything.
you say, Manila
Come on,
Rendo's
Harry.
back. Now this is where the hill's going to come into it.
Stephenford still leads and they come to the 3 out. Royal Pagaille still up there. Manila Indo's in 3rd and 4th place.
Tornado
He's
Flyer
gun
struggling.
barrel straight there. Plutard just gets a slap down the
slap
shoulder.
for
Galvin is
Galvin.
off the bridle. Galvin might have cracked.
Galvin.
Protectorate goes better than anything.
Yes, he
Manila
does.
Indo still tanks through the race.
Very early here.
Plutard, he's
Very
going
early.
setting
Robbie
himself
Power
up
has
the
gone for home in the
puppy.
Gold Cup.
Barry Orr's getting excited. Plutard short of Loon there.
Oh, here,
this is
Protectorate looks the
Manila Indo. Here we
danger.
go.
Protectorate's the danger at Manila Indo. They come to 2
Unbelievable
out.
scenes.
Albin Photo
Come
comes
on,
as well.
Barry. Look at
Rachel
Plutard, here
Blackmore
comes the
takes
rival
Ivan
again.
Eagle.
Here comes the turn of
Plutard, he
foot.
jumps 2 out.
Oh, he's jumping well, 2 out. Plutard, the only danger,
Protectorate
surely.
get home.
Henry.
Plutard's coming.
Oh, my
It's the
Lord.
same again. It's
The
last year all
genius
over
of
again.
Muhammad.
It's last year all over again.
It's
Plutard's
going
going
on.
to win the
Plutard's
Gold
gonna
Cup.
do it.
He's
He's
up. He's
going.
over.
Plutard.
He's going to go and win the Gold
Wow.
Cup. Rachel Blackmore's going to win the Gold Cup.
Goodness
Plutard wins
gracious
it.
me.
Galvin finishes up the hill. He might get placed jets. Protectorate hasn't got home. Royal Pagaille is struggling.
Galvin's
He's
gonna get
plodding up
third.
the hill. And Manila Indo is out on his feet in second.
Wow.
But as Plutard
Wow.
bursts the line to win the Gold Cup. Manila Indo second. Protectorate holds third, I think.
He did
He
from
holds third
Galvin,
in the
who
Gold
just
Cup.
found it
And
all
Galvin
too fast.
didn't happen quick. It happened too fast for
Fans
Galvin.
are going to go
That was-
wild.
That was special, wasn't
performance.
it? Wow.
Oh, look at her. Oh, it's so...
I mean, this. Look, we'll dissect as we go. But Rachel Blackmore's gone one better than last year. The record of horses trying again. She got tight for room turning in Barry. She must have gone quite big, but we knew coming to the last. Pingo, away she go.
Big at all, Dave, because she just, what a class rider. She wasn't getting after him too early this year. She sat and bided her time and perfect, came with the right run just at the last. Just when Manila Indo didn't want to make a mistake, he did. It was his only mistake of the round, really. He just got in a little bit tight to the last. She had the momentum. Traded at 1.50, 2-1 on. Manila Indo traded that in running for 416 quid. But she just bided her time. She jumped the last grade and just strided away with cracking run from the winner. Great ride and a great run for the second as well.
Yeah, well done, Barry. He was back, wasn't he? Well, let's dissect it. Robbie Powell went for it turning in.
Look,
some people will say, oh, did he go too soon?
very
There's only
early.
one way to beat
He'll be
Plutard.
delighted that Plutard ran up the hill like he did because Robbie Power did go too early. But what it turns out, it didn't matter. Did not matter.
No,
He
of
was
course.
he was on the second best
But that
horse.
was the way to beat Manila Plutard last year. Listen,
It was. He went too soon because his horse was struggling as well. But
What do you say?
It didn't matter. You weren't beating Plutard today. Now, what I'll say is, after the Savills, every chance I've got, I've said that Rachel Blackmore didn't get it quite right in the Savills. But that was an absolutely tremendous... To do that in a Gold... To have the nerve to do that in a Gold Cup was something else.
That's what she's got, though. This is Rachel. What she's got is nerve. She's flipping amazing. Like
if there wasn't going to be a film, there is now,
Dave
right?
Jennings was saying, like, earlier in the week that literally everywhere she goes in Ireland, like, people, little kids, everyone's just queuing. The story behind it, the narrative, to come and do that. I mean, that ride was peachy perfect, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think this year, I've not seen... last year she put in some of the best rides I've seen for a long time, and I thought this year,
I agree.
has it gone to her head a wee bit? She's not been quite as good, but that was just
That was
something else.
class.
And
Again,
another
although-
1-2. This time the other way round.
What we'll say a little bit there is we said the best horse wins a Gold Cup. That was the best horse by half a stone, wasn't it?
And we're getting a 180 there, aren't we?
Said that.
Well, you'll get 180 for that. No
We're
problem.
getting the figure of the week, I think, in that race. Let's have a look. All right, let's go down then. I'm not exactly sure where they finished. We're looking for a replay because the Henry de Bromhead trying to keep a lid on it at the moment.
Robbie Power goes for it too far out. He was always holding second. The battle for third, Protectorate hit the wall a little bit and kept on. Royal Pagaille just plodded. He is a horse that wants it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And wants it a
Too
bit
quick
softer.
for him.
Softer. He needs it softer.
Galvin they got away from Galvin down the hill, and he just
Ran
didn't
like
get
a
into
full
it.
miler, didn't he?
And he was low at a few, and he just, like you said, he wasn't good enough.
He couldn't. It was a downhill run.
Yeah.
Could have lost him. We're watching the replay now. Albin Photo travelled really well, and he's not potentially found what he did.
Protectorate's
Look
ran
at Rachel. She
brilliantly.
jumps that in
They made a
sixth. There's
mistake.
6 horses can win that race. She's laughed at him.
Tornado
And she's
Flyer
jumped it
didn't
there
turn up
three
at
out.
all today. Did he
Oh,
protect
jumped
her at
terribly.
one point? We
Jumped
thought
terribly.
he's run a belter, really.
What price did he go, Barry?
Brilliantly.
What price did Protectorate go?
Sorry?
What price did Protectorate go?
Protectorate. Let me check the He hit a low of 4 in running, so 3 to 1
4?
for 590 quid.
God, I thought he'd have gone a little bit lower than that. Look, I wasn't thinking even money, but he travelled through that race really, really well. Royal Pagai's going up and down on a spot by this point. A Stadium for Launches beat. Albin Photos basically eased off. Yeah. Galvin carried his head awkwardly.
Really well, isn't he?
Protectorate hitting
I'd
3
love
out
to
the
see
last.
Royal Pagai in a national.
Protectorate, honestly.
I think
it's
Galvin's
amazing.
been found out there.
Yeah, I spoke to our Irish
Form
editor,
Minor
Barry, Richie Forrestal, and this was his nap of the week, by the way. Well done, Richie. He'll be there, absolutely punching the air at the moment. And I said to him, do you think the hill will suit Galvin more? But let's get some socials in before we talk about exactly the line I got from Richie. Ryan A, welcome along, says, what a rider Blackmore is. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised that she didn't go bigger in running, Barry. I know, again, this is why I don't really bet in running. I'm too emotional, I get too involved in it. But obviously they knew. I don't know. He went quite, I don't know. There was a little, watch it back. There was a bit of skirmishing.
15 length winner, lads.
15 length winner of the Gold Cup.
That's a record. That's a record. Cowtall's record's gone.
Is it?
Yeah.
So that's an 8.
He held it.
Is this the best Gold Cup performance of all time?
No.
No, it's the Denman.
Well, what you've got to remember is Manila Indo is 5 lengths better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because he went too soon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was great to see him bounce back, no doubt. And we just know now, whatever he does next year, he'll be coming and running his race again. He's got some festival record, hasn't he? And
yeah, so Cowtall won the Gold Cup by 13 lengths when he won it in 2009. So he's broken the record. And that is one of the most memorable racing moments of my life. Yeah. Rachel Blackmore, as well, and Aplutard has beaten it.
Lots of reactions out there on the socials I'm seeing. An astonishing performance, as Neil Francis.
She was patient. She didn't panic. She didn't. Like, there was 6 horses there.
Yeah.
Like, she's behind 5 other horses when Manila Indo set sail. Now, not that she was going to not get a run, but she wasn't panicking. She wasn't getting into a fight too early. She packed them jumping the last, and then she knew she had the gears to go away. Yeah, it was visually an excellent performance. Yeah. Manila did tie up a little up the hill. So 15 lengths, I don't know whether,
Yeah, I think by right.
That was an exertion, that burst, wasn't it?
By right, that's more like a 10-length win, but it's still... Yeah. The way she's hit the line, though. Have I seen a Gold Cup winner hit the line like that? I'm not sure I ever have.
Yeah, accelerate like that after jumping the last in the Gold Cup.
Didn't even look tired.
Cowtall didn't even do that.
Well, we saw it to a certain degree at Leopardstown in the Savills, didn't we? When he turned in, it was like, oh, here we go, absolutely. And what Richie Forrestal said to me, he's more of a man, they think, at the Bromheads this year than he was last year because he fiddled a few. I don't think he was actually foot perfect at times there now.
He didn't finish tired, didn't look tired, still doesn't look tired. To be honest with you, it's just amazing seeing him come back in. I do think Galvin's been found out. I completely agree with that. I think Protectorate did well to finish having made quite a few mistakes.
He missed the last.
I'd say about 3 bad jumps, and early on that knocked him right back. So actually, he ran a good race. He's nowhere near as good as Aplutard. So why can't we just... The moral of the story is Aplutard is absolutely incredible and is the best horse on the day.
Take your mind back to when he won the now defunct novice handicap.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not defunct, it's at Sandown.
Well, yeah, okay, but still, it's not
amazing scenes here. Rachel's getting out the saddle.
Oh,
she's
look at
absolutely
this.
giving it.
Go on, Rachel, you go for it.
You saw after the line how much it meant to Rachel Blackmore. She obviously was so cool in the race, and let's be honest, she doesn't show much emotion in interviews, does she?
No.
But that was something else.
It's obviously her third winner of the week, isn't it?
But like Barry said, how does she do it? It's her cool,
they're just
calm
here, look,
demeanour.
Protectorate threatened to go in on her a bit, coming to 2 out, and ping. And you're right, it's the acceleration, Barry. That's remarkable, really. Albeit out of his depth.
And Barry, do you think, like, when you watch Rachel, like now, she's really with her hands, like, she is so good at keeping these horses, like, engaged. She's not just shoving it along. She's all the way through. She's been calm, she's been quiet. And then when she said go, it's beautiful to see Aplutard just pick up in this way. I mean, look at this absolute quality.
He's shifted a bit out of the running. And when you talk to these trainers and riders, they say when that roar hits them, you'd have to be some horse not to react.
To react.
Yeah.
100%.
So Aplutard has heard the adulation for him coming up the run. And who was with him then? Well done. Probably lots of anti-post wages collected, Barry. And as an 8-year-old, I imagine he's getting quotes probably half the price of what he was for next year.
Yeah, he's currently, what have they put up? He's 4 from 12.
How was he ever?
Yeah,
so 7 to 2 from 12 and 3 for... Sorry?
I've seen a very strong whiff of your move to long press and Galopin des Champs there, isn't there?
Well,
That was
come and have a go if you think you're hard enough.
very
says
much so.
Applutard.
Very much so.
Yeah, how was he?
4 from 12 for the goal for next Gold Cup, and Galopin des Champs is 7-2 from 3. Just pushed him out a nudge off the back of that.
You'd love to see him in the King George, wouldn't you? But you imagine it should be the same route, wouldn't it?
Oh,
You would have thought you'd do exactly that. In fact,
Betfair,
what they might do,
Savills.
they might not even run in the Betfair, because part of the reason, it was mentioned to me this morning, something I hadn't considered, that part of what got him beaten the Savills was it being just a month after Haydock. They've always said they want this horse fresh.
Yeah, you talked to Paul Nicholls about when he did. He's the only one to do the at a bonus, isn't he? Of course, and you talked about when he did it, and he's like, it is blooming hard. He thought Brave Man's Game might be the type actually, but I won't go there. But
Well, I'm trying to sort of just now to have a bet on the King George actually.
yeah, well, you'd love to see him there. wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, I'm going to back Protected It. 20-1 for the King George. The way he's travelled through that race.
Well, Hales would love to go there for sure.
Yeah, I think that horse. I think that's going to go off 7-2 for the
Where are you
King
going to
George.
prep?
Whatever you want.
Yeah, all right, mate. Well, you say that. You might not want to go to Haydock. Well, look, there we are. The dust is settling on the 2022 Gold Cup. What a thrill that was to be watching that. And Rachel,
What a thrill if they all get there next year, him and Sir Gallop.
that's the game,
yeah,
Barry, isn't it?
because that's the dream, isn't
It's
it?
free,
game.
wouldn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
it
that
makes
is
it
the
makes the
game.
ride that get Long Press and Galopin des Champs get when you know you've got that coming behind you. You know the way he
Yeah.
finished up the hill.
Yeah.
You've got to. You know, it's one thing to take on the horse beside you, but when you know you've got Applutard that can sprint.
It's fair to say we'll be seeing Galvin go for next year's national, I think, won't we?
Well, they might run in. Maybe not this year's, but yeah,
This year's would be a stretch, I think. But
They'll have to go
I'd
national.
love
And
to see.
what won it for her there, Pete, in your opinion? Was it just that she's able to travel so well and produce with that bit of speed and just go away from them?
She's on the best horse by half a stone, Barry. That's what's won it for her. You know, she gave it a
No,
really.
but the way she's ridden the race,
the way she's ridden the race.
she's waited patiently.
Well, she knows what happened in the Savills, obviously, might be played, and what happened in last year's Gold Cup. She knows that, you know, this horse, he sort of has one run in these conditions. You know, he has one run when you're over 3 mile 2 at Cheltenham, because he's not the sort of horse that just stays and stays and stays and stays. So she's waited. She's had the chance to wait. I'm not sure that was the best run Gold Cup I'll ever see in my life. So she's waited. She's just waited for that run. She's waited until 2 out, really. And that's when she's gone, right, I've got enough horse here to get
let's
home.
go.
Let's go. She's squeezed between runners. She went between Protectorate and what was there?
Album?
Possibly Album. So she was squeezed between runners. The horse, you know, gets a little boost, like G1 jockey, gets a little boost for going between runners. And then the horse just knows he sees the line and he just clicks away. It was a really textbook ride with a horse that was the best in the race and the second got ridden too aggressively. All those three things combined together to make for a record-breaking winning margin.
Yeah.
You know, this is a great, great horse. In terms of running a big figure, with my handicapper sort of head on again, everything was right for that. That horse won't run to that figure again because everything couldn't have been better for it running that big figure today. We'll never see that like again because I've never seen a horse finish a Gold Cup like that in my life.
I haven't, and I, to be honest, people that can't see the pictures, this for me, this is the most important bit. Bar next year, the year after, don't care. Right now, in the moment, the Applutard in the winning closure looks absolutely thrilled with himself, shaking his lip, taking and soaking in the atmosphere. Rachel's got a massive smile on her face. The horse is going in for his water bucket. I mean, imagine that feeling there right now. Absolutely amazing.
Where do we put him then with the greats? Let's have a look after. History has been made, says What's for Dinner. Absolutely. The first lady to win the Gold Cup, of course.
Yeah, well, she's done everything now. She's won
she
Champion
has.
Hurdle, Garden
We'll be
National,
seeing her
Gold
at
Cup.
Spotty again, won't we? That's for sure in December.
Yeah, I mean, does it after the National and the wider consciousness, did the Gold Cup quite register? And not to, but that's the set complete now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every barrier broken. She just needs to be champion jockey now.
Yeah, you wouldn't rule that out.
You wouldn't rule that
would
out
you?
either.
Yeah, look, it's great to see. Look, where do we put Applutard? He's up there with the Coltos.
He's got to be the best. He's got to be the best Gold Cup 3 mile chaser since the Demon Cattle Star Imperial Commander days.
Yeah, that was.
Wait, Don Cossack's his only challenger in that regard.
Interesting.
So since the Cattle long run Denman Imperial Commander days, which is a great era, I think there's been 2 horses that would stand out in that race of the best 3 mile chasers.
And the
since
sun
then.
was shining, the ground enabled him to show that turn of
It's
foot.
box.
Sizing
stuff.
John, would he be one of them, Keith? No.
He was one of the lesser ones, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, he won it it was a tricky year when it was a
bad
2-1,
year.
But he was one of the quick horses.
That was one of the slowest run Gold Cups there's been, and he was the fastest horse, basically. He never ran again since. I suspect that horse would have got found out, frankly.
Yeah.
But he was a quick horse that won a slowly run Gold Cup.
Well, it'd be interesting to see the time.
It would, like, Albin Photo at his best is 6th length second there.
Yeah.
You know, let's be honest. We're talking about, he won 2 Gold Cups, blah blah. But it's not about that.
Yeah.
He'd have been smashed, he'd have been battered. He was never as good as that was today. At no point was Albin Photo that good. That was a magnificent performance. It's the best I've seen in a Gold Cup, probably since Cowell.
Has Rachel got another ride today? I'm just looking down because she's going to be rather popular.
She's only got one potential race, hasn't she?
No, that was it. She's riding tomorrow at Turler's, believe it or not.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Well,
she's got one
good
ride
luck.
there.
Same place she rode after she rode the Grand National winner.
She's riding Gentleman's Game tomorrow, and she will be
Gentleman's Game.
mobbed.
She will be on cloud
Yeah.
9.
So get yourself to Turler's tomorrow if you're over there, and that will be the place to see your pin-up girl. That is for sure.
I love how they do so at Cheltenham. They take the horse for full lap of honour, and they have the lady next to him. The lady's going like this, and the crowd it's like a Mexican wave of
Thank
voice.
goodness it's not raining because those umbrellas
Yeah,
on Wednesday,
yeah.
there was loads of concrete you could see.
And this is what we want to see, isn't it?
All right, okay.
I tell you what, there's not even a downer, but we've got the 2 best chasers in training here are both Cheveley Park.
Yes.
Hello.
They'll never meet.
Yeah, well, of course they won't. Exactly. So because there's a lot of talk about Allaho going to the King George, but as
Can you imagine in a sharp 3
poor
mile
King
race,
George.
King George or the Down Royal race? Can you imagine that Allaho leading that horse?
Yeah, we
Not
need
something too
we
badly,
need
Julie
a
Park,
Christmas
have they?
cracker, don't we, going forward? All right, we've got
But
one more
they'll
to
never
come,
have.
however. Still on Racing Post Live, this Cheltenham Festival. We are back tomorrow, myself and Nat, in for the long
it just
haul,
us?
aren't we? No, G-Rod's coming back
Oh, yeah.
on, isn't he?
Oh, you'll be a happy bear.
He will. Well, Vauban won, but he did lose the championship races to Barry. So we're going to have
He
some
did,
fun tomorrow.
yeah.
We're going to dissect, of course, everything.
I mean,
We've got a
you
bit of
do
Kempton,
feel for him. He's
National.
basically said it won't be as bad for the Brits this year, and he's picked the championship races when Britain have a lot better year overall, but they just got wiped out in the championship races.
So he had no chance.
Yeah.
4 from 4.
Poor old Rodders.
Yeah, and of course Rachel's third winner of the week. Honeysuckle, Bob, lucky of course, and then she goes and takes out. So a lot of people talking about Henry's horses coming in again, right on the week, isn't it? Another 1-2. What's he got in the national? Everyone's saying all of a sudden. But it is the amateurs' chance to sign over the same course and distance, and we have a horse trying to make it 3rd time lucky. They put cheap pieces on Billaway, Barry, and he is going short because Willie's having some day.
Yeah, he really is. He's having a spectacular day. Lucky, though, that they brought the nice guy to the meeting. By him beating Manila Kakuna is some difference with running up money going on to the other one in Willie's in that race, Manila, to finish second. But, yeah, this is an interesting proposition. 2.78 bill away. Wing leader, 6.27 for Bob & Co. Dubai Quest is 9, and it's 19 bar. Obviously, Winged Leader won the race last year. Bill Away has form with Bob & Co. I was going to lay Bill Away, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to back Bob & Co. We're going to have 50 quid win on Bob & Co. Paul Nichols says on his blog, which you can read exclusively on betting.betfair, this was probably his best chance of the week. It's his last chance of a winner now at this stage. David Maxwell having a season for the ages, really. He's rode several high-profile winners on Saturdays, not least on this show, Dave, that we both know. They got a nice prep run into him already this season. He has form with Bill Away in Punchestown in the champion Hunters Chase here in Ireland last season when he beat him a nose. So the horse has improved as well. So for me, Bob & Co, 50 quid at 7.4 to see out another great festival on Racing Post Live.
Yeah, Bob & Co, strongly fancied. When I was lucky enough that Barring and the guys took me down to Ditch Heat again, and look, in hindsight, he backed Time White. He was telling us, he had a little bet on that when after that one at Doncaster. Obviously, that was pulled out.
Yeah.
But I think this is the one that probably him and Brave Man's Game. These would have. Yeah, in fact, I think he put that up to us, didn't he? Of course, Bob & Co. And I really, really hope that Maxi wins this. Who have we gone for then? I'm loath to take on Billaway because it's just. Why are you doing it? We have Brendan Duke on the first day, and he said, "I'm a lab rat laying honeysuckle all the time." It feels like you're just trying to take on these Willie horses.
But he's tried twice in this race and not won.
He got outstayed by Paul
exactly.
Bailey. I still don't know how he outstayed him.
A horse that's already been outstayed at Cheltenham is not the sort of horse I want to be backing at 7-4.
Yeah, a 3rd time lucky job, as I said, and he's a 10-year-old now.
He wouldn't stay either.
Who?
3rd time lucky.
No, he did. Well, yeah, no. As Charlie Post found out in his sort of point for him. A lot of love for winged leader. What do we know about Christie's horse coming in with Barry O'Neill? Crack pilot, Barry.
Yeah, Christie's had a good week, hasn't he? He's had not very many runners, obviously, because he's not a particularly prominent trainer, but he's had... Kashari ran a really good race. It's only run out of the week so far, but Kashari ran as well as you could expect in that race. Probably a career best, actually.
He slammed Billaway, didn't he, when they met on the... that was his last run. Billaway often needs a run or two, actually.
Yeah, Billaway, he's just a 3-miler, isn't he? He's not like a... Because this is the Amateur Gold Cup, they do tend to go really hard in this race, and you need a horse that just stays very well.
You've got one in this now, haven't you?
I'm going to play this again with a few each ways. Love Bob & Co. Again, fabulous story, David Maxwell. I think his daughters are always taking the absolute mick out of him when he falls off, and it's a bit of a... But look, David Maxwell, he ain't the neatest rider, is he? Let's just... Look, I adore him. He's a great lad. He's great for racing. He's a gentleman. But he's flipping brave.
Again,
God,
spoke
brave.
to Nichols about him, right?
Really experienced now. Like,
we asked him if he comes down and schools them and all that sort of stuff, and he said, well, he sort of leaves us to it a little bit, and then he comes down a little bit halfway through the season a bit more. It was something along those lines. And I asked him a bit. It was the Cat Tiger run, wasn't it? When he got Cat Tiger beating a nose. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Racing Twitter went bonkers, right? And they just like, come on. And there was last season there were a couple because he buys these expensive horses, or because this is a lifelong ambition, as I said at the top of the show, for Maxi to win this race. They're always short, right? And they're nickels, they're hobs. They're always short. Okay, and so when one doesn't quite come off, he gets an absolute slagging. But then Dolphin Square was the horse.
he does, but he's...
Well, I mean, that was the greatest shout we've had in here. You know,
Maxwell's
we're bonkers.
remarkable, though, because the one thing to say about him is, my God, yes, he's very successful in his career, but God, he's a hard worker. So damn right he should be able to buy expensive horses. He puts so much into racing, and he doesn't always get the full credit he deserves just because he's not the neatest rider. He's brave, he's experienced. The hood's left at home with Bob & Co. I love Bob & Co. It's hard to not have a little nibble on Dubai Quest, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, this is a big test of this magnitude of jumping for this horse.
For the Premier League of the British pointing team, it's Tom Ellis and
7
wife Gina
wins
Andrews.
on the spin. Yeah.
They're cleaning up, aren't they, in British pointing at the moment?
Gina, Bridget Andrews' sister, of course, she is a good jockey.
Yeah.
She's had some horrible falls. They breed good horses.
I got lucky with her in that my local point-to-pointing courses, that's where she, sort of cut her teeth.
Yeah.
And if she was on something,
We
we got on that
You
one
back
early.
it.
Oh, yeah. She
She's-
is mustard.
She's mustard. And then the last one, so I'm going to pick 3 because it's good fun and I've done really well this week. My each way bets is that Pont Avon.
Yes.
Hit and miss.
Ex-Mullins.
Hit and miss for Willie Mullins, but he's useful on his day. And in
Hosed
this
up, didn't he,
type of
last time?
test, in this type of race, and it's hard to say, hasn't got a chance. I don't know a lot about Mr. Alex Chadwick. I would look, you've got JJ Codd in here, you've got Gina Andrews in here, you've got David Maxwell in here. So, of course, you've got Patrick Mullins in here. So I don't know a lot about the jockey. Does anyone else?
No.
No.
He's had 4 winners under rules in the last 5 seasons. I know
Okay, right, so it's a big-
on my Racing Post card, but
it's a
I
big
know his name
task.
between the points, obviously, and the Owens have got him. But it is the Bill Gradley colours, and this is ex-Willie Mullins, and a lot of people were not sure about him at Ludlow, and he absolutely hosed up. And he'll go from the front, and he's got the class angle. He's actually rated £2 higher than Bob & Co, according to the handicapper, and yet he's got 2 years on him as well. So I can see that.
And talk about these amateur races and the stories. One horse that ain't going to win it, but number 17, David O'Brien, we call him Dob. He's a very, very, very good friend of mine. He's a Cheshire chap. He trains his own horses. He doesn't pay a lot of money for them. Do you know?
Right.
Great for him to be
This
here.
is the old.
Great
This
for
is
him
what
to
we
be
used
here.
to associate with the hunter chase.
Trains
isn't
them
it?
from a field at home
Yeah.
in Cheshire.
This is the whole point of the sport. It's for grassroots. isn't it?
Grassroots, and that's what we want to support.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, let's hope he has a good spin then.
let's hope he's safe and sound.
Yeah. All right, Keith. Who did we put up?
I put up Bob & Co as well. He's got the stamina for this. He was coming to run a massive race in this last year with Sean Bowen riding him. It's looking at a Fox Hunter that Sean Bowen was riding in. Came to riding a big challenge, but then unseated Sean 3 out, won his next 2, and just everything's been about coming back to this race, isn't it? I'm not giving the game away by telling everybody that, because it's always a bit about this race coming back here so that Maxwell could ride, he's got. On that form, he's just about as high as he's got as much chance as anything. Whereas RPRs have him in the Billaway level. He's beaten Billaway. He beat him at Punchestown last year, and Billaway we know doesn't quite get home, and form's got them level. and yet the one that's 13-8 is the one that's negative.
Well, Sean Bowen was obviously on last year, wasn't he? Because Dave couldn't ride, and he was.
I said that twice.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I've done the usual. I've done the.
What are you thinking
It's
about?
been a long
That's you
week.
told.
I've done it with Bruce earlier. Him and Brendan Duke were like, should we let it pass to the keeper, or should we pick him up? That we've just been talking about that. All right, yeah, okay. Keith's on the ball at least. Well, look, he is basically. When he got beaten, they weren't that bothered about it. I said, he said, look, it was a proper prep run. So look, I can see why you've gone for Bob and Go. Is there any other of the wacky ones that you have had a look at?
I gave up that game years
What about
ago.
It Came to Pass, the previous winner of the race? We've also got Cousin Pascal as well, who was the Aintree Fox Hunter winner, wasn't he as well? And Dugu Zuru comes back on, a name I've not seen for a little while, but a regular contributor of past. Wing Leader is my nap of the festival. Whereabouts Wing Leader? Clear second fav, Barry?
Yeah, he certainly is. 5.8 at the moment behind. Strong favourite has to be Billaway, 2.92. 7 Bob and Co. Dubai Quest, Miss Jean Andrews is coming in for some support, is 8.6 and it's 20 bar. So, yeah, it's always a run at a phonetic pace, this. And this year's not going to be any different, but Billaway, very, very popular.
We'll be having some fun calling. Great con, by the way.
Nice.
In the Gold Cup. That was,
very
I'm
good.
mildly surprised, I'm not going to lie.
Well,
It wasn't quite Ross Briley doing
He's
Portland.
been
of a couple of
practicing
years
all week.
ago. Yeah, he's,
Title two. It's only one race he had to do.
practicing 35 years to commentate a Gold Cup, Barry.
yeah, and you got your chance. You got your chance. And when we do the national, we're going to split it up, aren't we?
That's
they do.
terrified at that.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know what you're talking
When we
about.
go
I'm
to
not.
when we go to beaches, it's over to Natalie Green
not.
at beaches. We are going to do it. You're going to do it. Look, you'll be refreshed.
You've
by
been
then.
given a month to
You'll have been
practice.
skiing as well. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Long week. How are you feeling about tomorrow's show?
Yeah, fine.
You up for it?
Yeah, of course.
Happy days.
I'm always up for it. I've had a look at those 3 eggs, absolutely sorting me out
Was that
before.
the only
so-
three? Oh, yeah, you.
Yeah, because I felt
since
bad on Barry.
scolded
Sorry,
you,
Barry.
yeah.
I was
All right,
crunch,
great
crunch,
stuff.
crunch, crunch.
Barry, it's been a great week, isn't it? Again, we go past. We're still here for the rest of the year, aren't we? Obviously, clocks go. Is it spring back, isn't it?
Spring forward.
Spring back and fall forward.
Spring forward, fall back.
Forward.
Forward, because then we
of
go
course I
an
got that
hour
wrong.
later, longer.
Gain an error, yeah.
We are sensing a change, aren't we, all this time? But we've got, of course, Aintree to go. We've got Punches Down Bids. We've got Royal Ascot coming up. It'll be here before we know it. We can't wait.
Yeah, we can link it next Saturday.
Man, have you found one for that?
I haven't even found one for the Midlands National yet.
Oh, no. Okay, all right. You better get studying, man. Not too many desperados.
You sound. Do you love the Lincoln?
Well, it's been a good race to me, actually. It's been a good race to me. Dave was one of
Do you love
my
it?
big
I
winners in that.
used to do price-wise for it. I've done it a couple of
Did
years.
it
I've done
last year,
price-
didn't you?
Yeah, I did price-wise last year. Done it a couple of years. What I liked about the Lincoln, I liked the novelty of watching a race replay and it taking a minute and a half. That was like a good novelty after the winter.
It usually goes to a group horse now, doesn't it?
Is it? Oh yeah, because Gosden's got a little bit of Mullins syndrome. He's got that many good horses. He can throw a good horse in
Kiki
a.
won it last year.
That's
under
right.
Benoit de la
And he can just throw a group horse in a field
Benoit,
and
yeah.
trot it up, for a big
We've
handicap.
not heard much about, but we did a little bit of digging into that, and he's
Too early for
he's
me.
coming back, I think. But
Lincoln.
yeah, no. What's weird about the Lincoln is that there's no other turf racing for about another 2 weeks or so,
No,
isn't
it's
it?
just-
No,
it's a bit odd.
really
Do it for me.
strange.
Because you've got the All Weather Championships after it. I don't know.
Too early. Too
But the
cold.
calendar is what it is, isn't it? And as you've said before, Barry, look, we're switching attention. Still during Cheltenham, people say we've got 3 more races to go.
Yes,
Last
true.
one coming up here on RP Live. There is a great narrative throughout the season. You pointed that out early, Barry. It's a lovely way through, isn't it, the calendar?
For the flat racing, Dave, yeah, it really is. Yeah, there's not the way the National Hunt Racing all builds up to the crescendo that is Cheltenham, and it eases off then into Aintree that's not as focused, and then punches down for the Irish. But what I like about the flat racing in the UK is you're kind of building up towards the Guineas meeting, and then from the Guineas meeting you're building up towards the first Saturday in June and the Derby, and then you're building towards Royal Ascot and then into Goodwood. It's just there's various different touch points throughout the season where people can engage with horse racing on any sort of level. We don't have that luxury National Hunt Racing, but I'm sure that's something that's going to be addressed. Obviously, with this whole chat about 5-day festivals and stuff like that, and dilution of a product that's already been distilled, it has to be a real concern, especially when it's just
Dreadful
finances
idea.
driving the
We
decision.
have gone
Dreadful
all through
idea.
the week with no mention of the 5-day festival.
Nearly did it, didn't we? Nearly got
I-
there.
Nearly did it.
I would hate it.
But you guys are kind of backing it a bit, are you? From an
Hang on a
point of view,
minute.
is there...
Hang on a minute.
Oh, here we go.
Hang on a minute.
What I would suggest, what we do is, because we know everybody goes mental at the mention of it, so we're quite happy to put up stories about it, is what happens.
So it's clickbait.
Well,
You could call it that. It's getting
you could call
traffic
it
to your
headlines.
site.
I think it's a very bad idea.
Yeah.
Very, very bad idea.
Yeah, I still miss it.
Doesn't
sort
need
of
to be
being 3 days,
dilated
to be
anymore.
honest. But-
Well, you could still have it 3 days.
Yeah, you
could still have it 3
The problem
days.
is, once you put one in, it's hard to take one out.
100%.
Even though they have
You
sort of
could still
done
have it 3
with
days.
some.
Anyway, people go mad.
Well,
at
you could move the races around that are currently there. Like, there's lots of races that should be at other meetings.
Yeah.
The
all right.
National Chase should arguably be the Hunters Chase meeting night or something daft. You know, it should just move races around, and you could have 4 6s, and that'd be perfect.
Yeah. Who's getting sad then that the Cheltenham Festival is coming to an end?
Me.
Out there. Yeah, some week, isn't it?
Yeah,
Some
you-
week. Take some
you
getting.
get the
Well done,
blues
guys.
afterwards,
It's
don't you?
Been a good stint so far, but there's still one more to go. And like I say, the show continues tomorrow around about 1:15ish. I think we will be on air tomorrow. Kempton and Utoxeter's big day in the sun, isn't it? You're usually there, of course. at
Yeah, I'm
Utoxeter.
usually there. I do a lot of work for Utoxeter, but the Midlands National's great. It's great. People are still on a massive high from Cheltenham, and hopefully the sun will be shining. Well, it is, I think, forecast sun will be shining.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Whopping
That
turnout
quite.
at Utoxeter.
Utoxeter's built for massive crowds, but only gets it
They have
once a year.
caravans in the middle as
Totally.
well. Do they have caravans in
There's
the
some
middle?
very strange
Yeah.
sights. Someone
Camping.
weed on my car once
Yeah.
on Midlands National Day.
All right.
Yeah, it really annoyed me. I just like because it was so obvious they'd weed all over it. I was
least you've let it
absolutely
go,
livid.
you know.
At least I've forgotten about
At
it.
least you've forgotten about it. She does get a little angry just on that.
Could do
all
by
right.
quest there. It looks well.
We've got. There's a smashing race in Midlands National these days, isn't it? It's not the sort of old plodders race like it used to be.
I like
Shall
it.
we do what we usually do while they're going down to the start? We've got 2 more races to go after this. Has anyone had a wee look at them?
Well, I did it for the preview show last night for In the Know. I'm going to be honest with you, neither of them were my strongest fancies of the day, but I thought Mount Ida's just the best.
Oh,
horse.
yes. Come on. Getting excited for Mount Ida.
And
I'm
it
Ellie
is-
May.
Yeah. Yeah, she's in the colours of a Guinness as well. And how did she win last year? You're Ellie May.
Ellie May.
Right, head to head. Me and you.
Head
Can't
to head.
wait. All right.
Tell you what horse caught my eye in the which is in the Martin Pipe, and I know it's obvious why it's caught my eye, but it's Lady Jane Grosvenor's horse, Cobbler's Dream.
Oh, yeah.
Really,
Jerry put that up this morning.
I love-
Lanzarote winner.
yeah, but I loved that the last twice so much. I don't know what price.
14-1 on my machine.
Brilliant, right? Cracking each way. So Cobbler's Dream each way for me in the Martin Pipe, but I'm going to go head to head with you. I'm going to go for Ellie May.
All right.
Tell you what, I like
What's that?
adamantly chosen in the Martin Pipe, and I'm surprised he's not favourite. You know, it's Mullins, and he's a Mullins sort of first string, really. I'm surprised that Mullins first string isn't favourite for the Martin Pipe, given the way today's gone. You know, a lot of running up money, people playing up previous winners.
Adamantly chosen. Is that
Adamantly
it?
chosen, yes, sorry.
Yeah,
They're not mentioning
yeah.
his name, I do
Richie Deegan.
apologise. Yes, Richard
Taking the
Deegan.
right.
Deegan's got a good strike rate for Mullins.
Yeah.
He's more winners for Mullins than
Probably
anybody
our
else.
favourite. Barry, do you
I
like
thought
anything
so.
in the last 2?
I fancy one of Gordon Elliott's. He's a 33-1 chance in the Martin Pipe, Au Fleuron. That's what I like there. You could have a few quid each way. Him
Kevin
alone, but
Brogan
anyone-
on board.
Yes.
Good rider, Kevin.
Very good rider.
Oh, he's a brilliant rider, yeah. Do you think he would have been booked some way out, Barry, wouldn't he, I'd imagine?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, first time into a handicap as well here today. And in the mare's chase, I like Ellie May. I can't have Mount Ida after trading at 1,000 last year and winning. I'm just not convinced by her around here. So,
well, maybe.
Yeah, Ellie May for me.
I mean, she did that and still won. But, I mean, that was
Yeah.
marked because it was a right old gamble, wasn't it, in the Kim Muir, of course, last year.
Massive.
Well, okay, toss of a coin then. Good luck for the last 2 races. But here we are, the final race of the day. Thanks to all the guys in the studio this week that have helped us. Dan, Nick and Will, thumbs up for
Yeah,
those
thanks
guys.
to the
Some sterling
team.
stuff,
Like
isn't it?
it's not
The
just us,
team?
is it? The team
No.
behind that makes this show
Yeah,
go.
we've got
Well
a team down in Cheltenham as well, of which you're a part of. That's gone really well, isn't it?
really well.
Of course, the evening team as well. We'll be seeing Ross Briley back on this show very shortly indeed. Sterling work. Yourself, Keith, as well.
Thank you.
You got your pecker up for going skiing, haven't you?
Well, I just need a week off after all this. I know it's been a favoured phrase over the last week.
Whatever you do not come back in a cast for Aintree, man.
No,
I do
no,
not
I'll
want
be-
to see this.
No, you can't be keeping me away from entry. I could be made a cast.
We'll will you in.
Will you?
We'll will you in.
In fact, there's an image.
Doesn't matter if he's got a little broken arm. Be all
I-
right.
Yeah, it was a little
Again.
broken arm between friends.
Again,
Fine.
my skiing career ended very quickly on, I have to say. It was early on sledging for me. Great sport, actually.
It's a nice
Shove it in
shot,
the
isn't it,
Olympics.
of them all going down, all their bottoms and
Dubai
silks
Quest
and
looks a picture.
Dubai Quest looks absolutely phenomenal, isn't he?
I mean, British Pointing has been very well advertised, bringing it back to the final race. Obviously, it wasn't just an
Ergomin and
Ahoy Senor as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
go
he
on,
British
Barry.
Pointer?
Who's been back?
Dubai Quest, one of the horses in the race, Dubai Quest, into 8.2, had been matched at the highest 16. But he's really, really popular for Gene Andrews.
Yeah, the Weatherby winner.
They're all just having their tack checked, last-minute safety preparations. They check their girths, make sure they're tight enough. Don't want any
Where's
sandals
Maxi?
slipping.
Come on, let's zone in on
Maxi's
Maxi.
very happy.
Yeah, I
He's
can
just
see him.
walking away.
Yeah. On Bob and Co.
Did I hear that Maxwell flew his plane to Perth to ride his horse?
Yeah.
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 He's just multi-talented, this
Just
man.
Talks so well, doesn't he?
Well,
But like I
that's-
say, wouldn't come on. He said, I'm not very good at all that sort of stuff. He said, I don't really. Very polite he was when we asked him.
Maybe because if people are like sometimes a bit quick to be mean to him on social media.
I'm
But-
not.
No, not you, but I mean, poor David.
You tell him that when you see him out at Kelso, will you? Or wherever you know, you,
Of course
you
I will.
See him. You please tell him.
No, I will. I will honestly say to him, come on the
Yeah.
show, because he'd be fantastic on the show.
Yeah.
And he knows so much, Dave. Right, well, that's our mission.
All right, okay. I've lined up quite a few people for
Okay, I'll
interviews.
try and get David, okay?
Yeah, and Barry's going to get the Donnellys on. That's what he said earlier, wasn't it? So basically,
No way. I couldn't get him to come on our podcast. I couldn't even get him to come on Racing Only Better.
I'm glad
Away
it's
Did.
not just
No
me,
chance.
Barry. I'm glad it's not just me.
No. He's very shy in that respect. He doesn't like bringing any attention to himself.
Marvellous.
enough.
Well, listen, thanks everyone for watching
He
this
didn't.
week.
Would you believe there today, Dave? He didn't even appear in the photo. His wife Barry did, and you had Willie and Willie's mom and Willie's wife, and he didn't even step into the photo. He doesn't even get into
Man
the photos.
of
for them.
mystery.
shy.
I don't know. A bit like myself.
Nice to
Man
be-
of mystery. Unexposed.
Nice.
Well, I'm sure if you're a Cheltenham winner, you'd be shy and retiring about it, Dave. I can guarantee that.
Dave would be like this.
The first year we ever did this, we had a
know.
guy called Sandro Di Michele on. If you've ever listened to Talk Sport, Sandro's always on. He's got a great voice. And he's down there for Talk Sport this week. There's a lot of big Talk Sport presence. And he was chosen mates owner. The day
was,
before he
yeah.
went down, it was just when you could tell Rome was burning with the band.
That's when it.
And so he.
That's when it was the Grand Annual was the last race,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's chosen mate. Unfortunately, didn't really do much after that. But
No, he didn't.
But we have had a Cheltenham Festival winning owner in this. But yeah,
funny.
maybe we should all club together and see if we can get one to even turn up.
A Cheltenham winning honour.
Quite nice. What race would it be if we were gonna get one? I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
What's the
Maybe
one
the
that
Fox Hunter?
A small. It'd be the Ultima, wouldn't it? Try and get something.
The
just
Ultima?
Try and buy something.
Get a giraffe.
Yeah,
Maybe
good.
Nat can find next year's giraffe that's going to win it. What do you reckon?
I reckon.
Korak.
The Boodles, buy one of those.
Oh yeah,
Good
get something
shout.
off the
You can
flat.
get one in that.
Get something
Ooh,
off the flat.
Tell
Yeah.
you what, we'll have to get with the heads.
I mean, anything that's
might
shown
think
more than
that's a good
70 form
idea.
on a flat's 6 figures, so it'll probably be that pays.
Yeah.
Gina Andrews is absolutely. She knows exactly where she wants to be. She has when they all circled
Yeah.
at the back. Gina kept Dubai Quest way in front.
What is
just,
that
Just
out the
making
back?
sure that she's going exactly where. I love that about Gina. So no one's taking my space. No, out the back is David O'Brien, my mate. It'll be buzzy. It'll be hyper.
We're off.
They're off.
We're off and running then in the 2022 Hunter Chase. And out the back, right out the back is indeed, what do we call him? Buzzy?
No, the horse will be buzzy.
Oh, right,
David
okay.
O'Brien's horse. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Rewrite the rules.
Don Bursey out the back as well, but leading at the moment. I'm looking for the big players. It's going to be Cousin Pascal, who
We're
loves
going
the national fences.
really quickly to this
Yeah,
first
he
round.
is. He's lit up, isn't he?
It's actually quite terrifying.
What you tend to
Very
do at the
lit
end
up.
of the
Billaway's
race.
a bit lit up as well. Wing leaders up there. Have a look for Dubai Quest, the other well-backed horse. He's up there, Gina Andrews.
my
Beautiful
David,
song.
my friend.
Fonthaven just about 5th or 6th off them as well. Looking for Bob and Co. Maxi's out the back. With the previous winner of this race, it came to pass as well. This has got to be the trickiest commentary, isn't it? Because you're not used to these
Well,
commentaries.
that's the thing. That's why I put my hand up for the Gold Cup. I can name all those horses in my sleep.
He's as shrewdy as our Keith. All right, Barry, they seem to be going pretty quick. Cousin Pascal thinks he's at entry.
Yeah, there's nothing really. Cousin Pascal's 18, 16.5 Premier Magic's come in for a little bit. 2.74 Billaway. Winged leader 5.69. Bob and Co, who's down the inside. He just wasn't away as nicely as he had anticipated because he was lining up front line, David Maxwell, but they just stole a march on him a bit, and he's just out the back now.
Yeah, he's taking the Galvin route, isn't he, Maxi?
He is taking the Garvin route. I mean, he's not really doing anything wrong, but he's just not going very quickly.
He's
at the moment.
upsized Pont Avon, who usually likes to get on with it a bit more. What are you thinking about him?
Yeah, it's hard to say at this stage, isn't it? I suppose David's not exactly where I expected him to be, so that's thrown me slightly.
Yeah.
But he's beside Paddy Mullins anyway, so I suppose he's thinking to
So
himself, I'm not doing much wrong if I'm around him.
That's a good point.
He's taking his time a bit more on Billaway this year. Billaway can belt
quite
the odd
slowly
fence from
jumping
memory.
by
Lord
himself.
Schnitzel's up there as well, the big Irish hope, as well as Billaway. Winged leader, just a 1-1-1-1-1 machine, isn't he?
Where's Gina and Dubai Quest?
Yeah, it was up there. I think in about 4th on the outside, look, 5th
Oh,
on the
yeah.
outside. Jumping
yeah.
beautifully.
Jumped out
actually.
very nicely.
And Bob and Co belted that one as well. Maxie not having the greatest spin. Actually, that wasn't him, actually. I beg your pardon. I've got a feeling that might have been your chap,
I
Buzzer.
get the impression Maxwell's been told to go the same pace all the way round.
Yeah, okay. Let's have a look for some of the others then. What's this on the very wide outside?
Gina's
St.
getting
Olin-
a
Oh,
lovely ride.
there's a mistake on the inside there.
It came to pass. It hasn't quite been the same horse since he won this 2 years ago. He's now a 12-year-old. He doesn't really look like he's enjoying his
I
return.
think I'd be pretty happy
Chit-chat
with Dubai Quest at the moment.
for the Wolfords and Furness, another big outsider. Desire Jojo in the mid pack as well. There we go. What we got? Oh yeah. one
Oh,
went
it's
there.
gone. Bob and Co's gone.
Oh no!
Oh,
no! It's
David,
been the
see?
week of
Oh,
weeks, and it for
bless
Nichols.
him.
Oh, Bob and
He falls
Co.
off.
Oh dear. All right, for 2 years in a row then. A lot earlier in the piece this time. He just didn't see a stride, did he? And David and the horse, I think they were up all right.
I think it was, I'll go down as a fall, I suspect. The horse was definitely on its belly.
I think so. A little peck there from Winged Leader. Dubai Quest, I'll tell you what, if I had to jump on
Gina
one
is
now.
having. I'd be straight on that horse. She's
Yeah.
having a lovely round of jumping.
What
so
price in
far.
running them, Barry, Dubai Quest? Still quite generous.
9.4 actually.
Yeah, liking that. She's got a lovely sit and she's keeping out of trouble.
Oh, she's great.
Touch the old
Yeah,
noggin.
that's...
Pont Avon coming back into it a little bit as they... All right, finally, Keith, if you had to jump on one now, Keith?
I couldn't say I'd be happier than anywhere on than Gina Andrews' ride, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's still plenty that are going well. It's usually with this race, it's only the sort of rags that are really stringing out at this point. But
I just love how she knew exactly where she wanted to be.
well, yeah,
It wasn't
got-
great,
you want to stay,
actually,
you want to
that
stay out
penultimate fence next
the
time
maelstrom. Yeah, you want to stay out
Wing
maelstrom. in
Leader's
this
surely
race.
going to be going favourite soon, Barry, surely. Wing Leader's absolutely... Oh, no, I suppose it's all about Billaway. Wing Leader, there we go.
Billaway is still favourite at 2.6. Wing Leader 3.0. The market's suggesting already that it's between the two of them.
Pont Avon's solid as well, thanks, Barry, there as well. Still, again, classy horse.
Did he get a pump of the arms there nearly, or have I made that up?
Was that Billaway?
No, Billaway, yeah.
Cheek pieces on,
Cheek
livelier
pieces on,
ground than
yeah.
normal. And again, Gina, look on the outside. Again, look, Wing Leader for me and Dubai Quest. Here comes
Yeah,
Billaway then.
Patrick's giving him a little slap down the shoulder there
Yeah,
just to
he-
keep him interested.
Gordon
got
Elliott's
low-
got
he got low
Mighty
there.
Stowaway in here for
He's got
Jamie
that.
Codd. I haven't even mentioned Jamie Codd in this race. He's sitting very handy, as you might expect, in 4th.
Yeah, well, he's bastard right around Cheltenham,
Somewhat
isn't he?
surprised not to see a JP rider in this, I suppose. Dubai Quest on the outside again going well. Billaway wasn't great there.
No.
And that's the old shake-up. Now we have got a new favourite, Barry Orr.
Yeah, we certainly have. Wing Leader 2.80, 4.0 Billaway, now 8.4 Dubai Quest, 23 Point Avon.
You can have what you want on Billaway.
There's a lot of birch flying around, isn't there?
I don't know, you couldn't discount him yet.
A lot of these fences have been absolutely
But
walloped.
still up front then.
Wallop,
having the,
jumping
having
right
the
again.
right old spin.
Wallop.
It's Don Bursey from Ryan Potter and Tommy O'Brien. Don Bursey, didn't it used to be Tom Simmons? Is that right? I think he did.
You know.
I'm trying to look down.
Go on,
he was
Gina.
Tom
She's
Simmons.
Yeah,
having
she's
a
still up there.
Lovely
Gina's
job.
going well. Wing Leader takes it up then. Billaway, not liking the fences, but he has done this before.
he's-
Cousins
Evans
Pascal.
Wing Leader.
Evans Wing Leader. Not
surprised.
sure I'm having that in a minute, but this is the Irish winning machine. And he's got the inside posse. His to lose at the moment.
Oh,
Lord
another
Schnitzel.
mistake. Another mistake from Billaway.
Lord Schnitzel's having a beauty, isn't it? Declan Quealy. And the Donovan. Okay, what's this on the inside as well? Still there is Monbeg.
Yeah, the Gredley horse is still there as well.
Yes,
isn't
of course. Pont Avon not totally done with
Listen,
it at all.
Lord Schnitzel's having a good time
4
with
out,
things here.
yeah,
He's
absolutely.
on the bridle. He's at the bridle.
You
He's
do see
coming
shocks in his
nicely.
Billaway. I mean, Patrick's keeping persevering. You know the talent's there, so you wouldn't totally rule him out. In fact, the market's still got him around about 6-1 only. But he's got 5 horses ahead of him.
Well,
Dubai Quest starting to feel it now.
He's dependent on others going a little bit soon, isn't he? Because I don't
Mighty
think he's
Stowaway,
working his way
remote
back in.
6th in the race last year in the ground, not to suit. So here he is, 3 out now.
Dubai Quest wasn't great, that.
just
Well,
lacking the
Stowaway's
pace. isn't
got
he?
Jamie
Yes.
Codd gone favourite.
Jamie Codd takes it up then. Wing Leader, all of a sudden, the early exertions, but they're battling. It's going to be an Irish 1-2-3 by the looks of it. And I think Billaway is running on into 3rd. Totally discount him. But at the moment, Wing Leader,
he's
have they
finding
gone
again.
too soon? That'll be the question. Up and down on the spot. The best of the British will be Dubai Quest, Ponthaven following home. But Wing Leader, loads of people will be on this.
They've
the pubs
gone
and
plenty
the crowds
early
will
enough.
go mental.
These are
2
barely
out, up
going
he
up.
goes.
They're barely
Billaway's
going
coming.
forwards.
Here comes Billaway. Couldn't possibly, could he? Wing Leader, still got about 6 lengths to make up. Looks
He's tied up badly.
Oh, he's gone very... Hang on a minute. This can't be the case. Look at Billaway.
No, Billaway's going to win it.
Oh, no,
Billaway's
you're
going to
kidding
win
me. Off he goes. Wing Leader still to lose. Surely not. The famous
Fix is
hill.
on, Wing Leader.
No,
Look at
no,
this.
Wing
He's
Leader.
gone.
He's found
He's
enough.
gone.
He's
He's
found
just
enough.
had enough. Billaway just did not have the turn of foot. He's
still like-
wobbling a little bit. He's closing. Hang on a minute. There evens the pair. Look at Billaway. Unbelievable scenes.
hold on,
The
hold
line
on,
is
hold
the line
on.
coming in time for Wing Leader.
Oh,
No,
my
it's not. Billaway pulls it out of the fire.
What?
Scenes when you thought it was all over here on RP Live. Patrick Mullins.
I'm sure that line's 30 yards further on down the street before.
What
That is,
the
when you thought you'd seen it all this week, Barry, or what price did he go?
drama of this festival.
Should have traded at least 3 figures. He only traded at a high of 21. 3 quid at 21. 85 quid traded at 20. Would you believe? I thought he was considering, but you kept talking about him. I thought, are you mad? He definitely no chance.
Well, he had
The runner-up
so he had to get let in, didn't he?
hit a low 1.16 for 16,900.
Oh, dear me. No, he had to get let in. When he started making those mistakes down the back, you thought the only way this horse wins is if they let him in, because in this Fox Hunter they've got a massive tendency to go too fast.
Yeah, well,
And they did. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
they did.
That's exactly what happened.
I mean,
your
you've
man
got to
on-
feel for Wing Leader,
Your man
haven't you?
on
'Cause-
Wing Leader will be in floods of tears. I mean, imagine he'd be absolutely gutted.
Yeah,
wouldn't
it's
he?
Barry O'Neill, isn't it? I think was it Barry O'Neill from memory? Yeah, it was.
Well,
Wasn't it? Oh, my Lord.
Cod's goaded him into going a bit
Wait,
soon.
10
hasn't he?
lengths going into the final bend.
Yeah, Cod just.
Has he softened him up?
I think he has. That's exactly what's happened.
Oh man, the most famous of hills has reared its head once again, and Billaway, my lord, fancy 3rd time lucky. Then we said it, didn't
Look
we?
at Mighty Stowey's barely going forward from 2 out.
Yeah,
No,
he's
yeah,
walking.
yeah, no, he's absolutely walking. Yeah.
He wasn't actually brilliant 2 out as well, but this horse is, look, they said a little way
Patrick
out.
knows,
didn't
like
they?
Patrick's
Cheek
getting after
pieces.
Billaway because he knows they're stopping.
My lord, and we're watching it coming to the last. This is where you start. No, but he's still got 6-7 lengths. That is a bomb up the hill. We've seen drama in this race before, of course. Remember Jane Mangan and all that sort of stuff.
Watching Whiting Leader sort of wandering around, he's just knackered.
It's here now, that acceleration, turn of foot. You just think, whoa, where did that come from?
Let's
Patrick
call
is-
it a lack of deceleration rather than acceleration.
I mean, Patrick is
Yeah.
actually
Yeah, I
still
feel
rowing after the line. I don't think he still quite believes it looking at it. But, well, look, the greatest amateur, the record numbers will say, has pulled it out of the fire.
Yeah, you've
And,
got to feel, haven't you, for Wing Leader?
very much an Irish 1-2-3 Barry Orton. And again, it's the day, isn't it? Friday has been Willie Mullins, it was Rachel Blackmore, we know, and Henry de Bromhead. It's been some day, man. Great to have you on. We will not reveal your Midlands National worldy tip to the world just yet, but you'll be back to tell us tomorrow.
Yeah, I certainly will. I'll see you all tomorrow, please God. Great working with you again, guys. Working with you. Keith, look forward to the next time we're on. And see you tomorrow.
Happy days.
The
One
other
last
guys.
social coming up. Racing Post knocked it out of the park this year. Thanks, guys, and thanks to everyone at Betfair as well. Listen, these weeks are why we do it. The numbers have been unbelievable. The feedback has been great. I'm still raring to go for tomorrow somehow. And Nat, brilliant.
Yeah,
Long old
brilliant.
week.
Brilliant. Yeah, but it's not really work,
That's why we do it, isn't it?
It's not work.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Great
We've had
stuff.
the highs, the lows, we've had the drama. We've realised that Cheltenham Prestbury Park needs the crowds because it has just been
Unless they boo.
sensational.
Well, there we are. Poor old Tiger Roll. Keith, great to have you, man. Great shift you put in the last couple of days.
Thanks,
Enjoy
Tom.
your sledging.
Yeah, you've done a lot. You've been really busy.
As Nat says, it's not really working, is it?
No, indeed.
really
All right,
Such
listen,
fun.
it's been great. We've loved having you.
Thanks,
Join us
Barry.
back tomorrow. We'll debrief. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Enjoy the last 2 races. Good luck wherever you're going. For myself, Dave Orton, and all the team at the Racing Post and Betfair, sayonara.